3.5-year-old metaphysics cutie, Su Miamian, clutching her milk bottle while fortune-telling, is so adorable it's a heart-stopping performance. This little darling, spoiled rotten by the entire wealthy Su family, is tearing up scandals, exorcising ghosts, and divining futures left and right on a reality show livestream. She's a natural. The villains keep plotting, but all great-great-granddaughter Su needs is a single talisman to teach them some manners, pronto. This lovable little bean is hiding a millennium's worth of cultivation, specializing in slapping baddies silly. It's mega satisfying and soul healing to the max. The whole internet is begging for updates. This adorableness that defies logic, I can't even handle it.
The story kicks off at a lavish mansion, buzzing with people coming and going. The guards are extra busy, and anyone without an invitation can buzz off. They couldn't help but wonder, why are so many people trying to sneak into the party today? Hearing that, he scoffed. Then ordered sternly, the Su family is the richest in the Dragon Kingdom. The old master is turning 60 today, so tons of people are going to try to suck up? Everyone, eyes peeled. I don't want anyone sneaking in. Got it? Yes, sir. The guards chorused. Suddenly, a tiny hand tugged at his sleeve. He glared down at the little kid. The adorable, smudged-faced kid asked, "Hi, is this Su Linsheng's house?" They were momentarily stunned by her cuteness. He bent down, coaxing her gently. "Yes, little one. Whose kid are you? Why did you come here? And hey, you can't call our old master by his name. You have to call him Grandpa Su, okay? Mian Mian." Hearing this, innocently corrected him. "Can't call him Grandpa. You got the seniority wrong. My name is Su Mian Mian, and I'm his grandaunt. I'm here to celebrate his birthday, but I don't have an invitation. Could you tell him I'm here, please?" she pleaded sweetly. The outrageous claim made him instantly wary. He stood up abruptly and said sternly, "Little one, don't go around claiming relatives. No invitation, no entry." Now, scram, he thought, a kid who's still wet behind the ears, claiming to be the old master's grandaunt. As if, the little girl explained anxiously. But I really am his grandaunt. That's what my dad said. I even brought proof. Wait here while I find it." The little girl started rummaging in her little bag. Suddenly, Mian Mian was shoved hard. "Ah," she cried, and she staggered, almost falling. Turning her head, she saw two strangers. The one who shoved her was the kid of a snobbish lady named Lin Mai, whose supposed impressive background was the older sister of the Su family's young master's girlfriend. She acted like a thief calling "Stop Thief" and made up a story. "Hey, you beggar, don't stand in front of my house." Hearing this, her mother scolded her lovingly. "Why did you touch the kid? How disgusting! What if you catch some contagious disease?" Then, putting on airs, she ordered, "Everyone, watch out. Don't let dirty kids like this sneak into the party." The guard immediately replied, "Don't worry, miss. I definitely won't let this kid of unknown origins inside." Witnessing this scene, the little girl was confused and asked, "You're not from the Su family. How can you forbid Mian Mian from entering?" The woman said haughtily, "Let me tell you something. My sister is about to marry the Su family's young master. I'm going to be the Su family's sister-in-law, so I have the right to keep a beggar like you out." Her kid chimed in, "Yeah, beggar, you can't come in. N-Y-A, 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 though." Hearing this, Mian Mian got super angry, puffed out her cheeks, and retorted, "You're lying. I will get in." The kid still gave her a disgusted look. The little brat wasn't about to let it go, and tried to push her again, yelling, "You stinky beggar, get out of here." So the little girl bit him. He screamed bloody murder. "Ah! It hurts, Mommy, help me." Seeing her son injured, the woman began to curse anxiously. "You little beggar, do you want to die?" At the same time, she wanted to hit the girl, throw her out, now. Suddenly, someone walked in and said, "What are you all doing in front of my house?" It was Su Chenfei, the seventh son of the Su family. Recognizing him, the guards respectfully greeted him. "Seventh young master, you're back." He looked at the unfamiliar child for a moment. He asked curiously, "Who is this kid?" Meanwhile, the little girl also scrutinized him, carefully guessing. "Dad said Su Linsheng has 7 sons. You must be his 7th grandson." And so, the little girl innocently called out, "Hello, grandnephew," leaving him completely stunned. Not stopping there, the little girl continued, "Grandnephew, my dad is Su Linsheng, right?" "I'm your grandaunt," he asked in disbelief. "You called me what?" At this moment, the little girl took out the family tree and said, Look closely, this is my proof, he said flusteredly. Hey kid, are you crazy? Thinking, Grandaunt, we're generations apart. But when he saw the proof, he couldn't help but think, wait, isn't this jade the extremely precious thing that Dad kept in the safe? Could this kid be telling the truth? But even if the kid is cute, she can't be my grandaunt, right? This is too crazy. While he was still dumbfounded, the little girl, trusting him, said, see, Mian isn't crazy. I'm Mian's great-great-grandchild. At that moment, that woman approached, sweetly saying, let me tell you, Xiaofei, it's normal for kids to be dirty and have mental issues. Don't be fooled. Picking the little girl up, he said disdainfully, what, Xiaofei? Stay away. I don't know you. Your younger sister hasn't even married my brother yet. As an outsider, you have no right to order me around. Damn, the woman was speechless with anger, only able to think blankly. Why does Su Chenfei have such an attitude towards me? He's just a third-rate celebrity. Once my younger sister takes control of the Su family, I'll make him lick my shoes, see if he still dares to be arrogant. In the banquet hall, the light was extremely dazzling. Everyone shook hands and greeted each other. Oh my, isn't this the 7th young master? 7th young master. I bought 10 tickets to support your movie last time. 7th young master, long time no see. You're getting more and more handsome. He said indifferently, get out of the way, where's my dad? Quickly take me to see him. Thus, he immediately became the center of gossip. Su Chenfei really thinks he's a big shot. Without the Su family, he'd be wandering the streets. That's right, he just had a lucky rebirth. But is that little girl his illegitimate child? He silently protected the little girl in his arms. It must be. A few days ago, a clip of Su Chenfei entering a hotel with a woman was leaked. It was so shocking, it stayed on the hot search for ages. If it were me, I wouldn't dare bring my illegitimate child home. So embarrassing. The little girl had observed everything. Mian thought, how can they talk about people behind their backs like that? This is wrong. Mian must teach the bad people a lesson. Thinking this, the little girl took out a charm, then quickly gave the order, go, go. The charm immediately flew in the directed way, sticking into that person's head, while he was still unaware. He suddenly fell to the ground with a thud. His face was unusually bruised. Ouch! How did this suddenly happen? The little girl thought to herself with a smile. The petty person charm is really useful. Then said, grandchild, grandaunt helped you teach those gossipy people a lesson. He praised, you're so good. In his heart, he suppressed the emotion. Kids just talk nonsense. It can't be taken seriously, but it still feels warm to be cared for by such a cute kid. The little girl immediately replied, Mian is very good at it. Very quickly, the two of them arrived. The door to that room was still closed. He stepped in and called out loudly, Dad, I'm back. As soon as he entered, he was scolded by his father. Why did you bring your daughter back on my birthday party? Do you want to be on the hot search again? Su Linsheng, the richest man in Long Kingdom, continued to lecture. A few days ago, I spent tens of millions to suppress the hot search, control the comments. Yet you wasted all the money and effort your brother earned. Stand there, he said after placing the little girl on the table. His father looked around for a while, then happily coaxed the child. Worthy of being a descendant of the Su family. So beautiful, be good. I'm your grandpa. Call me grandpa. I'll give you a welcome gift. Making him unable to help but say, hey dad, don't have double standards like that. Suddenly Mian widened her eyes and said, that's not right. You're not my grandpa. Dear great-grandchild, I'm your grandaunt, Mian. The little girl introduced herself again. He didn't react for a moment, calling, Grandaunt Mian. The little girl winked playfully and replied, Su Linsheng angrily kicked his son to vent his frustration. Look at him. He hadn't finished his books and insisted on rushing into the entertainment industry. What kind of education has he become? Su Chenfei tried his best to explain. Dad, I swear to heaven and earth, I haven't been messing around with women. I just met this little girl outside. She's wearing a jade pendant exactly like yours. Said she's your aunt, so I brought her in. Jade pendant, he exclaimed. At that moment, Mian spoke up to mediate. Grandson, you can't hit your great-grandson. Mian likes grandsons. Grandson, hurry and see. Mian really is your distant aunt. Then the little girl presented the jade pendant and a letter. Looking at the jade pendant, then at this adorable little girl, he pondered for a moment. When I was young, I was naughty and accidentally dropped my uncle's jade pendant, causing that crack. There really is a crack across the character. Su, exactly in the same position. Is this little girl telling the truth? But back then, my young uncle married into the Zhang family, a family of cultivators, at the age of 20. And I was only 7 years old. Calculating now, my young uncle would be 73 years old. How could she have such a young daughter? Unable to determine anything, Su Linsheng continued to read the contents of the letter inside. Inside it was written clearly, Sugudan. Sending this letter is like meeting in person. By the time you read this letter, the Jiang family and I will have fallen into a deep sleep. We didn't even get to tell Mianmian about this. You must keep Mianmian and take good care of her. The Su family once flourished greatly, with prosperous fortune, but it has been targeted by evil people and will encounter great calamity. Mianmian can help you overcome the crisis. At the same time, the Su family must also help Mianmian gain the love of many people, accumulate faith and merit, so that everyone can wake up sooner. After reading the contents of the letter addressed to him, he silently folded it up. Having roughly understood everything, looking at Mianmian so innocent, he thought with pity, Aunt Mianmian probably doesn't know that everyone is asleep yet. If she knew, she would definitely cry. Su Linsheng's eyes were firm. Even if there's no benefit to the Su family, I'm willing to take care of her. Therefore, he immediately bowed respectfully. Aunt Mianmian, your great-nephew pays his respects, the little girl replied excitedly. Good grandson. At the same time, handing over gifts with both hands. These are the birthday gift and the meeting gift Mianmian brought for you. He was momentarily stunned. Aunt, this is... The little girl then explained, it's the ginseng's beard. He heard Mianmian say she wanted to go back home to celebrate great-nephew's 60th birthday, so he cut off his beard himself for me to bring back as a gift. Mianmian suddenly noticed something unusual. The little girl pointed to the string of beads and said seriously, Great-nephew, you shouldn't wear this string of beads anymore. He was slightly startled. You can tell what's wrong with it. The little girl thought for a moment and said, it carries resentment, made from human bones. Is it because you wear this Buddhist bead that you can't sleep well at night? He immediately took it off, without hesitation. Then he thought, this string of beads was a gift from my eldest son Lin Ru's girlfriend. It said that it was blessed by the abbot himself, so I've always worn it. Then the little girl suggested, give it to me, great-nephew. It wouldn't be good for your family to keep this, and took the string of beads, putting it into the small bag she wore. At this time, Su Linsheng saw that his son was still stunned. He lightly kicked him, reminding him, what are you standing there like a log for? Your dad here has already paid his respects to your aunt. Aren't you going to kneel down and bow to your great-grandma? He was seething with anger, but couldn't complain. Forget it. Can't curse my own dad. Then he heard the father sternly instructed him, if I tell you to bow, then bow. Quickly address her properly, or you'll be punished. Having no other choice, he bent over and said, greetings, great-grand-aunt. This junior Su Chenfei pays his respects. The little girl was overjoyed, because, finally, someone has bowed to me. So she generously gifted, good great-grandson, Aunt will also give you a meeting gift. With the initial formalities completed, he coaxed, Aunt Mianmian, you're a bit dirty. Let the servants take you to take a bath and change your clothes, okay? The little girl obediently replied, okay. Mianmian happily bathed in the tub of water. She said with delight, so comfortable. Suddenly, achoo! A ticklish sensation on the tip of her nose made the little one burst into a sneeze. Hachoo! Seeing this, the servants fussed over her, scooping her out of the tub, cooing, quick, quick, tell Dr. Liu to stand by. She might catch a cold if she keeps sneezing like that. The little munchkin innocently chirped, no need. Someone's bad-mouthing Mianmian. It's not a cold, you know? Which sent the servants into giggles. Our young mistress is so adorable, like a fairy descending from heaven. If I could have a daughter as pretty as her, I'd be set for life. Hearing this, one maid couldn't help but sigh. Ah, I only pop out smelly boys. When will I ever get a daughter? The little one glanced at the maid and declared, you'll have a daughter soon, don't worry, leaving the maid stunned. A pair of imposing feet strutted toward the doorway. A voice called out, young mistress, making Mianmian startled and turn around. The newcomer was Madame Su, the matriarch of the Su family. Madame Su greeted her with a smile. Granddaughter-in-law pays her respects to young mistress. The little one couldn't help but gush internally. So pretty, even prettier than my grandson. She instinctively patted herself. Huh, where's my bag? Here you go, young mistress. A servant swiftly handed it over. The little one obediently took it. Thank you. Then she rummaged through her bag. Mianmian eagerly presented something to Madame Su. Here, a gift for you. Singled out like that, Madame Su was momentarily speechless, thinking, this jadeite bangle was recently bought by a wealthy businessman in Hong Kong for 300 million. Seeing her blank stare, the little one fretted, don't you like Mianmian's welcome gift? Then let me swap it for something else. She rummaged through her bag again. My great-nephew loves ginseng beards. You'll probably like it too. Madame Sue finally snapped out of it. Like it, young Mistress Mian Mian. Don't be upset. Granddaughter-in-law was just mesmerized by your cuteness. It's not that I don't like the gift. Such a precious jade bangle, please keep it, the little one generously declared. If you like it, I'll just give it to you. Mian Mian has tons at home. Madame Sue was stumped, thinking, she's still so young. I'll hold on to the bangle for her temporarily. I'll lock it in the safe. It can be part of her dowry later. Then, she coaxed gently. Young Mistress Mian Mian, shall granddaughter-in-law help you change clothes? Okay, the little one reached out, wanting to be carried. Looking at what was before her, the little one was shocked, with her eyes wide and mouth agape. The moment she was carried into the room, she cried out, "Whoa!" It was the first time she saw such things. So many pretty dresses. After a while, a pretty dress had settled on the little one. The little one happily twirled around. She asked, "What do you think, granddaughter-in-law?" Madame Sue bent down to the little one's level, showering her with praise. Our young Mistress Mian Mian has great taste. The dress is so pretty," making the little one grin from ear to ear, hee. A servant came to announce, "Madam, the master says the banquet is about to begin." Inside the lavishly decorated banquet hall, Madame Sue carried Mian Mian into the grand hall. She introduced, "Mian Mian, that tallest person over there is your eldest nephew, Su Chenjin. He's loved money since he was little, so he's the one managing the Su family's business." Even at this moment, the eldest son of the Su family, Su Chenjin, was busy with social relations to serve economic interests. Then she didn't introduce anyone else, she explained. Besides him and Old Seventh, the other grandchildren and great-grandchildren are all busy and couldn't make it. The little girl looked in the direction she pointed, and when she saw the other person's face, she suddenly thought, why do I feel like there's something wrong with my eldest nephew? Su Chenjin looked extremely tired, and the dark circles under his eyes had gotten even thicker. Looking at him made her want to look around. Mian Mian asked curiously, "Nephew's wife, who's that woman standing next to my great-nephew? One of them even stopped Mian Mian outside the door today." She answered, also expressing her feelings. "Those are the Lin sisters, Lin Ru and Lin Mai. I don't know why, but the eldest suddenly insisted on marrying Lin Ru. I don't like her at all." Just then, since Aunt Mian Mian has arrived, let's start the banquet. Seeing him arrive, the little girl excitedly called out, "Eldest nephew." Immediately afterward, he took the little girl and his wife to the center of the banquet hall and announced, "Thank you all for coming to my birthday party. Before the party starts, your old man has a big announcement to make." Hearing this, Lin Ru thought she was in luck and tugged his hand, saying, "You're going to announce our marriage?" He looked at her gently and replied, Seeing this, she was overjoyed and thought to herself, "Luckily, my master helped me cast a spell to make Chenjin like me. He's finally mine." On the contrary, on the podium, Su Linsheng announced, "The person I'm holding here is one of our family." Leaving Lin Ro slightly dazed, "Why not announce the engagement with me first?" Lin Mai hastily spoke up, "Su Senior, today is your birthday, so announce happy things. Don't announce anything that will embarrass the Su family." He indifferently said, "Who are you? It's not your place to speak about the Su family's affairs." The shameless woman grabbed her younger sister's hand and tried to claim kinship. "I'm Lin Mai, the older sister of your son's girlfriend, Lin Ru." Lin Ru politely said, "Hello, uncle." Then, the ignorant woman began to point fingers, not forgetting to dig up dirt on the family. "Isn't the person you're holding an illegitimate child of Old Seventh of the Su family? Saying it like that will affect the reputation of the Su family. I'm doing this for the benefit of the Su family." Lin Ru embarrassedly tugged at her older sister's hand. "Sister, don't say any more." Thinking, "Sister, you're so embarrassing." Hearing an outsider lecture him, he angrily corrected, "Who told you that this little one is the illegitimate child of Old Seventh? She's my aunt, Mian Mian, the great-great-aunt of Old Seventh." The little girl chimed in, "That's right, Mian Mian is the great-great-aunt." The two sisters were stunned for a few seconds. "What, Senior? Don't joke around. This little one is your aunt." They were already trying to take advantage, and now the sisters even dared to be mouthy in front of him, so he immediately settled the score. "I heard you called my aunt a beggar outside, and even let your son push her. Now you're interrupting me. The Su family doesn't welcome guests without manners like you. Someone, kick them out." Hearing this, their faces suddenly darkened. Lin Rao hurriedly pleaded, "Chenjin, the sisters didn't know aunt's identity. Ignorance is no excuse. Help me persuade your father." Lin Mai kept yelling, "Let me go. Quickly tell them to release me." "Okay," he replied, without hesitation, and she couldn't help but feel happy. My master's spell is indeed powerful. Chenjin really loves me to death now. Immediately afterward, he really went to speak up. Dad, it's your birthday today. Forgive them. As soon as he arrived, the little girl was shocked. Looking closely at my great-nephew's face, there really is a problem. His path of destiny has been diverted. So she opens the celestial eye. In just a moment, when the celestial eye opens, the little Missy quickly realized something was up. That black thread was actually trying to force a connection between those two. But that red thread, that's the real deal. Tied by the Moon Elder himself. So, she stepped in to help. Hey, big bro Chenjin, let auntie down. Grandnephew, come over here for a sec, will ya? Su Chenjin obediently walked over, bowing respectfully. Greetings, grandaunt. The little girl said happily. Good grandnephew. Don't be scared. Leave this to grandaunt. He didn't get what was going on. Scared of what? One hand gripping a wooden sword, the other grabbing that black thread. Snip. One clean cut severed that forced connection. Then, the little girl said, Good grandnephew, Mian has helped you get rid of the bad stuff. Right then, Su Chenjin snapped back to his senses, thinking, My body suddenly feels lighter, but why do I have so many strange memories in my head? He turned to Lin Ru suspiciously. Why do I suddenly like Lin Ru? After which the little girl gave the meet and greet gift. Also, giving the big nephew a beard, Su Chenjin replied in a daze, Thank you for grandaunt's gift, then thought, A grass, he decided secretly. I must take all of their beards back in the future, hey. All right, all done, Su Linsheng announced to the guests. Sorry for the spectacle, everyone. My little aunt might be young, but she's got seniority. I gotta make things clear, or I'm afraid someone might not know better and keep bullying her. It's getting late. Thanks for coming to this old man's birthday. Let's eat. The little girl happily sat down at the table, with the Su couple on either side. The next seat down was occupied by Su Chenjin and Lin Ru, and on the other side were close and distant relatives and Uncle Su Chenfei. The little girl asked curiously, Why aren't you eating? Su Linsheng honestly replied, Aunt Mian, you go first. Understanding. The little girl waved her chopsticks and said, Everyone, eat up. The Su couple couldn't help but smile, thinking, looks like little auntie plays grown up at home a lot. She's really good at imitating adults. They immediately started serving her food. Little Mian, eat more. The little girl happily devoured it. So yummy, so yummy. Then, she pointed and said, I want that, thanks. Not forgetting to say, everyone, eat up, don't just watch Mian, this and that are all super delicious. Su Linsheng responded with a smile. Yes. Lin Ru anxiously asked, Chenjin, are your aunt and uncle unhappy with me? Why haven't they said anything about the engagement? Su Chenjin said coldly, I need to think more about the engagement. Hearing him say that, she was instantly stunned. How could this be? No way, gotta act fast. Su Chenjin, you're forcing my hand, she thought fiercely. We'll change, Su Chenjin, you're forcing my hand, she thought fiercely. Suddenly, the lights in the banquet hall went out, and everyone below started panicking. What happened to the lights? On the main stage, Lin Ru was holding on to Su Chenjin's arm. With the spotlight shining directly on him, he announced loudly, Esteemed guests, today I have a very important announcement to make. Su Linsheng, upon hearing this, muttered angrily, What is the eldest up to? Mian's eyes suddenly widened in shock, as if she had noticed something. Looking at Su Chenjin's complexion, she noticed a black aura surrounding him. It made her realize, this isn't the eldest grandson anymore. He's clearly possessed. Doing this will affect his health. Thinking this, Mian quickly climbed down to the floor. Her little feet scurried away. Thump, 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 surprising even Madame Su, eldest grandchild. Great-grandma's coming to save you. At this moment, Su Chenjin was completely controlled. He knelt down at Lin Ru's feet, taking out an expensive ring and saying, Ru. Seeing this, she secretly rejoiced. From now on, I, Lin Ru, will be the young mistress of the Su family. Her face was full of anticipation. All the women in the world will be beneath my feet. So hurry up and say those words. Ru, will you agree to marry? But Su Chenjin stopped mid-sentence. Lin Ru stared in shock at the red thread flying in front of her face, her mouth agape. Watching the little girl desperately pulling the thread away from Su Chenjin, Lin Ru wondered, what's going on? How can that little brat grab that thread? At this moment, Mian was using all her strength to pull. Su Chenjin suddenly felt a splitting headache. Seeing her plan about to be ruined, she angrily pushed Mian away. No, get out of here. Luckily, an arm grabbed her. Su Chenfei threatened loudly. Lin Ru, how dare you push our great-grandma? Are you looking for death? She forced a smile and explained. What are you talking about? I was just trying to pull her back. I didn't. His face tightened as he questioned. You're still denying it in front of so many people. There are security cameras in the hall. Do you want me to play the footage? Seeing this, she immediately turned to her boyfriend for help. Chenjin, say something for me. Ignoring her, Mian continued to forcefully pull the thread away. In just a moment, the little girl pulled a ghost out of Chenjin's body. Without any fear, she caught it, and she cheered happily. Gotcha! Chenjin regained his senses, stunned as he looked at the thing in her hand. Just now, I was possessed. He stood up coldly and said, I saw it. He angrily said, Linru, you've gone too far. Someone, get her out of here. Seeing that Chenjin was no longer controlled, she covered her mouth in horror. It's over. I'm doomed. As soon as she finished speaking, she collapsed and fainted. Over here, Mamian interrogated the ghost. Why did you crawl into my great-great-grandson's body? It fearfully begged. Little fairy, spare me. That woman told me to possess him. It put on a pitiful act and suggested, Little fairy, could you loosen your grip a little? You're hurting me, ouch. It really hurts. Mian kindly loosened her grip and said, Oh, is that so? Then I'll loosen my grip for you. Chenjin stepped forward to stop her. Great-grandma, don't let it go, Mian surprisingly asked. Great-great-grandson, can you see the ghost? He happily replied, I couldn't see it before, but now I can see it clearly. Great-grandma, can you trap it? Because it just possessed me. I feel like it's not a good thing. Upon hearing this, it repeatedly begged, No, don't trap me. But Mian smiled like a flower and said, All right, Mom told me to listen to my great-great-grandchildren, so I'll listen to my great-great-grandson. Trap the ghost. The ghost wailed miserably. Finally it turned hostile and threatened. Let me go, or none of you will have a good ending. Ignoring it, the little girl calmly rolled it into a ball. After that, Mian even stuck a talisman on it to suppress it. The little girl happily said to everyone, Now it can't hurt anyone anymore. Chenfei also gave a thumbs up and praised, So awesome. Chenjin quickly picked Mian up. He turned to the crowd and reassured them, My great-grandma just found that spot interesting and looked over. But Lin Ru thought she was being disturbed and tried to push her. What a terrible character. She's not worthy of being my wife. Sorry for making you all watch this circus. Please continue with your meal. The well-behaved little girl immediately clasped her hands together and cheerfully said, Eat, everyone, eat. The entire Su family sat together in the spacious living room. Chenfei fed Mian pieces of dim sum one by one. The little girl happily smiled, her eyes narrowed. So yummy. Suddenly, the little girl looked at Su Linsheng and said, Eldest grandnephew, Mian has completed Dad's mission. I'm going home now. His face turned worried. No way. The letter clearly stated, Don't let the little great-grandma return. RN. The old man hastily stopped her. Little ancestor, you can't go anywhere. My quick wit found a reason to keep Mian here. My two sons have been experiencing strange things lately, and they're still waiting for you to help catch the ghosts. Saying that, he winked at his family, signaling them. Madame Su chimed in, That's right, little ancestor. Without your help, those two brats will be crying their eyes out in a few days. Su Chenfei nodded in agreement, pointing at his older brother. Yeah, if you go back, my brother and I won't dare to come home anymore. The naive Mian was completely fooled. Bursting with enthusiasm, she declared, In that case, let me see where the ghosts are now. I'll catch them and then go home. Hearing this, the entire Su family was dumbfounded. Little ancestor, we didn't mean for you to catch ghosts right now. Mian immediately pulled a bagua compass from her pocket. The entire Su family reluctantly followed behind her, the compass making a clack, clack sound. Moving left, then moving right. Suddenly, it stopped. The little girl rubbed her eyes, looking exhausted. This isn't good. Her little legs swayed. Her eyes were unfocused and uncontrolled. Then she staggered and fell backward, so sleepy. Luckily, Madame Su gently caught her in her arms. Mian obediently snuggled into her arms and fell into a deep sleep. Madame Su turned around and signaled everyone to be quiet. Shh. Looking at Mian, sleeping soundly on the bed, Madame Su sighed. Hi. Keeping it a secret forever isn't the solution. If little ancestor finds out about her parents, will she use her magic to go back? Suddenly, the little girl cried out in a panic, Mommy, Daddy, wake up. She asked worriedly, Is little ancestor having a nightmare? What should we do now? Not knowing what she saw, her little hands clenched tightly, her face covered in tears. Sob, sob. At this time, Mian Mian was sitting beside her parents' bed, calling out helplessly, "Don't sleep anymore. Wake up." Her voice became hoarse from calling, "Mommy, Daddy," but both of them remained motionless. Mian Mian was worried, tears streaming down her face. "Mommy, Daddy, don't sleep. Mian Mian is back." Regaining her composure, she wiped away her tears and remembered. "That's right, there's still the family treasure. The Zhang family's divine tablet," Mommy told me, when encountering unsolvable problems. Thinking this, she quickly ran towards the divine tablet. "Let's pray to the divine tablet. It will definitely know how to help me." Not running far, her little feet tripped over a rock in the way. Ouch. Mian Mian accidentally fell to the ground, causing her to cry out in alarm. "Ah!" That hit really made the little one cry, sniffle, sniffle. But then, Mian Mian toughened up and told herself, "Gotta be strong. Mom and Dad are waiting for me." And just as she hoped, she got there in no time. Mian Mian hugged it tight and sobbed, "Spirit Stele, please save Mian Mian." Then, a white light burst around the stele and her parents appeared. "Our little treasure, don't cry," her mom soothed. There, no more tears." Mian Mian reached out to them, her voice full of emotion. "Mom, Dad." Heartbroken, she ran to her mom and asked, "Why did you become spirits?" Her mom gently stroked her hair, comforting her. "Mian Mian, your parents just ran into a bit of bad luck. Just use what you've learned, get lots of love, and do good deeds." As she spoke, her mom quickly pulled out a small bottle and instructed, "Fill this bottle up, and your parents can come back." Her dad also stroked her hair reassuringly. "That's right, our good little treasure. Your parents are waiting in the spirit stele for you to wake us up." The little girl hugged the bottle sadly. Mian Mian will try her best to fill it up. Before leaving, her mom emphasized, "Listen to your eldest grandnephew at home. Don't be stubborn. Okay, even if Mom and Dad sleep for a long time, Mian Bao, don't keep thinking about it. You need to be happy." Hearing that, she sobbed again. "No, I don't want to be happy. I want Mom and Dad to wake up." Their figures faded away, and Mian Mian reached out but couldn't grab them. She wailed, "I don't want to listen to him. I only listen to Mom and Dad." And just like that, Mian Mian cried her heart out. Sniffle, sniffle. Back in reality, the little girl suddenly opened her eyes. Su Chunfei asked worriedly, "Little ancestor, are you okay?" Su Linsheng beside him was also on edge. "Little ancestor, are you all right? What did you dream about?" Mian Mian calmly sat up and replied, "Mom and Dad said that only when I gather enough faith points and merit to fill this bottle can they wake up." With that, she reached into her pocket and took out a tortoise shell. Then, she threw it up with a strong hand. It quickly transformed into a complete turtle. The little turtle wobbled towards Su Chunfei, making his eyes widen in shock. What is little ancestor doing? Mian Mian opened her eyes wide, a serious expression on her face, as she said to everyone, the turtle already divined for Mian Mian. "Following the grandnephew can save Mom and Dad. Does grandnephew need Mian Mian's help?" Eddie calculated for Mian Mian. "As long as we follow my great-grandson, we can save Mom and Dad. Does my great-grandson need Mian Mian's help?" Su Chunfei scratched his head sheepishly, saying, "I'm participating in an arts program, a live recording of daily life with kids. I want to use the show to revive my reputation." He grabbed Mian Mian's arm and suggested, "So I'd like to invite little ancestor to join the reality show with me. We'll start filming in a week." Standing behind them, Su Linsheng glared and snapped, "What the heck, little ancestor hasn't been home for more than a few days. No way I'm letting that brat take her off to film a show." But the little girl said enthusiastically, "Mian Mian wants to join. Mian Mian will try her best to perform well." This took everyone by surprise. He reluctantly said, "Fine. If little ancestor wants to film, our Su family will pour money into it and create hype. We'll definitely make little ancestor famous." Hearing this, Su Chenjin wisely stopped him. Using money to push her up might backfire and make the audience resentful. Old Seventh is a prime example. These words were like a million arrows piercing Su Chunfei. He gently reminded, "Besides, the merit little ancestor accumulates won't count anymore." At this point, Su Linsheng stroked his chin and nodded. Right, it's best to be humble." A week later, filming began. The director's voice boomed. Action. The daily life of adorable kids. The host quickly stepped into place. She cheerfully introduced, "Hello viewers, welcome to our live stream. Now, we're going to raid Su Chunfei's morning moments. Aren't you all excited?" She gently pushed open his bedroom door. "Next, let's go into the room and see what a big star usually does in the morning." But at this moment, a flood of negative comments poured into the live stream. "Who's looking forward to seeing this trash?" Su Chenfei dares to show his face? Wasn't he exposed for using drugs and having a scandalous private life? Someone like him should be arrested. Being rich means you can buy airtime, huh? I heard the kid he's bringing along is his illegitimate child. What? The show is allowing this? Inside, everything was luxurious and magnificent. Chen Fei and Mian Mian were still fast asleep. People watching the live stream relentlessly cursed. Hilarious. It's this late and they're still not up? Don't they know they're live streaming? Su Chen Fei is like this. No wonder he can't get famous. How can Su Chen Fei be so lazy? Makes sense. What makes him lazy? Utterly useless. Show crew, hurry up and replace him. Su Linsheng sat in front of the screen, watching the live stream and fuming. That damn brat. He clearly said he'd wake up early. Now little ancestor is getting scolded too. How can this be allowed? He immediately grabbed his phone and typed a few comments to defend them. Little ancestor is so cute. What's wrong with kids sleeping in a bit? But by this point, there were already tons of hateful comments. Organize a boycott of SCF. Spoiling kids, beyond saving. Seeing this, Madame Su suggested, let me go wake him up. She stood in front of Chen Fei's bed and called out loudly, Old Seventh, wake up. They've started filming? She crossed her arms, her face glaring at her son. If I wasn't afraid of waking little ancestor, I would have dragged this brat up a long time ago, sleeping like a dead pig. Suddenly, Mian Mian rubbed her eyes and woke up. The adorable little girl called out, little daughter-in-law, good morning. Hearing this, Madame Su's face lit up. Ayo, how can my family's little ancestor be so adorable? In her internal monologue, she wanted to hug her so badly. She leaned down and said softly, little ancestor, they've started filming. Hearing this, Mian Mian cheerfully flipped back the covers. Yay, I'm awake. Then she sat in front of the camera and said happily, good morning, everyone. I'm Su Mian Mian. Seeing the adorable little girl, the netizens went wild. Ah, this baby is so cute. It's a sweet, soft, fragrant little princess. She's tempting me to have a daughter. I'm completely captivated. I'll watch the show for her. Wait a minute. This baby called Su Chenfei's mom, little daughter-in-law? What's the relationship between them? Madame Su stood to the side, her face filled with helpless anger as she looked at her snoring son. Little ancestor is already awake, and he's still not up. She couldn't help but raise her hand to give him some physical encouragement. Are you going to wake up or not? Mian Mian quickly stopped her. Little daughter-in-law, wait. She leaned close to her ear and whispered, last night, a ghost came looking for Mian Mian and scared old Seventh to death. Let him sleep a little longer, little daughter-in-law. At that time, Chen Fei was being ghost-pressed. He mumbled in his sleep, ugh, don't want to wake up. The little girl sitting next to him saw everything, but Mian Mian had already subdued the ghost doll. She had been sitting there all night to help him sleep soundly. Madame Su understood the situation, so that's what happened. He's forgiven then, but we're live streaming now. And we have to go to the airport at 11 for location shooting. Thinking this, she explained to Mian Mian, little ancestor, little daughter-in-law understands that you care about old Seventh, but the show is important. We can only wake him up now. The little girl reluctantly agreed. Okay, then wake old Seventh up. As soon as she finished speaking, Madame Su's face darkened, and she delivered a thunderous blow to Chen Fei's butt, causing him to scream in pain. Ah! The netizens also erupted in gleeful laughter. Ha ha ha! This is definitely his real mom. One slap and he's awake. She loudly scolded. Do you need to look over there and see? Chen Fei was still rubbing his eyes, clueless about what was going on. Then he suddenly remembered, oh right, aren't we filming today? So he quickly sat up. He ran his hand through his handsome hair and flashed a dazzling smile, saying, good morning, my precious babies. Seeing his face, the netizens were instantly critical. What the heck, this good-for-nothing is such a creep. Disgusting. Who's your precious baby? Get off the show. Take your illegitimate child and get out of showbiz, please. Su Mian Mian looked at the person on the bed and called out, Seventh granduncle, Seventh granduncle. The little girl squinted her eyes and smiled. Good morning. Su Chenfei smiled and ruffled her hair. Good morning, little ancestor. A flood of comments erupted because of this action. Dying of laughter. Su Chenfei is totally an expression king. Face changing in 1 second. I didn't even have time to react. 1 second he looked like he wanted to gouge someone's eyes out. The next I was completely charmed. Is this gentle dad for real? Calling her little ancestor and everything. Hearing him reply, the little girl innocently held up her finger to list the things they needed to do. Seventh granduncle, we need to brush our teeth and wash our face, then eat, then take the car, and then take the airplane. We have so many things to do today. Suddenly, Su Chenfei grabbed her tightly around her waist with both hands. He enthusiastically put her on his shoulders. All right, let's go. Let's go brush our teeth and fly. Being lifted up, the little girl giggled sweetly. Hey, let's go. The two of them, one big and one small, stood in front of the mirror, getting ready to brush their teeth. He respectfully presented the toothbrush with toothpaste to her with both hands. Little ancestor, please use your toothbrush. The little girl happily took the toothbrush and affectionately patted his head. You're such a good grandnephew. Little ancestor likes you the best. The two of them brushed their teeth together like that. Then they washed their faces together with a towel. He smiled and took a jar of cream labeled, "Seventh granduncle from the cabinet. Little ancestor, let grandnephew put some moisturizer on for you, okay?" The little girl obediently replied, "Okay." He gently and carefully applied the moisturizer to her face. While he was busy applying cream for her, a voice rang out. "Lao Chi, what are you doing? Today is Monday. We have to use the cream that we bought for little ancestor." Su Linsheng immediately kicked Su Chenfei in the waist and scolded, "How dare you secretly use the cream you bought? You want to get kicked," causing him to cry out in pain. Ouch! The jar of cream in his hand fell into Su Mianmian's hands. Ignoring him, he went in front of the little girl and complained, "Little ancestor Lao Chi didn't follow the rules. You have to judge fairly." While in pain and tears, he spoke up for himself. "Dad, we're filming. Can you not be like this?" He ignored him and said to the little girl, "We agreed that we'd use my grandson's cream on Mondays." At this moment, she looked at the seventh granduncle label and said, "Used the wrong one." She immediately picked up the cream labeled eldest grandson and said in a childish voice, "Mian Mian is a grown-up. Mian Mian must be fair." The little girl innocently continued to apply the moisturizer to her face. She turned to Su Linsheng and smiled. Mian Mian used eldest grandson's cream. Mian Mian is always the fairest and most upright person. He helplessly indulged her and replied, "Yes, yes, yes." A barrage of comments erupted because of his unparalleled pampering. What? Su Chenfei's dad also calls her little ancestor? Her status is definitely not simple. But some people questioned, do you guys really believe it? It's clearly a publicity stunt by the Su family to whitewash Su Chenfei's image. Su Chenfei's dad, Su Linsheng, is a famous person. He's 60 years old. He wouldn't lower himself to fake it. A small figure appeared and reminded them, "It's almost time for the Q&A session. Guests, please prepare." A moment later, Su Chenfei was gently leading Su Mianmian down the stairs one step at a time. The little girl's cute chubby face was clearly visible, and netizens were also won over and commented, "So cute, let me take a whiff of her. She's tempting me to have a daughter again." Once the two were settled on the sofa, the reporter rushed over and shoved the camera right in the little girl's face. The other one, holding a mic, lowered his voice and asked, "So Mian, what's your relationship with Su Chenfei?" The little girl leaned closer, staring straight into the camera, puzzled. "Great-grandson told me that when asked questions privately, I have to look into the lens. Guess that's the right thing to do, huh?" Her innocent face with eyes brighter than stars was clearly visible in the camera. She raised her hand, waving and introducing, "I'm his great-great-great-grandma. He's my 7th-generation grandson." This action immediately caused an uproar among netizens. "Aw, this little girl is too adorable. OMG. Is she lying from such a young age? Ha ha ha. If she's really his great-great-great-grandma and he's her 7th-generation grandson, I'll wash my hair upside down." He approached her kindly, asking, "So is there any proof? Can we invite your parents to confirm?" Hearing his question, the little girl hugged her teddy bear and started crying, "Mommy, Daddy." Seeing her tears, he didn't let up, continuing, "Good girl, Mian, don't cry. Your dad is here, but not your mom, right?" This made Su Chenfei, who was beside her, visibly annoyed. Netizens were also heartbroken, advising, "Don't ask anymore, she's about to cry. The question is too tricky," practically implying she's an illegitimate child. Su Chenfei had finally lost his patience. "All right, that's the end of the interview." But the little girl stopped him, wiping away her tears, and said, "It's okay." Her face filled with sadness, she honestly revealed, "My dad's name is Su Shengqi, and my mom's name is Jian Yao. My parents are currently fast asleep, so they can't talk." She gently looked up, forcing a smile, and reminded, "When Mian completes her mission, I'll let you two talk to them." Okay. The host, getting the answer he wanted, didn't press her further. "Okay. Thanks for the interview, Mian. That's all for our interview." In his heart, he thought, "So adorable. I definitely need to have another daughter in the future." Suddenly, the little girl blocked the host's microphone, reminding him, "Uncle, call your son. Tell him not to go forward." Surprised, he responded, Huh, my son is only 4 years old. He doesn't have a phone. The little girl didn't give up, persuading. Then call his mom. Her eyes sparkling, she looked sincerely at the man in front of her. You're a good person, and Mian Mian doesn't want you to be sad. Seeing him frozen, Su Chenfei impatiently urged, Hurry up. If you don't call, I will. Hearing this, he snapped to attention, replying, I'll call. Confused comments also appeared. Wait, how did this suddenly shift from a reality show to a theological talk show? I'm dying of laughter. This kid is like a little guru. The call connected. Someone from the production team spoke quietly. He asked, Hello, honey. Where are you? Hearing this, his wife was slightly confused, but still responded gently. Darling, I'm taking our son to his talent class. Aren't you filming with the program today? How do you have time to call me? He glanced at the little girl and said gently to his wife, It's nothing. Just wanted to remind you not to keep going. Wait a bit before you go, his wife asked, puzzled. Huh, why? Suddenly, a crash was heard, and his wife's voice was replaced by a scream. Ah! Seeing this, he frantically called out, Honey. On the other end of the phone, 2 cars, one black and one white, crashed right in the middle of the pedestrian crossing. Talk about a close call. The producer's wife was hugging her kid, looking greener than a goblin, saying, Honey, there was a car accident. Thank goodness you called. I slowed down a bit. If I'd taken a few more steps, me and Junior would have been roadkill. Back at the Su family villa, the whole production crew was gawking at the kiddo, thinking, No way she called that, right? Mian Mian clutched her chest, breathing a sigh of relief. The little bean exclaimed, Phew, timing was just perfect. Snapping back to her cheerful self, she grinned like a Cheshire cat. OMG. Thank goodness. All's well that ends well. A crew member grabbed her tiny hands, super grateful. Thank you so much. Without that call, they would have been toast, no matter what. I couldn't have lived with that. Mian Mian looked at him with sparkly eyes. It's all good. You saved a baby once too. This is just the reward you deserve. He was totally lost, scratching his head. Saving a baby. I don't remember that. Then it hit him. Oh. Right. 3 days ago, I pulled a high schooler out of the way of a scooter on the street. He stared at the kiddo with pure admiration, giving her 2 thumbs up. You even knew about that. That's freaking amazing. Su Chenfei leaned down, all gentle and curious, showering her with praise. Our little miss knows how to fortune tell. That's off the charts. She got all flustered by the compliment, hiding her face and giggling like crazy. Hee. She patted him on the head like he was a puppy. Thanks, 7th great-grandpa, for the compliment. You're awesome, too. After that day, the trending news was all about cute little ancestor fortune teller, little ancestor predicts car accident. Under the posts, the comments were exploding. The Su family must have spent a fortune staging that accident, trying to make her seem mystical, unless she can predict something else. I'm not buying it. Seeing is believing. The production crew was jumping for joy, watching the popularity skyrocket. Yes, we're hitting 3 million views. The higher-ups barked into the walkie-talkie, strike while the iron's hot, ride the wave of her fortune-telling abilities and keep the hype going. Over there, the crew member got the order from his boss and kept the interview rolling. We'd like to continue the interview, Master Mian Mian. Can you interact with the audience and show off your skills? How else can you tell fortunes? The kiddo held the mic all sweet and innocent. But you can't just go around telling fortunes, you know, Mommy said. I can only tell them for people I have a connection with. And there's a price to pay. Her eyes lit up like Christmas trees. Or like you've done a good deed, but ran into some bad luck. Only then can I tell fortunes. Suddenly she paused, racking her brain. Oh, doing a good deed. Then she totally ignored the crew member and started rummaging through her backpack like a mad scientist. A moment later, she pulled out a glass bottle. Her eyes sparkled as she stared at the thing in her hand, totally shocked. Oh, wow, there's actually water in here. Mian Mian clutched the little bottle, her mind racing. Fortune-telling is like doing good deeds. It can build up merit. Does that mean Mian Mian should help everyone by telling fortunes? I can almost feel Mommy and Daddy waking up. The crew member watched her beaming and cautiously asked, So, Master Mian Mian, what price do we have to pay? She winked adorably, signaling. Mian Mian has to figure out what the price is first. She pulled out 3 tiny coins, and the online community went bonkers. Fortune-telling coins? She's really playing the fortune-teller card. Probably bought them from some random shop. Hold up. No, they're not. I just checked. Fortune-telling coins don't look like that. Wait a minute. My grandpa's a coin collector. The characters on it say, Ban Liang. That's from the Qin dynasty. Those are real. Someone offered 5 million yuan for one. Holy crap, 3 coins are 15 million. That's crazy expensive. The little troublemaker tossed the 3 coins into the air. The camera zoomed in on her cute little face. She stared at the 3 coins that landed on the ground, thinking hard, then chirped. Within 7 days, Mian can only tell 3 fortunes for people with a connection. Today, there's only 2 left, and you gotta pay 888 spirit coins to get one? The crew member was confused. How do you choose who has a connection? The little girl pointed at thin air and said, the omen says, the person who always tells you what to do is another uncle. That uncle knows everything. She shoved her chubby little face right up to the camera and asked, you're sitting across, watching, aren't you? On the other side, a man wearing glasses watched everything and exclaimed, this kid's kinda interesting. He waved his hand, ordering the woman behind him, pick 2 random fans from the live stream. Over here, the kiddo happily stared at the crew member's phone. The man with glasses was bursting with excitement. I want to see what other miracles this kid can pull off. The kiddo pointed at the phone. Pick them. The little munchkin's cute little hands gently touched the phone screen. The screen lit up, showing the live stream's prize list. Ha ha ha, Su Chenfei get the heck out of showbiz. She read the comment and innocently asked, why does everyone want my chi-cha-cha to leave showbiz? Isn't showbiz good? The program staff were like, whoa, thinking, a little kid's question hitting us with the soul-searching truth. A comment popped up, clear as day. Su Chenfei get the heck out of showbiz. Of course, it's 'cause your chi-cha-cha did bad stuff, and you think you can whitewash it like this? No way. The little one read it and went, ah. A hand gently ruffled her hair. Su Chenfei leaned down, gently comforting Mian. All right, little ancestor, let's go. Don't read the comments anymore. She obediently nodded. Okay. Then, the live connected to a sweet girl called Mio. She waved and greeted. Little Mian, hi there. Need a birth chart reading. Want me to tell you yours? Mian waved her hands, all generous. No need. Sister Mio, send the fortune-telling fee first. Then tell me what you want to ask about. At this point, both Su Chenfei and the program staff were stunned, thinking the same thing. Send a fortune-telling fee. How does that work? She smiled and pulled a cute little phone out of her pocket. Su Chenfei chuckled. Our little ancestor is so thoughtful. On the other end, Mio was resting her chin on her hand, worried. I want to ask where my cat went. I've been searching the whole neighborhood for a month, even put up missing posters, but still no sign of it. The little one calmly tapped her fingers, doing some calculations, then answered, your cat. It's in the house to the left, next to the next house from yours. The girl was shocked and retorted, I already asked them. They said they didn't see a cat, but she still obediently listened. Let me go ask again. Then, she reached out and grabbed her phone. Heading out. A little while later, the doorbell rang. A voice called out from inside. Little girl, what are you doing at my house again? I told you last time, the cat's not here. The little one calmly pointed at the screen. Call the police. Great-granddaughter says, if you see something on the street, call the police. Mio was dumbfounded. The netizens, hearing her opinion, were uncomfortable and yelled, why tell them to call the police? What if it's not true? Can this kid take responsibility? If they call the police, this is gonna be huge. Su Chenfei stepped forward, grabbed the phone, and said coldly, give me the address, I'll call the police. If it's fake, I'll take responsibility. Hearing that someone had her back, Mayo was determined, okay, I'll call the police. At this moment, an old lady walked out of the house, complaining, it's just a cat. Why make such a fuss? What's wrong with letting my grandson play with it for a few days? Then, a little white cat with blue eyes walked out. The old lady, a little worried, pleaded, don't call the police, okay? I'll give the cat back to you, it's still healthy. Seeing her cat come out unharmed, Mayo was touched and hugged it, crying, little white, come to mommy, wah. A barrage of comments flooded in, found it, so good, oh my god, you're amazing, congrats. This old lady is so awful. I still think you should call the police. The cat's back. That's good enough. Little ancestor is awesome. The little one excitedly jumped up and down, showing off. Great-grandpa, I was right. Su Chenfei looked at her lovingly. Our little ancestor is the best. Getting her head patted, the little one grinned. Hee. The live continued, connecting to the second guest. Guest number 2 said frankly, I've transferred the money. Now I want to see how my younger brother is doing. On the screen were her online names, Su Chenfei, get out of showbiz, and Mian Mian's name, Mian Mian's daily life. She looked directly into the phone, confidently declaring, "Everyone probably knows me already. I'm the fan manager for movie Emperor Qin Qing. There's no way you can hire someone to fake it. I'm definitely going to make someone like Su Chenfei get out of showbiz." In her heart, she gloated. "Heh, I don't even have a younger brother. Let's see what she says." Mian Mian seriously stared at her for a while. The netizens, seeing her pensive look, jumped to conclusions. What's this? Is the script wrong? Did they accidentally get an anti-fan who doesn't know how to act? The person in front is overthinking it. How can a 3-year-old act? The real thing can't be faked. This is our movie Emperor's fan manager. Too awesome, exposing their scheme. The little girl's eyes were crystal clear. Your younger brother hasn't been very happy lately. Guest number 2 immediately called her out. You're lying, I don't have a younger brother. You Su family are really bullying people 'cause you're rich. She arrogantly held up a red household registration booklet, boasting, "This is my family's household registration, little kid. Tell the truth, or the police will arrest you." The netizens piled on. LOL, she's been exposed. Organizers, quickly cancel the contract with this scam group. Cancel the contract. Cancel the contract. Mian Mian tried to argue innocently. No. Mian Mian's family never lies. Mian Mian isn't lying either. You've met your younger brother before, just yesterday. Seeing the little girl still fighting back, she asked, pushing to the end, "I don't have a younger brother. How could I have met him? Where did you see him?" The little girl started to remember and recount. When you went to buy something like milk, but you can drink it, with little round balls inside, your younger brother gave it to you. Guest number 2 still resisted, saying, "Everyone drinks bubble tea nowadays. You can't prove anything." "I'm still saying it. I don't have a younger brother." The little girl's eyes were clear, honest, and determined. "Your parents are still looking for your younger brother. Ask your parents, you'll know." A few images flashed in the little girl's mind, and Mian Mian started to describe. Your younger brother was taken away when you were 6. Back then, your younger brother was sitting in a car, and you were crying. Guest number 2 still refused to believe, saying, "I'm going to expose this scam. Let's see what you can say." As soon as the words left her mouth, she called her mother. Su Chenfei and Mian Mian continued to watch intently, while she glanced at them smugly. Her mother's voice rang out, asking, "Yuan Yuan, what's wrong? Mom's working." She asked loudly, "Mom, I'm asking you something. Do I really have a younger brother?" From the phone, her mother's voice suddenly trembled, asking, You, how did you know? Did you suddenly remember?" Hearing this, she was stunned, asking, "Mom, do you mean I really have a younger brother?" Sobbing as she looked at the photo, she recounted, "That year, to buy you some cotton candy, your uncle was snatched away by human traffickers. Your father was so angry he scolded you, and you had a high fever for days. We almost lost you. From then on, the family didn't dare mention it, afraid of upsetting you again." In her hands was a photo of a little girl holding her baby brother, once so happy. Seemingly unable to accept it all at once, Su Mian Mian stubbornly asked, "But my family's household register only has my name on it." "The deed was done," her grandma explained. "Your uncle was only 11 months old back then, not yet added to the register." She went silent for a moment, gazing at the lovely little girl on the screen. Accepting the truth, she said, "Mom, someone said my uncle is selling bubble tea at the shop downstairs. Come with me and see if it's true, really." Over the phone, her grandma was overjoyed. "Okay, I'll be right back." Receiving good fortune, Mian Mian clapped her hands excitedly. "That's great. The whole family will be reunited soon." Everyone couldn't help but sigh in relief. Then the little girl sweetly asked, "The fortune-telling is done. Can we go to the airport now?" According to the schedule, he said, "Yeah, a private car will be here in 30 minutes to take everyone to the airport." Before leaving, the little girl didn't forget to give gifts. "Here's a peace charm for everyone, so when I'm not here, it can protect you all." Su Chenfei looked at the little girl tenderly and said, "I'll take care of great-grandma." But everyone only cared about the upcoming separation from the little girl. Madame Su said with melancholy, "Great ancestor, I'll miss you so much." Su Chenjin instructed, "Great-grandma ancestor, remember to come back soon." Su Lin Sheng added, "If that kid makes any mistakes, great ancestor, just beat him up, don't hold back." It made him feel a little left out. "Why isn't anyone saying goodbye to me?" The little girl replied too, "Mian Mian will miss you all. Remember to take care of yourselves." As soon as he arrived at the airport, he greeted, "My good bro is here." He immediately went to greet his best friend. "Here, you guys are as fast as ever." This was none other than Chen Tao, the actor, and also Su Chenfei's best friend. The little girl looked at him in surprise. She thought, "This bracelet? Why does it feel like the same aura as that pretty sister at the banquet the other day? Then she heard him say amiably, "Is this your daughter?" "Hello, cute little one," he explained. "I was just about to say, this is my great-grandma ancestor. My real great-grandma ancestor. We already went live to clarify. Are you relieved now? I don't have any secret children." Hearing this, Qingdao was a little disappointed. He was silent for a moment, then smiled brightly. "Oh, so she's the great-grandma ancestor. That's unexpected." Next, he politely said, "Great ancestor, this is my younger brother, Ahau. We even prepared a gift for you." Immediately, the kid imitated him, saying, "Great ancestor, this is a gift for you." "Thank you, sweetie." The little girl accepted it. Similarly, giving a gift. "This is Mian's return gift." Seeing the ugly wooden figurine, the entire comment section burst into laughter. "I'm dying of laughter. That Barbie doll is the latest limited edition. One costs 30,000 yuan, over 100 million Vietnamese dongs, and the return gift is a piece of wood? Isn't the Su family the richest family? Couldn't they have a little courtesy and prepare a decent gift?" "So stingy," he said kindly. "Ahau, such a precious gift. You must keep it safe. Don't lose it." But in his heart he thought, "I didn't expect the Su family to be so rich, but only give a piece of broken wood to deal with us. How ridiculous. But this time, I'll spend generously, and comparing our gifts, I'll definitely attract a wave of fans." Mian immediately reached into her treasure pouch. A few seconds later, she pulled out a similar wooden figure and said, "Let me show you how to play with this," and then twisted it a bit. Suddenly, the wooden figure transformed into an adorable little wooden bird, and it flew around. The kid exclaimed in amazement. "Whoa," she added. "It's a shame there's no lake here. If there was, it could turn into a little fish and swim around." The comment section exploded again. "Holy crap, this thing can transform into so many things. Is this some kind of mechanical art? Anyone who called it trash wood earlier, want to say that again? This is way more fun than those dress-up dolls or hairbrushes. So jealous, Auntie, I want one too." Of course, Su Chenfei couldn't be left out. He whined, "Grand Aunt Mian, you have such a fun toy. Why don't you give your grandson a gift?" The little girl innocently said, "But this is a toy for kids. You're an adult. This isn't suitable for you." So he immediately started fake crying, "Wah, Grand Aunt, I want one too," leading the comment section to erupt again. "Ha ha ha ha, I'm dying of laughter. Su Chenfei is a master of expressions. Screenshot taken. A new meme has been born. Seriously, I want this little toy too, Auntie. Can you open a shop?" Helpless, the little girl could only offer a gift of comfort. "Don't cry, be good. Here, it's yours. It's yours." Instantly, he smiled brightly and played with the wooden bird. Mian angrily scolded. "So you weren't really crying, you tricked me." He replied without hesitation. "No way. How would I dare trick you, Grandaunt? If I didn't get the toy, your grandson would really cry." Then Ahau exposed him, pointing out, "He's tricking you, Grandaunt. Adults really like teasing kids. They even trick us for our toys." So the little girl said, "Grandson, quickly lower your head," and lectured him. "You can't trick people anymore, grandson. Lying isn't something good kids do. Got it?" He honestly replied, "I was wrong. I was wrong, Grandaunt. I won't trick people anymore. Grandaunt, please forgive me," the little girl said with satisfaction. It's good to know you can admit your mistakes and correct them. Grandaunt forgives you. The toy is still yours, but don't do that again, okay?" Witnessing this scene, people were charmed again. The auntie is too adorable. She's making me want to have a daughter again. With the auntie around, Su Chenfei is so much better behaved. As a result, they found him more pleasing to the eye, and the comments were all positive. Why does our grandson like toys so much? How can he be so cute? Wasn't the rumor that Su Chenfei was a frivolous, rude, and hot-tempered young master? He seems all right now. That's right, I might just become a fan. Looking at the trending searches, the top ones were all news related to the Su Chenfei family, including 3-year-old dumpling teaches Su Chenfei to behave, and little auntie is an amazing fortune teller. Qingdao thought bitterly, "No way. If this continues, Su Chenfei and that kid will definitely steal all the fans. How dare they steal my spotlight? This time, I must drain all his luck, so he can never rise again." The evil thought made the monstrous armlet glow intensely. The evil handring glow intensely. From afar, a noble figure approached. Someone called out loudly, "Huiji." Turns out, that powerful woman was none other than the movie star Liao Hui, and the little girl beside her was her daughter, Gu. Qingdao excitedly turned around and shouted, "Ah Fei, come and say hello, Huiji, you're here." Su Chenfei put on an indifferent, don't give a crap face. Mian asked, confused. Grandnephew, why aren't you saying hello? That's impolite, he replied annoyedly. Why should I greet her? I don't want to be a brown-noser. Qingdao cheerfully explained for him, Huiji, don't misunderstand. Afe doesn't mean anything by it. He secretly snickered, Afe, you're just being impolite. Mian toddled over to Liu. Hui, hello, auntie. The little girl figured, just one look at this auntie and you know she's a good person. Liu Hui put on a friendly face and asked, what's your name, sweetie? The clever little girl introduced herself. My name is Su Mian. Mian even enthusiastically held up her jade bracelet and said, this is a little first meeting gift I prepared. I hope you won't mind my grandnephew's impoliteness. Hearing this, Liu Hui asked in surprise, grandnephew, are you talking about Su Chenfei? Seeing the valuable item in Mian's hand, she thought to herself, the quality of this jade, it's gotta be worth at least 100,000, and a little girl is just giving away something this valuable as a gift. Does Su Chenfei even know? Qingdao quickly explained, Huiji, that little Mian who's with Afe is his great-grand-aunt Young, but with a huge seniority. Suddenly, he glanced at Yu and said, oh, right. Maya Hao also prepared a gift for your little sister Yu. But the little girl shyly hid behind Liu Hui. Liu Hui said apologetically, sorry, my daughter is a little shy. I just hope she could make some friends, so I brought her along. At this moment, the netizens began to criticize her. People who understand will know. Huiji posted on Weibo before. She is just too busy with work to take care of her child as normal. I was also difficult to approach when I was a child, and I changed myself later. Suddenly someone recognized, wait, where's the thing beside her waist? What is the little great-aunt doing? Just then, Mian stepped forward and asked, your name is Yu, right? My name is Mian. Our names are kinda similar. If Yu doesn't like the necklace, I have lots of other fun things in my bag. With that, the little girl quickly dumped countless toys out of her bag. Yu curiously looked over at the little girl. Just like that, one big and one small, carefully examined each of Mian's items. Liu Hui saw the beautiful butterfly hair clips and couldn't help but wonder, I saw a pair of these exact butterfly handicrafts in a museum recently. Does the Su family collect so many precious treasures just to give them away to this kid? Yu softly said, pretty butterflies. Hearing this, Liu Hui felt extremely anxious. My daughter has such good taste. What do I do now? Seeing her little friend liked it, Mian handed it over without hesitation. Here, it's yours. The online chatter exploded immediately. I'm an archaeology major, and there's a similar pair in the museum. Heard they were made for the emperor's favorite daughter back in the day. Museum piece? Is it stolen? Chill, netizens of North City, don't talk nonsense. The wooden doll was super intricate too. Maybe it's a family heirloom. Either way, little auntie is so generous. If I had such pretty jewelry, I'd never give it away. Liu Hui thought awkwardly, this is way too precious. How am I ever going to repay this? Especially since Su Chenfei already has a bias against me. As if she knew what Liu Hui was thinking, the little girl reassured her, it's okay. We have tons more in our storage. The little girl continued with a bright smile. Just give Yu a pair too. Mian likes Yu. Liu Hui didn't refuse again and turned to her daughter. All right, Yu, let's accept the gift. We'll return the favor when we visit her house later, okay? Mian even suggested sweetly, Yu, let's wear them together. With that, the little girl quickly took out another pair of pink butterflies, making Yu's eyes light up with excitement. But before she could even open her mouth, Liu Hui stopped her. Yu, don't be greedy. You replied a little disappointed, okay. Mian noticed her little friend was sad, so she quickly grabbed a pink butterfly and offered, can we share this butterfly? Actually, I like both colors. Yu happily agreed with an Mian's generosity and thoughtfulness blew the netizens away. OMG, our little auntie is so calm, generous, and smart. If I had a whole bunch of this kind of little elder, I'd be obsessed. So cute, so young, and already so sophisticated. What kind of family lineage is this? The little girl ran cheerfully towards Chenfei and called out, nephew, quickly put it on for Mian. He agreed dotingly, okay. After putting it on, the little girl excitedly turned around with a cute look. At this moment, Chenfei hurriedly pulled her hand and said, it's almost time to board the plane, let's go. But Mian shook his hand off. Then used her little legs to run towards Yu. The little girl enthusiastically grabbed Yu's hand and said, "Nephew, you're all grown up now. You can walk by yourself. Mian wants to go with you. Chen Fei's worldview shattered upon hearing this. He cried out in heartbreak, "Great aunt is abandoning me." Heartbrokenly, did great aunt abandon me? Everyone quickly boarded the plane. Mian held Yu's hand, sitting next to her. "Let's sit here together, okay?" You happily agreed with an uh-huh. Su Chenfei followed behind, happily thinking while holding his phone. "I want to sit with great auntie and take pictures to show the family it's great auntie's first time flying, after all." But just as he was about to sit down, Liu Hui stopped him. "Wait a sec." She suggested, "Let me sit with them, okay? You're so big, you wouldn't be good at taking care of kids." Su Chenfei angrily retorted, "Why are you saying I don't know how to take care of kids? My family trained me super well. I learned tons of stuff." Liu Hui forced a smile. "My daughter is afraid of you." But Su Chenfei stubbornly insisted, sitting down next to Mian, "I'm not sitting with your daughter. I'm sitting with my great auntie." Mian worriedly reminded him, "Nephew, don't get too close. You is scared of you. Be a good boy and go sit somewhere else. Okay." Hearing that, his expression instantly changed. "Great auntie, do you not want me anymore?" Su Chenfei was heartbroken and started to cry. "I even had the pose ready for the picture, and now great auntie doesn't want me anymore. Wah." At this moment, the netizens were once again blown away. No way. Su Chenfei is actually crying. Just because he can't sit with Su Mian, I'm dying of laughter, ha ha ha. First time seeing Su Chenfei cry, he didn't even cry when anti-fans threw rotten eggs at him, OMG. Su Chenfei is kinda cute, actually. Mian, seeing his expression, was also speechless. Is this nephew even an adult? Crying over such a small thing, she felt a pang of sympathy, and turned to the little girl. You, my nephew is crying. How about we let him sit with us, you? You also started to open up, replying, "Okay then, your nephew can sit with us, I guess." Liu Hui, seeing this, didn't stop them. She happily said to her daughter, You, mommy will sit over here then, okay?" The little girl replied more confidently, "Okay, mommy." She glanced at Su Chenfei and sighed. Highs? Seeing him gently playing with the two children, she felt confused. He's clearly a nice kid, so why do I suddenly feel like our relationship is so tense? She remembered when Su Chenfei first debuted, he was in the same film crew as me. He diligently asked questions about everything, very eager to learn. After filming wrapped up, the next time I heard news about him was when he slapped a young actress on set. He went viral just like that. Su Chenfei hit someone, violent rich young master. And that actress hadn't even done anything wrong that day. She just wasn't performing very well. Su Chenfei acting like that, I gave him a little reminder. "Chenfei, you're pretty popular right now, so you should be careful about your image." But at that time, he disdainfully retorted, "What are you saying? Just because I call you Sister Hui, you think you're really my sister or something? That woman." Liu Hui got angry, intending to get to the bottom of it. "Chenfei, you." But before she could finish, Qintao appeared and held Su Chenfei back. "Chenfei is not in a good mood today. Sister Hui, please don't mind him. I'll take him downstairs to rest." Liu Hui wondered suspiciously. Now that she thought about it, Qintao seemed strange at the time, as if he was always hiding somewhere. Otherwise, why would he show up at just the right moment? She looked towards Qintao, thinking, Qintao's also participating in this show. I wonder what's going to happen this time. Suddenly, a burst of praise, so cute, startled her. Su Chenfei was currently being super affectionate with the two little girls. Just like that, netizens started seeing him in a new light. Ooh, Su Chenfei is so gentle. If he had kids, he'd definitely be a great dad. Changed my mind. Someone gentle with kids can't be all bad. Su Chenfei's definitely acting. He even brought a B-list actress in the past. Liu Hui smiled contentedly. So gentle like this. Where's the arrogant young master from the internet now? Qintao, unnoticed on the side, muttered jealously to himself, TCH, why are they still filming Su Chenfei? Anyway, the little brat will suck up all the luck for me. It's never been wrong all these years. Later, at the scene, something's definitely going to happen to Su Chenfei. I just have to wait and see the show. Thinking that, he smirked maliciously. The program crew said excitedly, welcome everyone back to the live stream. We've just gotten off the plane and are waiting for a celebrity couple and a non-celebrity guest. Suddenly, there was a commotion up ahead. Let go of me. I don't want to go on TV with Mom. It's no fun. I want to go back to Grandma. A woman in a beautiful pink dress, Xu Weiwei, was pulling a little boy's hand. The boy, Wang Zhe, was struggling and screaming nonstop. Ah! She patiently coaxed. Be good, Zazie. Look, there are lots of other little friends on the car. We can play with them. It'll be fun. The little boy looked disgusted, his eyes welling up with tears. Suddenly, the little boy pointed at Mian Mian and said, "I want to play with her." He started shouting and running over, "Butterfly, butterfly, 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 butterfly." Mian Mian, oblivious to the danger, enthusiastically took it off. "Do you want to see my little butterfly clip?" Without a word, the little boy forcefully grabbed the butterfly clip on Mian Mian's hair. The girl screamed in pain. "Ah, it hurts." Finally, the little boy successfully snatched it off, along with some of Mian Mian's hair. The little girl asked with wide eyes and an open mouth, "Why did you snatch my little butterfly?" Wang Zi, being a brat, didn't apologize and even stuck his tongue out provocatively. "HMPH, I want to steal your butterfly. Go ahead and hit me." As soon as he finished speaking, a hand grabbed the little boy's collar from behind. Chen Fei angrily lifted the little boy up and said, "Apologize to my little ancestor right now."
Wang Zi, grabbed by the collar and hoisted up like a chicken, screamed incessantly, "Let me go." Xu Weiwei was also extremely surprised by Su Chenfei's actions, and she called out worriedly, "Zhen Zhen." Xu Weiwei, feeling annoyed, frowned and looked at the camera behind her, thinking to herself, "Dares to bully my son in front of the camera? No way, I have to use public opinion to teach him a lesson." Thinking and acting, Xu Weiwei put on a superior air and smiled at Su Chenfei, saying in an instructive tone, "You're Su Chenfei, right? I'm Xu Weiwei. I'm technically your senior, aren't I? It's normal for children to fight. They should settle it themselves." She immediately added a sentence to give the public a bad impression of Su Chenfei. "It's not really appropriate for you to be so fierce with my son, is it?" Not stopping there, Xu Weiwei pretended to be magnanimous and suggested, "I know you're not petty. Put my son down. I'll tell my son to apologize to that little girl." Su Chenfei wasn't stupid. He immediately realized that Xu Weiwei was mocking him and frowned uncomfortably, thinking to himself. She opened her mouth and called herself a senior, using her status to oppress others, then said it's normal for children to fight, and now she's mocking me for being petty. Here it is. Su Chenfei looked towards Mian Gamian and saw her sobbing in pain, and his blood boiled again. He grumbled inwardly, "I am petty, so what? Can't you see my little one is crying?" So he refused Xu Weiwei's suggestion on the spot with a cold face. He immediately retorted, "No way, I'll only let him go when he apologizes. If you can't control your son, I'll do it for you." Xu Weiwei didn't expect Su Chenfei to not give her any face. She was immediately speechless. Qin Tao, seeing his chance to play the good guy, immediately jumped out. He held Su Chenfei's shoulder and pretended to advise, but was actually adding fuel to the fire. "Su Chenfei, listen to me. Put the child down first. Don't be impulsive. He's just a child, not an adult. You're grabbing his collar like this. He'll suffocate." Hearing this, Wang Zi cooperated even more, struggling vigorously and hitting Su Chenfei repeatedly. However, everything was completely contrary to Qin Tao's calculations. The online community was now leaning towards Mian Dumian. Some people even keenly noticed something unusual. Did everyone notice? Although Film Emperor Qin spoke very discreetly, I feel like there's a hidden meaning in his words. What's hidden in his words? The little girl lost so much hair. If it were my child, I would make the other person apologize. Su Chenfei did nothing wrong. Right. Adults shouldn't interfere in children's conflicts, right? Let the children settle it themselves. Su Chenfei was very close to Qin Tao, and seeing him constantly advising him, he gave face to his brother. "Okay, if you say so." With that, Su Chenfei released Wang Zi and said coldly, "Apologize quickly." But Wang Zi's attitude was still arrogant, and he snorted resentfully. Hearing the little one sobbing non-stop, Su Chenfei went over distressedly and blew on the hurt spot, coaxing gently, "It doesn't hurt, little one, be good. Don't cry anymore. Let that bad kid apologize to the little one." The camera happened to zoom in on the wound on Mian Mimian's head. The spot where Wang Zi had grabbed her hair was now missing a clump, with a bald patch showing, and the online community exploded with heated discussions. "Oh my god, how could it be so serious? This ZZ is too much. How could he pull another little girl's hair like this? What if he used too much force? Wouldn't it have pulled out a whole patch?" After a while, Mian Komian calmed down. She used her hand to cover the hair that had just been pulled out by that brat Wang Zi, and looked worriedly at Su Chenfei, asking, "Seventh uncle, is Mian Komian going bald? Will I become a balding Mediterranean Mian Komian in the future?" Su Chenfei, knowing the little one's worries, went to sit down next to her and gently stroked her head, reassuring her, "No way. If we eat more black sesame seeds, your hair will grow back very quickly." Hearing this, Mian Komian felt less worried. and her watery eyes glistened as she nodded lightly at Su Chenfei. She wiped away the tears still on her face, then went to Wang Zhe. You pulled my hair, so you have to apologize to me. Wang Zhe covered his ears with both hands, pretending not to hear Mian Gimian, and then defiantly made a face and challenged. Liar, liar, pants on fire, I won't apologize to you, you're ugly. Mian Kamian was directly angered by Wang Zi's unreasonable actions. She put her hands on her hips and declared loudly, I'm not ugly, if you don't apologize, Mian Kamian will hit you back. Seeing someone overshadowing her precious son, Xu Weiwei stepped forward. Why are you like this, child? My son didn't do it on purpose. How about this, I'll apologize for my son, and as for the hair you lost, I'll compensate you with money. Okay. Xu Weiwei's handling made Su Chenfei explode with anger, and he shouted angrily, Hey! But before he could finish speaking, Mian Nimian stepped forward and stopped Su Chenfei. Mian Nimian clenched her fists, her eyes sharp as she looked at Xu Weiwei and replied, No way, you are you, and he is he's wrong. Even if you apologize for him, it's useless, he's still the one in the wrong. Mian's sharp and powerful words left Xu Weiwei frozen on the spot. Nephew. Under the scrutinizing eyes of countless people and the pointing cameras, Xu Weiwei, embarrassed into anger and partly wanting to maintain her public image, could only yell at her son, Did you hear that? You're wrong, so hurry up and apologize, or they'll hit you back. Wang Zi, on the other hand, remained stubborn and refused to admit his mistake. The boy folded his arms and said defiantly, Hit me if you want, it's none of Mom's business. Xu Weiwei felt utterly helpless and thought to herself, This child has been spoiled by the family since he was little, and now he refuses to cooperate and apologize at all. Does he even realize the cameras are still rolling? He can't even pretend. How can he expect the public to like him? After weighing the pros and cons, Xu Weiwei helplessly said, Fine, as you wish. Then I won't interfere anymore. Let them hit you back, even if it kills you. Saying that, Xu Weiwei looked at Mian and compromised. Go ahead and hit him, I can't control him, just do it. Okay, then Mian will hit back. As she spoke, she started stretching her arms and legs, preparing to retaliate. Mian acted extremely quickly and accurately, hitting the mark right away, her hand reaching for Wang Zi's hair and grabbing a clump. Wang Zi didn't have time to react, only letting out a cry, and in the next second, Mian decisively yanked down a handful of hair. Wang Zi was stunned by the pain, looking at Mian in disbelief and asking, You really hit me? Mian didn't answer him, but turned to ask Su Chenfei, seventh brother, Where's Grandma's fallen hair? Su Chenfei then startled back to his senses. Here. Saying that, he bent down to pick up the small lock of hair from the ground, and then handed it to Mian. Grandma, here's your hair. Mian's aura made him gasp and think, I didn't expect Grandma to be so fierce. Mian held the 2 clumps of hair in her palms and walked to Wang Zi, analyzing. Zi, look, I'm pulling your hair as much as you pulled mine. Let's call it even, okay? Only then did Wang Zi finally react. Tears streaming down his face like rain, Wang Zi started crying loudly and throwing a tantrum. Wah! The boy's crying was so loud that everyone was startled. Mian had to cover her ears with both hands, sternly warning, You're too noisy. If you keep doing that, I'll pay you back. But Wang Zi still showed no signs of stopping. The boy looked up to the sky and cried even louder. Wah! Why should I listen to you? I want to cry. I'll cry. I want to yell. I'll yell. Wah! Mian was annoyed by the crying and screaming, so she made a fist with her hand for the second time to warn. Then don't blame me for being impolite. Wang Zi continued to throw a tantrum and wail, Wah! Why are you being so formal? Are you going to control me even when I'm crying? On the other side, Mian was still taking deep breaths, calmly regulating her dantian. But the next second, she used all her inner strength to counterattack, shouting at Wang Zi with a voice 100 times louder than his. Her earth-shattering shout made Wang Zi freeze on the spot, feeling like his eardrums were about to burst. From Weiwei and Su Chenfei didn't expect Mian to use this method, and everyone was stunned in surprise. After Wang Zi regained his senses, he frowned unhappily and blamed, You're bullying me. Then, Wang Zi continued his second round of crocodile tears. Mian, annoyed by this guy who only knew how to throw a tantrum with crocodile tears, shouted, Stop it, crocodile tears won't save you. I'm throwing your suitcase out of here right now. After that, they were like cats and dogs. Whenever Wang Zi cried, Mian would scream back to counterattack. After being lectured by Mian, Wang Zi's attitude became extremely honest again, and he weakly asked, Why are you like this? Mian's momentum hadn't diminished at all, and she seized the opportunity to give Wang Zi a lecture on principles. You can do that to me, so I can do that to you. If you bother me, I'll bother you back. It wasn't until this moment that Mian remembered there were still many people here, feeling countless gazes focused on her, and she finally reacted. Mian turned her head and felt countless eyes looking at her as if she were a strange creature, making her a little hesitant, thinking, oh no, I didn't expect there to be so many people around. This is so embarrassing. She lowered her head towards the people on the bus and said softly, I'm sorry, Mian. Mian forgot everyone was here and disturbed you. I'm really sorry. Liu Hui was very satisfied with Mian's performance just now. She was the first to speak up for Mian. Mian, it's okay, I'm her sister-in-law. It's only right for an elder to teach the younger generation. Everyone doesn't mind, right? Yu Hu, her daughter, happily opened her mouth after hearing her mother's question. Yes. Yu Mei looked towards Mian, smiled lightly, and thought with admiration. The teacher at kindergarten said, my voice is too soft. I didn't expect to meet two little friends with such loud voices here. They're really amazing. The goodwill she felt towards Mian grew stronger, and she felt admiration in her heart. Mian is so amazing, and very nice too. Qin Tao, acting like a gentleman, walked over and put his arm around Su Chenfei, giving Mian a thumbs up and praising, that's right, Mian is a bit noisy, but Xinzi stopped crying. It's very effective. A proud expression appeared on Su Chenfei's face, and she winked smugly, saying, of course, you have to see whose grandma she is. Mian turned her head and saw the cameraman and director still frozen, and awkwardly called out, uncles. The director walked over and smiled reassuringly at her. Little darling, it's okay, you're not bothering us, because our job is to photograph the kids. Poses. Mian felt relieved when she saw that no one was blaming her. That's good. Then, she moved to Wang Zi's side and said, without holding a grudge, Zizi, if you want to see butterflies, just tell me. Mian looked at Wang Zi and smiled sincerely. I'll show you. This smile of hers made the famously stubborn and rebellious Wang Zi pause, and a look of embarrassment appeared on his face. She's smiling at me. But Wang Zi still stubbornly refused. I don't like seeing butterflies. In the end, Wang Zi was completely defeated by Mian. The little boy helplessly ran to hug his mother tightly. Wei Wei was very surprised by this result, and gently stroked her son's head to comfort him, thinking to herself, I didn't expect the conflict between these two children to be resolved just like that. Just then, the director announced, it just so happens that the last group of guests has arrived. As soon as the director finished speaking, two brothers, who were not only dressed the same but even had the same hairstyle and expression, stepped onto the bus. Both were very taciturn, introducing their names instead of a greeting, Zi, Qi, Zi, Ye. The cold style of these two brothers dampened everyone's mood. Faced with the silence, Qin Tao smiled and greeted them. Seeing that the lineup needed for filming was complete, the director clapped his hands and said, we can set off now. The two seats can only seat one adult and one child. Yuni reluctantly wanted to leave Mian, so she took her hand and asked, Mian, can we sit together? Mian also really liked Yu, but she knew what was allowed and what wasn't, and holding Yum's hand she explained, just now on the plane, it was a 3-person seat, so the two of us could add another adult, but not now. Afraid that Yu would be sad, Mian reassured her, it's okay, we'll go together again when we get off the bus. A look of disappointment appeared in Yu's eyes, and she dejectedly replied, oh, okay. Mian looked at Yu's expression and secretly praised, so good. Unable to control her emotions in the face of Yu's cuteness, Mian leaned forward and gently kissed Yu on the cheek. So good, we'll play together again when we get off the bus. Su Chenfei happened to witness this scene, and felt like she was struck by lightning, her eyes blank, as if asking, oh my god, why did my little darling take the initiative to kiss that little one? Tang Chenfei put on a wronged face, pointing at his face and said, little granny, your grandson wants a kiss too, but Mian refused without a second thought. She doesn't want to. Being rejected so decisively, Tang Chenfei felt even more aggrieved, looking at his little granny with teary eyes. Seeing her nephew like this, Mian sighed helplessly. In the end, she had no choice but to agree to Tang Chenfei's request. Okay, with that, Mian tiptoed and gave him a light kiss on the cheek. Getting a kiss from his little granny, the young man wore a smug look and winked at Karaman like a winner. Netizens watching this scene went wild and left comments. What is this overgrown nephew doing? Is he provoking us for not getting little granny's kiss? I'm so jealous. I want little granny's kiss too. Look, Mian is so adorable. Some anti-fans had dissenting opinions. What? Does Tang Chenfei think everyone likes Mian Zi? At this moment in the Tang family, the couple suddenly became unhappy seeing this scene, Everyone wants to compete for favor, you hateful brat. We're joining next time. Arriving at a place full of ancient houses, the car stopped. The director gave each person a piece of paper and said, "The bus can't go any further on the road ahead. Everyone will have to walk from here to the filming location. This is a map. We'll transport the luggage first." After speaking, the director and his crew quickly boarded a small motorized tricycle. Before leaving, the director turned his head and added, "In order to have dinner and not sleep on the street, everyone needs to get there quickly." With that, the tricycle carrying the director's group sped away, leaving Tang Chenfei's group standing dumbfounded, watching them go. After a while, Tang Chenfei finally reacted. The young man asked blankly, Are we being abandoned here? Didn't we usually get the task after arriving at the location?" Xin Tao smiled deviously and reassured, "It's okay, we have a map, we can just find our way there." Tang Chenfei looked at the map that the director gave him, his face becoming blank and dazed. The young man scratched his head and said helplessly, Who can understand this map?" Beside them, Mian Mian and Yu Yu didn't speak. But both girls looked at the map and thought seriously. After a while of observation, Mian Mian quickly found a clue. She pointed to the green mountain on the map and said excitedly to Yu Yu, "I know. We go from here to there, and then go to the place with the chick picture. Then we can find the end point." Hearing the girl's analysis, Xin Tao scoffed dismissively. "You can't trust a child's words. We should figure it out ourselves." In his heart, he thought, what kind of strange location is she pointing to? In contrast, Tang Chenfei trusted Mian Mian absolutely. Looking at Xin Tao, the young man affirmed, "Xin Tao, little granny. I said I understood the map, so I definitely understand it. Let's follow little granny." But Xin Tao made an excuse to tactfully refuse. "My little brother's health isn't good, he can't stand the heat. I saw a lot of arrows on top. Maybe they are pointing to the filming location." To affirm his own thoughts, Xin Tao pointed in the direction Director He left in earlier and added, "Besides, Director He's tricycle went in that direction just now, so I decided to follow my own thinking. What about you guys?" After speaking, he turned his head to ask Xu Weiwei and Liu Hui, who were standing behind him, for their opinions. After analyzing that Xin Tao's words made sense, Xu Weiwei chose to follow him. "If you, Xin Tao, have figured it out, then I'll bring Zhangzi with you." Liu Hui also made a choice. "We'll follow Mian Mian." Seeing that they were now divided into two groups, Chu Qi turned to ask his younger brother, "What are your plans?" Chu Ye didn't say a word, but quietly went to stand next to Mian Mian as his answer to the question of his choice. Tang Chenfei didn't try to persuade them further, waving goodbye to Qin Tao. "Then we'll set off on our own. See you at the end point." "Got it." Watching Su Chenfei's group leave, Xin Dao smirked sinisterly, thinking smugly, "No wonder we didn't encounter anything along the way. Turns out, the luck that little brat absorbed was waiting to be unleashed here. Haha, I'll just wait for Su Chenfei to lead those people and not find their way." Mian Mian volunteered to be the guide, following the map in her hand and heading straight into the town. "Everyone, this way!" Just then, Dun Dun discovered something unexpected. Her eyes widened as she pulled Mian Mian's hand, pointing forward. "Mian Mian, look!" Following the direction Dun Dun pointed, they saw an old man sitting and selling a bunch of chicks. Both were immediately attracted and ran to the old man. Looking at the bamboo basket containing the small, yellow chicks, they exclaimed excitedly, "Wow, so many chicks!" Hearing the noise, the chicks, for some reason, all huddled towards Mian Mian, chirping incessantly. This strange sight made Dudu's eyes widen even more. From inside the basket, a chick successfully jumped onto the rim of the bamboo basket after squeezing its way through. Before it fell out, Mian Mian was quicker and caught the chick. Seeing this, Dundu asked expectantly, Can I also touch the chick, Mian?" Mian smiled brightly and brought the chick closer to her. "Yeah, go ahead and touch it." And so, the two huddled together, playing with the chicks in delight. The cuteness of the two quickly won over the hearts of the online community. "Oh my god, so adorable. I want to screenshot this for my wallpaper. Wow, these are top quality little darlings, so cute." The old man smiled kindly and said, "Little ones, the chicks like you so much, I'll give you 2 as a gift." Liu Hui walked over, gently patted her daughter's shoulder, and said softly, Do, all our belongings are with the director. We can't just take the old man's chicks for free. Moreover, chicks are tiny lives, and we might not be able to take good care of them while we're filming the show." Hearing this, Dundu reluctantly put the chick back into the bamboo basket. "Okay." Seeing Dudu's reluctant expression, Mian Mian stood up and spoke up. "Auntie Liu, it's okay. Mian Mian will raise the chicks." Knowing she wouldn't have to leave the chicks, Dudu smiled contentedly and immediately hugged the 2 chicks, holding them in her palms. Mian was also very understanding. She didn't want to take the old man's chicks for free, so she rummaged in her small pocket and took out an item, handing it over. Grandpa, I'll give you this medicine as a thank you gift for the chicks. Remember to take it if you're not feeling well. The old man smiled and reached out to take it. Thank you, little girl. But he didn't think much of it and assumed, it's probably a candy. What an adorable child. Dudu looked at the 2 chicks in her hands and said worriedly, Mian Mian, what about the chicks? Where will they stay? Just when the 2 were at a loss, Chuye appeared like a savior. He somehow had 2 small cages in his hands, and he was still a man of few words. Here, seeing how thoughtful Chuye was, Mian Mian's good impression of him grew. Thank you, you're so nice. Chuye was thrilled to death, but still tried to put on a cool boy facade, turning his head and making a soft sound. Seeing this scene, Su Chenfei suddenly had an alarm bell ringing in his head. Oh no, am I going to have a little master soon? Tang Shenfei was seething inside, seeing that Xinye was trying to compete with him for favor with Xiaoning. He had been wondering earlier why Xinye suddenly ran off to get 2 baskets, so he was in such a hurry to give the basket to Xiaoning. He was already so cunning at such a young age. The more Tang Shenfei thought about it, the more frustrated he became, blaming himself. Why didn't I think of that? Otherwise, I definitely could have tricked Xiaoning into giving me another kiss. Xinye, sensing an intense gaze burning into his back, turned around and locked eyes with Tang Shenfei, an unspoken battle between them. He shot Tang Shenfei a disdainful look, as if to say, I'm not going to argue with you, Tang Shenfei. Couldn't be more annoyed by that expression, HMPH, this guy is definitely doing this on purpose. After that, the group of 6, led by Mian Mian, happily journeyed together. Spotting a familiar landmark on the map, Mian Mian pointed excitedly and said, It's just ahead. The netizens watching the live stream were getting impatient, seeing that Mian Mian's group hadn't reached the location the director mentioned. They commented, Where are they going? They've circled around several streets and are still on the same street. The cherry blossoms have probably found a way down to the village already. This group might not get there until tonight, huh? Haha. Mian Mian paid no attention to those comments. She continued to follow the map's directions, and after walking a while longer, she stopped in front of a house and exclaimed, We're here. Without hesitation, Mian Mian used her small arm to knock on the door a few times. As soon as the knocking stopped, a man came out from inside to open the door. Haha, someone really found us, Mian Mian politely replied. Yes, the map told us to come to your house. The man patted the head of his son standing next to him and introduced himself with a smile. My name is Li Gao. This picture was drawn by my son. I didn't expect anyone to be able to understand it. Then, the man pointed to the pickup truck parked in front. Let's go, we'll drive you all back to the countryside. Hearing that they were going to get a ride, everyone cheered in unison. Yes, all right. Tang Shenfei volunteered to help lift Mian Mian and Yu onto the truck. As soon as Mian Mian set foot on the truck bed, she looked around, assessing. This truck is so strange. By now, only Liu Hui hadn't gotten on the truck yet, as her outfit was making it a bit difficult for her to climb up. Tang Shenfei noticed this. Hesitating for a moment, he reached out towards Liu Hui, wanting to help her out of kindness. Liu Hui, who was struggling, was suddenly stunned when she saw Tang Shenfei's action. Tang Shenfei was a little embarrassed, so he turned his face away and said, Let me pull you up. Liu Hui finally reacted at this point, feeling that the distance between her and Tang Shenfei had improved, and smiled happily. Thank you, Ling Gao, waiting for everyone to get on the truck, announced. Everyone, hold on tight, we're about to set off. And so, the truck moved forward, amidst the joyful laughter of Mian Mian and Yu. The laughter of the 2 girls made everyone else feel happy too. The truck moving on the bumpy road prompted the program to display a warning for the viewers. The production team has taken safety measures. Please do not imitate. Mian Mian and Young's bodies were constantly jolting up and down along with the bumpy road that the truck was driving on. They both found this extremely novel, even enjoying it. Haha, this is so fun! This feeling is even more fun than riding a flying sword. As the truck went downhill, it accidentally passed by the group of Xin Tao and Xu Weiwei. Although their group had set out earlier, they still hadn't reached their destination because they were walking. Xu Weiwei, carrying Wang Zi on her back, noticed the truck and stopped to ask, Hey, can you give us a ride for a bit? Xin Tao, having walked a long distance, now had sweat on his face from exhaustion, his eyes looking over expectantly, waiting for an answer. Li Gao, having been instructed by the program beforehand, looked through the truck window and replied, I'm very sorry. According to the rules, I can only give a ride to the people who found my house. You two just take your time, I'm really sorry. Tang Shenfei looked towards Xin Tao, encouraging him. I'm really sorry, I originally wanted to bring you two along, but the program has rules so we can't break them. My good brother, hang in there. Watching the truck leave before his eyes, Xin Tao couldn't hide his jealousy and resentment. A clear look of envy appeared in his eyes as he gnashed his teeth in anger. I should have been the one riding in that truck! Where's the good luck that I absorbed? The person who sold me the bracelet clearly demonstrated the little ghost's abilities. Could it be that it's lost its effect now? In his anger, Qintao forgot that he was being filmed. This expression of his caused an uproar among the netizens. Oh my, Tao Ji looks so angry. Someone spoke up in indignation for Qintao. I'd be angry too. Why didn't they take Tao Ji along? Everyone, don't get agitated. I saw Su Chenfei deliberately ask the driver just now, but the program rules don't allow it. That's right, Qintao didn't want to go with the Palau little misses in the first place, so it's his fault that he couldn't get on the car. Su Chenfei held the sleeping Mian Mian in his arms, his eyes worriedly looking at Qintao in the distance. It's so dark, I don't know how long they'll be gone. Suddenly, a cold gust of wind swept through, making the young man shiver. Without a word, Su Chenfei decisively took off his jacket, then used it to wrap around Mian to keep her warm. Absolutely, don't let her get cold. After finishing, he looked at Liu Hui, who was holding Dundune, and suggested with concern, how about bringing the children to where I'm sleeping? It's getting colder and colder. Seeing Liu Hui looking at him, the outwardly cold but inwardly warm young man pretended to be nonchalant and explained, I'm just afraid your little Mrs. Friend will catch a cold, so I invited her. Don't think too much. Liu Hui smiled lightly and didn't refuse, placing Dudu in Su Chenfei's arms. Okay, thank you. Netizens immediately noticed the abnormality through the way the two were talking. It feels like Su Chenfei and Sister Hui have some misunderstanding. I think Su Chenfei isn't as bad as he seems. The two children are so cute. Hey, isn't anyone paying attention? Look, Su Chenfei's body is so hot. This is the perfect inverted triangle shape, with all the chest muscles and muscles you could want. He looks skinny when he's wearing clothes, but when he takes them off, he reveals a body that charms thousands. Haha. With Liu Gao's help, the group quickly arrived to meet the director. The director smiled and said, You're here, come and eat. Turning to Liu Gao, the director continued, Driver Li Faifan, go pick up the other two guests. Ling Gao didn't decline, and happily agreed immediately. Okay, Su Chenfei sat at the dining table and woke Mian Mian up. Little miss, wake up and eat. Mian Mian was still fast asleep and didn't want to wake up. Helpless, Su Chenfei had to bring the spoon with food close to her mouth. Although she was sleeping, Mian Mian could still smell the food. She reflexively opened her mouth and ate deliciously. As soon as the food entered her mouth, Mian Mian woke up immediately. She chewed ravenously and praised loudly, Wow, it's so delicious, it's really awesome. Mian's expression immediately made the group burst into laughter in joy. The director announced while eating, Today's journey ends here. The guests can go back to rest after eating. After returning to his room, Qintao still hadn't swallowed his anger. He held the red bracelet in his hand, lowered his head, and muttered, little ghost, come out quickly. After a while, but nothing unusual appeared, he angrily gritted his teeth and said, Chusk, could it really be ineffective anymore? His younger brother sat quietly on the side in extreme fear, not daring to speak. Qintao frowned and took out a lighter to light a cigarette and puffed away. The smell of smoke filled the room, causing his younger brother to cough continuously. Qintao looked over and caught sight of the wooden toy that Mian Mian had given earlier in his younger brother's hand. His anger rose again, and he snatched the wooden toy. You want to play with this, huh? Looking at the toy in his hand, Qintao had a wicked idea again. I can let you play with it, but tomorrow you have to help me do something. Saying this, he looked at his younger brother with a threatening look. Otherwise, I'll throw the wooden figure away. Early morning in the village, the filming location for the entire crew. The atmosphere here makes people feel unusually peaceful. After a night of sound sleep, Mian Mian woke up feeling refreshed. Ah, I slept so well. A rumbling sound came from her stomach, causing her to touch it and whisper, Looks like I'm a bit hungry. Looking over to her nephew for help, she saw that Tang Shenfei was still snoring like thunder. So she gave up on waking him, got out of bed, and searched for milk powder in her suitcase. Then, she began to measure and pour the powder into a bottle. The final step was to add hot water for a warm, delicious bottle of milk. But Bian Mikan looked all over the room and couldn't find any hot water. Thinking for a moment, she went out of the room to find some. Outside, the program team members were already up early. 2 people were preparing the shots for this morning. Mian walked up behind one of them and politely called out, Good morning, Uncle. Uncle! She held a very cute pink milk bottle in her hand and offered it to the person from the program team. She quietly asked, Can you pour hot water into the milk so Mian can drink it? The person from the program team liked Mian quite a bit. He sat down, smiled, and started chatting with her. Isn't this our little darling? Are you hungry? Mian's sweet voice rang out, captivating many. Yes, Mian is so hungry she's about to faint. Suddenly, the director walked over and said, leaning slightly, Little darling, you can't drink milk today. Mian Mian was quite surprised by this statement. Her big, round eyes showed her confusion as she asked, "Why?" The director smiled brightly and winked, explaining the recording rules for today. "Because today we're collecting all the guests' food, so the kids have to find their own food." Mian Mian was a bit disappointed after hearing this. She looked longingly at the milk powder in the bottle. But Mian Mian already poured the milk powder in here. Knowing that the program's rules couldn't be broken, Mian Mian understandingly handed the milk bottle to the director. "Please help Mian Mian drink it. Absolutely no wasting." This action of hers surprised the director greatly. He stared at Mian Mian, impressed. Amazing! Not only did this girl not cry about wanting milk, but she also said we shouldn't waste it. Is this an adorable little angel? The director politely waved his hand, refusing. "I'm an adult. I can't drink milk anymore," Mian asked awkwardly. "Then what should we do?" Mian took a few small steps back, not daring to look directly at the director. The little girl looked shyly in another direction and whispered, "Then how about Mian? Mian drinks it. Promise me, director uncle, don't tell anyone else, okay? This is our little secret." Her big, sparkling eyes looked at the director as she explained, Mian is afraid of wasting, not following the rules." Just as she finished speaking, her stomach suddenly let out a very loud rumble because of hunger. Mian hugged the milk bottle close, her face slightly flushed, looking extremely adorable. "Listen, my tummy is also saying, no wasting." The director was completely captivated and defeated by Mian's expression. "Oh my, how can she be so adorable?" The director gritted his teeth, turning away, trying to restrain himself from breaking the program rules. "No, I can't give it to her. These are the rules," he said, quickly taking the milk bottle from Mian. "This is for Uncle Ji Chi-wan. After all the guests wake up, they can eat." Hearing this, Mian understandingly didn't make things difficult for the director. Her face was a little sad as she instructed, Then you can't waste it." The director looked at her and nodded slightly, assuring her, "Okay, I won't waste it. I'll give the milk to other children in the village to drink." After saying goodbye to the director, she hugged her rumbling tummy and walked back to the room. "Little tummy, please be patient. Don't growl so loudly anymore. Soon, we can find something to fill you up." Looking at Su Chen-fei, who was still sound asleep, she propped her chin up and chanted like a spell, "Wake up, wake up!" But Mian was only answered by Su Chen-fei's loud snores. He was so fast asleep that he was drooling. Mian looked at him, utterly disgusted. Wake up already." Finally, Su Chen-fei was awakened by Mian's calls. As soon as he opened his eyes, he was met with Mian's unbelievably adorable bunny face. Su Chen-fei couldn't resist, quickly sat up, wanting to kiss her cheek. "You're too cute. Let me give you a kiss." But Mian disliked it, using her hand to cover his mouth and push him away. "You stink. You haven't brushed your teeth yet. Quickly go brush your teeth. We have to gather soon." 10 minutes later, the two were dressed neatly, each in their best condition as they arrived at the meeting point. Spotting Qin Tao ahead, Su Chen-fei called out, "Hey, brother Tao, Qin Tao." His eyes, dark and puffy, forced a smile. "Good morning." Those dark eyes surprised Su Chen-fei, who asked with concern, "Brother Tao, what's wrong? Didn't you sleep well last night?" Qin Tao didn't realize the bad color in his eyes. He laughed, denying it. No, I slept very well last night. I was so tired." Suddenly he lowered his head, wanting to touch Mikan's face. "Good morning, little Mikan." But just as his hand was about to touch her face, Mian felt uncomfortable and dodged. Not only did this guy raise a nasty little ghost, but Qin Tao also had an unpleasant smell about him. Qin Tao froze for a moment, but then his spirits lifted as he thought of another plan. "Great. I can learn from Su Chen-fei's spoiled behavior from yesterday. Now watch me attract a huge fan base." Thinking this, he began to act cute with Mian. "Does little one dislike me?" As soon as the words left his mouth, Qin Tao froze, using his hand to cover his mouth. "Ah, why is my voice so hoarse like a duck?" Tang Tao clutched his raspy throat, pausing in place to ponder. "Seems like this little devil is indeed problematic. I remember back when I used to drink and smoke all night, and my voice still had the resonance of a male god. Never like this." Under everyone's astonished gazes, Tang Tao forced a smile and tried to cover up. "Oops, must have been the long journey last night. I think I caught a cold. My throat's a little itchy now." The little boy standing next to him also covered his mouth and sneezed. Tang Tao seized this opportunity to pat the boy's head and continued. "See, my little brother seems to have caught a cold too." "All right, I'm not kidding around with you anymore. I'm going to find a staff member to get some cold medicine right away." Su Chen-fei, upon hearing this, didn't question further, his voice full of concern. "I was wondering why your voice was like that." "Okay, go ask quickly." It's hard to take care of kids when they catch a cold. The netizens watching the livestream left comments. Wow, compared to Tang Tao's duck voice, Su Chenfei's kid voice is so much better. This comment sparked a lot of agreement. Yeah, didn't notice it before, but now that there's a comparison, the difference is immediately obvious. Tang Tao, instead of feeling grateful, felt annoyed. He thought maliciously. Does Su Chenfei have to talk to me at this moment? Is it just to show that his voice is better than mine? Although he disliked Su Chenfei, Tang Tao still replied with a smile on the outside. Yeah, Mian Mian watched Tang Tao's retreating figure, not feeling an ounce of goodwill. She thought to herself, Tang Tao used the little ghost to harm seventh brother's family. Tang Tao is the bad guy. He deserves to suffer such consequences. Mian Mian's gaze then shifted to Tang Hao, and she suddenly felt empathy for the boy. But Tang Hao is just like me, a child, and hasn't done anything bad. He doesn't deserve to suffer along with Tang Tao like this. Mian Kamian felt a bit awkward, resting her chin in her hand as she fell into thought. What should I do? Su Chenfei subtly noticed that Mian Mian was acting a bit strange. He asked gently, Little Mian Mian, what's wrong? Is something the matter? Just as she was about to reveal Tang Tao's secret, she suddenly noticed the recording camera nearby. Thinking carefully, Mian Temian smiled and changed the subject. It's nothing, seventh brother, let's go gather, she thought to herself. It's better to tell seventh brother about this in private. It's not good to say it directly in front of the camera. When everyone had gathered, the director spread out 5 sheets of paper in his hand and said with a smile, Today's breakfast requires drawing lots, and you can only eat after selecting the morning's task. The cards are all prepared. The order of drawing will be decided by rock, paper, scissors. While everyone else was excited, Su Chenfei, on the contrary, looked gloomy, lamenting in his heart, This fan is really doomed. My luck is terrible when it comes to anything related to the entertainment industry. But then he thought of something. Su Chenfei cast a confident look at Mian Mian, who was playing with Yu, and reassured himself. But I'm different now. The little girl has such miraculous and divine methods. It's just drawing cards. It definitely won't be a problem. Thinking of this, the young man was overjoyed, breathing a sigh of relief. Phew, it's so good to have a little auntie. His spirits revived, making Su Chenfei energetic and exuberant. He hugged Mian Samian and said excitedly, Let's go, we must win big. The 5 of them gathered together and started playing rock, paper, scissors. Among the 5, 4 people chose rock, and 1 person chose scissors. Of course, the unlucky one who chose scissors was none other than Su Chenfei. Seeing the result before him, the young man was speechless. The director announced with a smile, Congratulations to Su Chenfei's group for being the last group, which means the last to draw cards. The young man's face immediately revealed a look of disappointment, thinking gloomily, The last to draw cards, which means all the good luck has been drawn by others. It doesn't matter if the 2 little girls, Mian Mian, have good luck. Noticing her nephew's spirits plummeting, Mian Mian reached out and gently touched Su Chenfei's face, asking with concern, Seventh brother, what's wrong? And she also encouraged, Don't cry if you lose the game, remember you're an adult now. Su Chenfei sighed, looking at Mian Mian as he opened up his heart. Little aunt, I'm fine, but I'm afraid bad luck will strike, and I'll get a bad task, making you and me suffer. Knowing what he's thinking, Mikian gently poked his forehead, smiling brightly to encourage him. There aren't any good tasks? Don't be pessimistic. Remember, 7th nephew, you're very lucky. Saying this, Mian Mian unhappily glanced at Qin Tao, muttering under her breath, HMPH, it's all that little devil's fault for sucking away all the luck. Originally, my 7th nephew was very lucky. Next, everyone started stepping up to the director to draw their tasks. Xu Weiwei drew the task of helping Granny Wang in the village feed the chickens. Qin Tao drew a task he liked and smiled contentedly, taking Li Yang to play and making Li Yang laugh. Chu Chi's task was to help the uncle in Nan village pick watermelons. Even Liu Hui drew a task that wasn't too complicated, like helping Aunt Yang's husband, Uncle Wu. Su Chenfei was the last to draw. Looking at the incredibly difficult task on the paper, making the young man feel like the world was ending, the task was only 9 words long, but after reading it, Su Chenfei just wanted to faint. Help Uncle Zhao's sow give birth. His body swayed after reading the task in his hand, his spirits plummeting. As expected, it was still bad luck. Other people's tasks looked easy at first glance, but why did he have to help a sow give birth? Mian Mian, standing to the side, saw the not-so-optimistic expression of her nephew and asked, 7th nephew, what's our task? Why do you look so miserable? Not wanting to worry his young aunt Mian Mian, Su Chenfei perked up. He clenched his fist, forcing a smile as he replied, It says we have to help the mother pig get her babies. I can do this task myself, little ant. You just watch from the side later. You don't need to do anything. Saying that, he reached out and gently patted Mian Mian's head to reassure her, as well as reassuring himself. The netizens burst into laughter when they heard Su Chenfei's task. Haha, I'm dying of laughter. Su Chenfei's task is indeed worthy of him. Who knew it would be helping a sow give birth? Hey, I think Brother Teo's task is the easiest to complete. It's probably just to make the kids laugh. Cheer up, little bro, you'll succeed later. It seems this Shuangshu master Su Mianmian is a fake. If she could really tell fortunes, would she be able to tell that she would have to help a sow give birth? Su Chenfei didn't pay attention to these comments. He and Mian Mian quickly started moving to the location to do their task. Seeing an auntie nearby, Su Chenfei politely asked, "Hello, auntie. Can you tell me how to get to Uncle Zhao's house?" The auntie smiled, pointing in a nearby direction and replying, "Just follow this small road, then go straight and you'll be there." At this moment, Mian Mian's stomach suddenly growled loudly with hunger. She embarrassedly covered her rumbling stomach with her hand. The auntie saw this and asked, "What's wrong, little one? Haven't you eaten yet? Look how hungry you are." She took out a hot, freshly steamed bun from the tray and handed it to Mian. "Mian, I have steamed buns ready for you here." Mian Mian took the bun and politely bowed, saying her thanks. "Thank you, Granny." Her behavior made the auntie smile in praise. "Oh, the little one is so well behaved. All right, quickly eat it while it's hot." Then she gave one to Su Chenfei too. Taking a bite of the hot bun, they couldn't help but praise it. "Wow, this bun is so delicious, it's really good." Qin Tao, standing to the side, saw this and went over to call out, "Granny!" He pointed to the little brother standing beside him and said with a flattering smile, "Granny, my little brother said he was very hungry this morning." Saying this, Qin Tao gently patted his brother's shoulder. Signaling him, he said, "Right, Ahao, you must be very hungry." Qin Hao, because he was lying, didn't dare look straight, avoiding eye contact with some embarrassment as he turned to the side and replied, "Yes, my stomach is very hungry." Just as Qin Tao thought he would receive a steamed bun, the auntie refused him directly with displeasure. "This old woman only steamed a few buns to eat for the whole day. I don't have many, so you should go." After speaking, the auntie carried the tray of buns and went straight into the house. Glancing slightly at Qin Tao, she offered her assessment. "This person, from his appearance to his voice, doesn't seem like a good person, so I can't let him rely on this old woman." Qin Tao didn't expect to be treated like this. The smile on his face disappeared, and he stood frozen in place. He resentfully gritted his teeth, angrily thinking, "Why does this damn old woman only give steamed buns to Su Chenfei and Su Mianmian and not give any to me? Do I have to look at the faces of even these poor people?" Qin Tao heard Mian Mian's happy laughter and glanced over, the hatred in him growing stronger and stronger. Placing all the blame on Su Chenfei and Mian Mian, "It's all your fault. HMPH, I won't let you off easy next time." Rejected outright, Qin Tao was incredibly annoyed, sullenly grabbing his younger brother's hand. "Let's go." His attitude frightened Qin Hao. Tears welled up in his eyes as he choked back sobs. "Waha, he's so scary." Unable to contain the growing fear in his heart, Qin Hao burst into loud sobs. "Wah!" Annoyed, Qin Tao glared sharply at his younger brother as a warning. The cameraman didn't miss a single detail, and netizens immediately had a different view of Qin Tao. Wait, could it be that this Qin Tao is actually jealous of Mian Mian and Su Chenfei? Look, he's so fierce he made his little brother cry. I didn't expect Qin Yingdi, actor Qin, to have such a side to him. But some of Qin Tao's fans spoke up to defend their idol. "Hey, what are you all talking about? Clearly, Qin Hao couldn't eat the baozi, steamed bun, and he's only crying because he's too hungry." Only then did Qin Tao realize that his expression wasn't good. Seeing the camera filming, he was startled and immediately changed his expression, going over to coax his younger brother. "Okay, don't cry anymore. We'll go to Liang's house later and have something to eat." Although his words outwardly expressed gentleness, in a hidden corner, Qin Tao was secretly squeezing his younger brother's arm tightly. His mouth smiled sweetly as he coaxed him, but his eyes were full of warning. "Don't cry anymore. Got it?" Qin Hao was in pain but didn't dare to cry out, cautiously looking at his older brother and responding in a trembling voice, I heard you, brother. We're going to eat soon, right?" The little boy's behavior didn't escape the netizens' notice, and some astute people noticed the abnormality. "Hey everyone, why do I keep feeling like Qin Hao is scared?" This comment immediately met with agreement. "I also feel like Qin Tao seems to be threatening his younger brother." After a long while, the two brothers finally arrived at the mission location assigned by the production team, which was Liang's house. Inside, the father was feeding porridge to his son. Seeing them appear, Liang Gao turned around to greet them. "You're here, come, have breakfast." Yongyang's son was eating while running and playing around. Qintao went over and looked at the breakfast items on the table and immediately showed his dislike. "You're only preparing pickles for us to eat." A series of sneezes kept coming from outside the gate. Qintao curiously went out to take a look. As soon as he saw her, he was dumbfounded to see Mian carrying a large table on her head. Following behind was Su Chenfei. Mian gently placed the table down in the yard. Seeing this scene, Su Chenfei couldn't help but exclaim, "As expected, our little ancestor is even stronger than Li Dai." The place where the two appeared was Zhao Xiyu's house. As the mission they drew, Mian wiped her hands and winked, confidently replying, Mian already said, Mian is very good." Qintao, who was standing by Li Yang's house, still watched and observed them both. He thought to himself, "This table looks like it's not light, so how can a little girl who's only 3 years old be as strong as a bodybuilder?" This made him feel skeptical. That's not right, no child can be that strong. After thinking it over, he immediately concluded that something was definitely fishy. The production team must have colluded with the Su family to use a prop table to create this contrasting scene for the children to perform and create an image. This will easily go viral. I must expose this. He was extremely pleased with his idea of being able to suppress Su Chenfei. Over here, Su Chenfei looked at Mian with unprecedented admiration. He was completely infatuated with the cuteness of his little ancestor. "In all the heavens and earth, my little ancestor is the best." Mian, being praised, excitedly showed off her muscles. Seeing the two laughing and talking so happily, Qintao became even more sullen. He thought maliciously, "Yeah, if that little ghost was still here, today's headline would definitely be, Su Chenfei is high on drugs and is acting like an idiot." Recalling his thoughts, Qintao went forward, and the two put on friendly faces and praised, "Little ancestor is so amazing, you can actually move such a heavy table." Although Mian didn't have a good impression of Qintao, she still politely replied, "That's right, Mian is very strong." Qintao went over to approach the table. He put his hand on the surface of the table and pretended to say, "Oh, it seems like this table is placed crookedly. Let me help you to reposition it." Qintao was certain that he would expose Su Chenfei's trick, but he lifted and lifted, but the table didn't move at all. Not only that, but a painful cracking sound came from behind him. "Is this what they call trying to steal a chicken but losing the rice instead?" Qintao's face was pale with pain, and sweat started to appear. He reached out to hold the spot where he had been hit, enduring the pain as he thought, "What's going on? Even a grown man like me can't move this table. How can a child like Su Mian lift it like a circus act?" The more he thought about it, the more he doubted his life. To smooth things over for his buddy, Su Chenfei stood up and gently adjusted the table. "Well, Brother Tao is right. This table was indeed placed crookedly. After adjusting it, it looks much better now." Being exposed like that, Qintao wished he could disappear into a hole. He gritted his teeth in anger. "I clearly wanted to expose that a child like Su Mian couldn't possibly move the table. How did it turn into me being the control group to prove that the table is really heavy for Su Mian?" Not wanting his image to be ruined, Qintao made an excuse. "It seems like I carelessly sprained my back 2 days ago, so I can't move it." As soon as Su Chenfei heard this, he immediately believed it and said caringly, "So your back is sprained? It's lucky that your task is to play with kids. Otherwise, you'd be in trouble with heavy work." Supporting Qintao's shoulder, Su Chenfei instructed, "Then you should go and rest. Don't wander around anymore." Qintao forced a smile in response. "Okay." Aunt Lai came out of the house carrying 2 steaming bowls of food. Mian looked towards Su Chenfei and called out loudly, "Nephew, come in quickly, let's start breakfast." Seeing the food being served right to his mouth, Su Chenfei's eyes lit up, and he replied, "Okay, Aunt Li, Fei Zhuhao is coming right now." On the table were 3 steaming bowls of chicken noodles. Mian clapped her hands repeatedly at the sight of the delicious food. Aunt Li said with a kind smile, "You two eat a lot. It will be quite troublesome to help Huixiu give birth later." Mian raised her hand excitedly and replied, "Yes, Mian will go visit the baby piglet after eating." With that, the two happily buried their heads in enjoying the hot chicken noodles. Aunt Li watched them eat so deliciously and smiled happily. Back at Qintao's place, he looked at the bland porridge with disgust, but because they were filming, he had no choice but to force himself to eat it. As soon as the porridge entered his mouth, he showed his dislike. Trisk, this porridge is so unappetizing." Lini Gao walked over and sat next to them with an awkward smile. "I'm sorry, I only know how to make simple dishes like this." Although Qintao didn't like it, he still flattered, It's okay. Eating porridge in the morning is good for the stomach." At this time, The fragrant smell of chicken noodles from Aunt Zhao's house across the street wafted over, causing Xin Hao, who was sitting next to him, to roll his eyes and look over. The director's voice echoed, urging the participating couples, "Guests, after you finish breakfast you can start working for the selected family." After finishing breakfast, Su Chenfei and Mian Mian quickly changed clothes and went to the pig pen with Uncle Zhao. Aunt Zhao patted the pregnant pig lying in the pen and said to the two of them, "For the delivery, we need to move her to a different, clean, farrowing pen." Giving Su Chenfei an apple, she continued, "You can use the apple to lure the mother pig out." Seeing that this seemed interesting, Su Chenfei volunteered, "Let me try." He went over and placed the apple in front of the mother pig's nose, coaxing her gently with a smile. "Piggy mama, follow me. I'll take you to a cleaner place than this." Mian Sermian looked at the mother pig in front of her, and her heart sank. "My mom said that when she gave birth to me, her belly was quite big too. It was very hard." Aunt Zhao saw that she was so young but so understanding, and praised her with a kind smile. "Oh, our Mian Kimian knows how to feel sorry for her mother." "You're so good, Su Chenfei." Upon hearing this, looked back at Mian Mian with a worried expression. "This is not good. If Auntie hears others mention her mother, she will definitely start crying." Tang Shenfei, seeing Mian Mian's bowed face, couldn't hide his worry and heartache, thinking to himself, he really wanted to use a loudspeaker to announce to the whole world not to mention his little one's parents. Her expression also caught the attention of netizens. "Isn't our little darling going to miss her mom and cry again? Oh, she said her parents can't come right now. I wonder where her parents are." Our Tang Shenfei has released a new sticker pack again, looking so worried about his little darling crying. He's so adorable. Under the gaze of many people, Mian Mian didn't cry this time. Although she was very sad, she still forced a smile and replied, "Yes, Mian Mian likes mom very much. Mian Mian also likes dad, because dad takes care of mom very hard." When Mian Mian was little, she wasn't obedient at all, and always cried, making mom and dad unable to sleep well. Saying this, she shyly touched her hair. With tears in her eyes, Mian Kimian still tried to hold back so that the tears wouldn't fall. The sensible girl smiled lightly and said, "Fortunately, Mian Kimian has grown up. Now Mian Kimian is a big kid, and Mian Kimian will try her best to wake mom and dad up." The girl's sensibility made Tang Shenfei's heart ache, and he shed tears. The young man reached out to wipe away the falling tears, thinking softly, "Little darling isn't crying. Has little darling really grown up?" Haha. Grandma Zhao and Grandpa Zhao were stunned when they heard Mian Slimian's heartfelt words. The two of them had the same thought without prior agreement. That adults said sleep and not wake up, isn't that the same as passed away? Thinking this, Grandma Zhao quickly changed the subject. "Mian Nimian is so good! Then, Mian Nimian will help Hayu mom give birth to her babies soon, okay?" Grandma Zhao's words successfully shifted the little girl's previous sad thoughts. Looking at the scene in front of her, the little girl was startled and pointed her finger, exclaiming, "Ah, great-grandson, Hayu mom is about to eat your hand." Tang Shenfei was startled and looked back, only to find that Hu mom had approached at some point, opening her mouth to eat the apple in his hand. The group of people immediately became happy and got down to business. Tang Shenfei held the apple to lure Hu mom away. Come on, follow me," Grandpa Zhao smiled and encouraged. Very good, that's it." Mian Limian also went to Hayu mom's side, constantly cheering, "Hayu mom, hang in there, you're the best pig." As if Hu mom understood her words, she rubbed against Mian Mian, making a very affectionate sound. This unexpected action of Hu mom made Mian Mian happily cover her mouth and laugh out loud. Ha ha! Finally, Tang Shenfei and Mian Mian successfully led Hu mom to the production shed. She squatted down and rubbed Hu mom's head to comfort her. Good girl, good girl." This scene made netizens feel very interested and commented enthusiastically. Does everyone remember? Last time, the chicks also ran to our little darling like this. Remember? Is it that our little darling is extremely fond of animals? And super loves small animals. Hey, why don't you say that when Tang Mian was born, all things kneeled down and worshipped her? You guys stop making noise. Look, Hayu mom is starting to struggle. I've never seen Hayu mom give birth since I was little. Can everyone watch quietly? Grandma Zhao worriedly went to help Mian stand up to keep her distance from Hiku mom. She patiently explained. Little Mian Bamian, Hayu mom will be in a lot of pain when she gives birth. When she's in pain, she'll move around randomly, which is very dangerous. It won't be good if our Mian Chimian gets knocked over later, so why don't you and Grandma wait outside, okay? Faced with Grandma Zhao's worry, Mian Bian looked up and replied firmly. Grandma, I'm okay. Hiu Mom won't knock me and Bien over, so please rest assured. Just let me and Bien cheer for Hiu Mom, okay? Grandma Zhao still wanted to dissuade her, but before she could finish speaking, Mian Temian understood and interrupted with a smile. She said confidently, Grandma, Mian Temian came here to complete a task at first, and if the task isn't completed, I won't have dinner tonight. Grandma Zhao chuckled kindly. She gently rubbed Mian Temian's head and praised, Okay, you really are a good kid. This child is really good and lovely. Below, Hiu Mom, under the influence of labor pains, began to groan in pain, making a sound, ack, Mian for Mian. Standing beside her, also became somewhat nervous and encouraged. Good girl, Big Hiu, the first little piglet is about to come out, her round eyes and loud voice motivated. Hiu, Mom, listen to me and Kimian. Let's work together with 3, 2, 1. The mother deer, drenched in sweat, cried out in pain, Eek, E-C-H, while Mian Kimian's voice echoed beside her. 3, 2, 1. Big deer, push hard. Almost there. Encouraged by Mian Kimian's enthusiastic cheers, the mother deer successfully gave birth to a baby deer. Mian Kimian cheered joyfully. It's out. Old Zhao walked over to guide Su Chenfei through the next step. Now, use the scissors to cut the umbilical cord. Yes, sir. After cutting the umbilical cord, Su Chenfei carefully placed the baby deer in his hands. Let me help you clean up, little dear. His thoughtfulness made netizens change their tune and express admiration. Some people suspiciously questioned, how could a pampered young master not be afraid of getting dirty? Could those nasty rumors about having a star complex and bullying up-and-coming actors really be about Su Chenfei? Screenshot taken, feeling like I can add captions. For example, let me see which little deer is so adorable. Someone burst out laughing after reading that comment. Haha, I can totally picture it. Thank you, I'm dying of laughter. Qin Tao, who had been watching all this time, saw that the mother deer had given birth, and immediately appeared to steal the spotlight. Chenfei, little one, how are you two doing with the delivery? Do you need my help? Hearing the voice, Su Chenfei looked up in surprise and asked, Brother Tao, have you finished your task? Qin Tao glanced subtly at the position of the camera nearby, and then confidently replied, My task was easy. Qin Hao is playing with Lin Yang. I'm more worried about your side. I'll go help you. Su Chenfei held up the newborn baby deer to show off, smiling as he refused. No need. Everything is going smoothly here. Look how adorable this newborn deer is. Qin Tao's face suddenly twisted, thinking to himself, Trisk, it's definitely filthy, but I have to play my role in front of the camera. With that thought, he went over and sat down next to Su Chenfei, saying with hidden meaning, I didn't realize, Chenfei, that you even knew how to deliver a baby deer. Where did you learn to be so skilled? You must have practiced a lot, huh? Sure enough, Qin Tao's words led the netizens to misunderstand, and someone immediately commented, The director must have received money from the Su family, revealing the script in advance. He's definitely helping Su Chenfei whitewash his image. Ah, I knew it. How could a rich young master like Su Chenfei be so good at this? It seems he knew the script beforehand. For some reason, the mother deer, who had been silent despite the pain, suddenly started screaming loudly as soon as Qin Tao appeared. E-C-H. Mian gently patted her to reassure her. Big deer, don't be afraid. Qin Tao evilly calculated. As an actor king, seeing the mother deer so uneasy but not offering comfort, this scene should be enough to get the netizens talking, right? Plus, I even came here to help Su Chenfei. Oh, I'm so kind. In order to build an image for himself, Qin Tao had no choice but to suppress his fear of getting dirty. He put on a friendly face and reached out towards the mother deer. Don't be afraid. But the mother deer reacted extremely violently, avoiding Qin Tao's approaching hand, struggling with all her might. Erich, Qin Tao's face froze at the mother deer's reaction. What's wrong with this beast? Why is it okay when Su Chenfei and Su Mian touch it? Why does it hide back as soon as I touch it? The mother deer's expression made Qin Tao's murderous intent rise. HMPH. It doesn't want to live anymore, does it? The netizens watching the livestream quickly started typing away, some laughing gleefully. Look at your beloved brother Tao. Trisk. Even a deer hates him. Some people tried to defend brother Tao. Even a deer hates him. Haha. Qin Tao's fans quickly popped up to defend their idol. Clearly, this deer is being ungrateful. Our brother Tao just touched it a little, and it's already making a fuss. Our brother Tao is still an animal ambassador at home and raises cats. This is just a deer. Exactly. Who knows what's making this deer go crazy? After reacting violently, the mother deer collapsed on the floor in pain. Old Zhao said worriedly, Oh no, this is bad. She must be so scared that she's having a difficult labor. She only gave birth to half of the baby deer, and now she's stuck. Su Chenfei asked with a worried expression. Then what should we do? Is the mother deer in danger? Old Zhao replied with equal tension. Of course she's in danger, she urged. Hurry, we need to get the baby deer out quickly. Tang Dao also pretended to step forward, wanting to help. How can I help? Tell me what to do and I'll do it, he said. But the closer he got, the louder the mother pig squealed. TCH, Uncle Zhao, worried about the mother pig, became agitated and said unhappily to Tang Dao, It'd be better if you weren't here. Isn't this our family's task just for Su Ren? If you don't have anything to do, why are you here causing trouble? What is this? Tang Dao's face froze, and he looked somewhat embarrassed. Su Chenfei also walked over anxiously and asked Uncle Zhao, What should I do now? Uncle Zhao lowered his voice and instructed, First, we need to calm the mother pig down. She's in pain like this. Mian, seeing the mother pig's dire situation, reached into her pocket, searching for something. A moment later, she pulled out a medicinal pill and exclaimed happily, Ah, Mian found it. She eagerly ran to Su Chenfei with the pill. Give this to the mother pig to eat. Tang Dao's eyes darted over. Then he smiled sinisterly, calculating in his head, This kid is trying to stir up trouble again. Why does she want to feed the mother pig at this time? If I stop her, maybe I can salvage some of my image after being disliked by the mother pig earlier, right? Thinking this, he quickly grabbed Mian's hand. Mian looked back, startled and surprised. Tang Dao put on a smiling face, held her hand tightly, and advised her. But his words were full of hidden implications. Oh, little girl, the mother pig is already having a difficult labor and can't give birth to the babies, so you can't give it anything random. Even candy could harm the mother pig. Hearing the mother pig's miserable squeals, Mian became even more anxious, struggling with all her might. Let go of my hand, Mian wants to help the mother pig. Tang Dao tightened his grip. Mian, pouting, snapped angrily. If you don't let go of my hand, I'm going to hit you. As she spoke, she secretly clenched her hand into a fist. Just then, Tang Dao suddenly released her hand, acting helpless as he sighed. Oh, little girl, I can't worry about you anymore. If you want to feed the mother pig, then go ahead. Watching Mian's retreating figure as she ran back to the mother pig, Tang Dao's eyes were full of scheming. He smiled sinisterly, thinking, If Su Mian poisons the mother pig during this family task, Su Chenfei will also be affected. This benefits me, so why would I stop them? Haha. Just as Mian approached, about to give the mother pig the medicinal pill, Aunt Zhao stepped in to stop her. Mian, now isn't the time to feed the mother pig. How about you and I go outside to play? Mian looked up at Aunt Zhao, wanting to explain. Auntie, this is a medicinal pill. She moved close to the mother pig, who sniffed eagerly. Before Mian could finish her sentence, the mother pig stuck out its tongue, took the pill from Mian's hand, and ate it right away. As soon as the pill entered its stomach, the mother pig stabilized its spirit. It lay down and began to continue the birthing process. Su Chenfei exclaimed, Great, it's giving birth. Hearing this, everyone cheered and watched the mother pig's birthing process. Only Tang Dao's face was gloomy, seeing Su Chenfei's task proceeding smoothly. With Su Chenfei's support, combined with Uncle Zhao's coordinated efforts, about an hour later, the mother pig successfully gave birth to 9 adorable little piglets. Mian went closer to the mother pig, clapping her hands and praising, Mother pig, you gave birth to 9 piglets. You're so amazing. The mother pig narrowed her eyes and squealed, as if responding to the little girl's praise. Su Chenfei walked over, smiling, and asked, Little girl, what did you give the mother pig just now? As he spoke, his eyes suddenly widened in surprise when he saw the marks on Mian's hand. Tang Chenfei gently took Mian's hand, checked the marks on her arm, and asked, Little one, who did this? Jintao used too much force. Right now, 3 large red marks were left on Mian's pale white arm. Without hesitation, Mian pointed at Jintao and complained, He grabbed my hand and it hurt a little. She frowned and demanded, Apologize to me right now or I'll punch you. Tang Chenfei felt a pang of heartache and blew on the injury on her hand. Seeing the deep marks, he became suspicious. How could an adult like Jintao use so much force when grabbing a child's hand? Was he really being careless? Tang Chenfei stood up and looked at Jintao, saying in a stern voice, Jintao, apologize. His voice conveyed seriousness mixed with a warning. My little one is the most important treasure in our family. If you ever touch her again, you better be careful. Being reprimanded in front of so many people and cameras, Jintao gritted his teeth in anger. What did Tang Chenfei think he was doing? Since when did he dare to talk to him so arrogantly? Mian, on the side, raised her fist and continued. You're not going to apologize to Mian? If you don't apologize, Mian will have to punch you. The little girl sulked in her heart. This punch will definitely send the bad guy Qin Tao to heaven, just to vent my anger for my nephew and the sow who were so scared she can't have piglets. Being scolded by one person after another, Qin Tao's face turned unsightly. Damn it, no, I have to think of a way to turn the situation around. So he put on an innocent act, looked at Mian, and said in a lowered voice, as if explaining, Little one, I'm sorry, I was just worried you were causing trouble for the sow. To perfect his act, Qin Tao went closer to Mian and humbly bowed his head in apology. It's okay if you want to hit me, as long as you're not angry anymore, you can hit me however you want. But the most important thing is that the sow is okay. Seeing that Qin Tao had lowered his voice like this, Mian didn't press the issue further. She retracted her fist and said, My dad says the first mistake can be forgiven, but you can't grab my hand with so much force next time. Qin Tao smiled amiably and promised, Okay, I definitely won't do it again. I'm really sorry. I was afraid that your task wouldn't be completed, and I was also worried that something would happen to the pig, so I was a little anxious. Saying this, Qin Tao looked at Tang Shenfei and asked with a smile, We've been good brothers for so many years, you wouldn't blame me, right? Tang Shenfei, completely blinded by Qin Tao's words, replied magnanimously, It's okay, just say it out loud. You must pay attention next time. Qin Tao made an excuse to leave. Well, if there's nothing else, I'll go see how Ah Hao and Li Yang are playing. I'll go first. With that, he waved his hand and left. But several hours later, after confirming that no one was at the pig farm, Qin Tao secretly reappeared. As soon as it saw him, the sow suddenly became agitated and kept squealing. Qin Tao took out a bottle of medicine from his pocket. His eyes turned as vicious as a snakehead fish as he poured the medicine on the sow, smiling sinisterly as he cursed, You damn beast, you dare make me lose face. In that case, you can just die early. Qin Tao had just made a move on Mother Deer when Mian's chattering voice came from outside. The little girl excitedly grabbed Dudu's hand, pulling her towards Mother Deer. Come see the fawns Dafen gave birth to, they're so cute. Liu Hui and Su Chenfei also followed the two girls with smiles on their faces, but just as they reached the doorway, Mian suddenly stopped when she heard Mother Deer making strange noises. After being poisoned by Qin Tao, Mother Deer's face was black as she lay on the straw, groaning in pain. Mother Deer's condition frightened Dudernai, who ran to her mother. Mommy, it's scary. Even Mian and Su Chenfei froze when they saw Mother Deer's condition worsen. The commotion attracted Zhao Po and Zhao Gong, who rushed over. What's going on? Mother Deer's complexion grew worse and worse, and her breathing became noticeably weaker. Zhao Po's hands trembled as tears welled up in her eyes. How could this happen? What sin have we committed? She thought to herself. This place is too far from town. Even if we got a vet here, it would take 2 hours. By then, Mother Deer would probably be gone. Zhao Gong was trying his best to help Mother Deer, but he was helpless. Mian rummaged through her small bag and took out a pill. She squeezed through the crowd, brought the pill to Mother Deer, and said urgently, Dafen, eat this. Zhao Po thought Mian was playing around, so she reached out to hold her back and said with heartache, Mian, be good. Let's not cause any more trouble. Qin Tao, who hadn't left, was hiding not far away. Seeing that the time he calculated had arrived, he appeared as if by chance and asked, pretending not to know anything, Chenfei, what's going on here? It was fine when it gave birth just now. Why is it foaming at the mouth now? Su Chenfei, her face covered in sweat, replied, I don't know either. It was fine when I took Xiao Po to find Dudu. Su Chenfei, thinking of Mian's abilities, turned and said softly to Zhao Po, Grandma, can't we really let Xiao Po try? Zhao Pon's face was full of tears. She looked at Mother Deer and refused sadly. No, this is a life. How can we just try anything? Qin Tao took this opportunity to jump down and pat Su Chenfei on the shoulder, his tone somewhat dismissive. Oh, come on, I'm just saying, although your Xiao Po is a big deal, she's still just a 3-year-old kid, you still have to keep an eye on her, who knows what's in her bag. Qin Tao's words made Zhao Pa somewhat believe him. She looked at Mian, thinking, who knows what's mixed in those pills? Qin Tao smiled again, feigning gentlemanliness, but in reality he was trying to lead the conversation in a different direction. But you two shouldn't be sad. My brother here won't go back on his word. He'll definitely compensate you. Right. Chenfei thought of the spoils he had created, and Qin Tao thought smugly, this will definitely be something to talk about. Causing such bad news, these two might never take me again. My time has come again. Haha, Mian. Seeing Mother Deer getting worse and worse, was worried. She patiently tried to persuade Zhao Pa. I think Dafen must have eaten something wrong. That's why it's like this, Zhao Pa. You have to believe Mian. The more she spoke, the more she cried from frustration and worry for Mother Dear. It's not that Mian's medicine is the problem. It's really not. Seeing Xiaopo crying so sadly, Su Chenfei couldn't hide his sadness. Most of the netizens watching this criticized the little girl. Su Mian is such a child. How can she be so nosy at such a young age, taking out things she doesn't know what they are and stuffing them in? Hey, didn't she give the old man something yesterday? Was it also a deadly pill? Su Chenfei, realizing that the situation was getting worse and worse, blamed himself even more, his face gloomy, as he said to Mian Zhemian, Xiaopo, I'm sorry, this is all my fault, I'm just not suitable for the entertainment industry, that's why this has affected you. Mian Damian looked at Mother Dear with tearful eyes, thinking in her head, it's not like that. I secretly calculated Xiao Dear's fate, and it was very normal. Today Zhao Gong and Zhao Pa won't lose any money, and even 7th Uncle's luck is fine. So, could the problem be with me? Thinking of this, she clenched her fists silently, blaming herself. Remembering her mother's teachings, she suddenly regained her spirits, clenched her fists tightly, and made up her mind. But Mom said that fate is in our own hands. I have to save Dafen. Yes, I have to save my fate. I absolutely can't let 7th Uncle be implicated. Thinking this, Mian Kamian quietly went to Mother Dear when no one was paying attention, and then secretly stuffed the pill into Mother Dear's mouth. Zhao Gong was talking on the phone, and just happened to turn around and catch this scene. Thinking Mian was causing trouble, Uncle Zhao angrily scolded, this child is so disobedient, the dough is already in this state, why are you randomly feeding things to our deer? It's about to die, and the fawns probably will too. Halfway through his scolding, Uncle Zhao suddenly stopped when he noticed that the doe's condition had improved, and her complexion was no longer as dark as before. He excitedly shouted, everyone, look! It seems like the deer has come back to life. Uncle Zhao's eyes couldn't hide his surprise as he witnessed this miracle. After being saved, the doe gratefully moved towards Mian, wanting to thank her. Mian seemed to understand the doe's intention, and she gently patted its back, reassuring it. Okay, Mian will feed the medicine to the little ones. Don't worry, they'll be all right. The doe's revival brought Uncle and Aunt Zhao to tears of joy. They looked at Mian apologetically and said, thank you, we were so suspicious of you just now, we're really sorry. We apologize to you. Mian didn't mind at all, and replied with a smile, it's okay. Seeing how amazing his little cousin was, Su Chenfei couldn't hide his admiration and gave her a thumbs up. While everyone was happy about saving the doe, Qin Tao had the opposite reaction. Disbelief was written all over his face. How could it come back to life? Could it be that this little girl really has something special about her? Qin Tao felt a bit guilty, but still chuckled to himself. Ha, but it doesn't matter. No matter how special she is, she won't know that I was the one who poisoned it. Thinking this, Qin Tao secretly prepared to leave. But before he could go, the doe charged at him and knocked him out with a headbutt to his crotch. Under that strong impact, Qin Tao flew a distance. Before falling to the ground, he grimaced in pain and yelled, ah! What's worse, his hand landed in deer poop. Qin Tao's face darkened as he shouted, ugh, how disgusting! Mian was quite surprised by the doe's reaction. She asked Dafen, why did you attack him? The doe looked at Mian and made ak sounds, as if trying to accuse Qin Tao of his crimes. After listening, Mian felt indignant and pointed directly at Qin Tao, exposing his misdeeds. Dafen said that you put something in its food, that's why it was poisoned, you're a bad person. This revelation shocked everyone present. Even Qin Tao was visibly upset when his plan was exposed. He gritted his teeth in anger. But with his acting skills, Qin Tao quickly adjusted his emotions. He stood up and pretended to be innocent, wiping his hands and saying, little girl, in the adult world everything requires evidence. Mian didn't back down and retorted, but Dafen said so, you were the one who put something in its food. Qin Tao's face showed no remorse, and he shamelessly retorted, how can humans understand what animals say? He looked at Su Chenfei and reproachfully asked, Chenfei, could it be that your little cousin is holding a grudge because I accidentally squeezed her hand too hard, so she's falsely accusing me like this? Facing Qin Tao's sophistry, Su Chenfei stepped forward, picked up Mian to protect her, and replied sternly, my little cousin never lies, I believe her. Qin Tao tried to sway public opinion. Children don't know how to lie, but they mistake the things they imagine for reality. He shifted all the blame onto Su Chenfei. We're live streaming right now, isn't it bad to ruin my reputation like this? Su Chenfei's eyes turned sharp as he locked eyes with Qin Tao, sparks flying between them. Qin Tao's words successfully manipulated the netizens, who started to side with him. Oh my god, Su Mian is so young but she's already casually slandering adults. How ridiculous. Really too ridiculous. If she could really predict things accurately, why couldn't she predict that the deer would be poisoned? Maybe she's being taught by adults. Probably because they're jealous that our brother Teo won the Best Actor award. Liu Hui, who had been watching all along, finally spoke up. It's true that the doe was poisoned, and it's useless for us to argue back and forth on the live stream right now, she suddenly suggested. How about we let the director call the police and let them investigate this matter? With a hypocritical smile, Xintao agreed. Call the police then, I support it, because my conscience is clear. Mian Mian's eyes filled with disappointment, and she sadly said, why don't they believe what Mian Mian says? Tang Shenfei held Mian Mian in his arms, gently kissed her face and encouraged her. It's okay. They don't believe us now, but they will after the police investigate. Xindao smiled maliciously, as if trying to add fuel to the fire. I'm afraid the investigation will reveal that there was something wrong with the medicine the little ant gave, but after all, it's just a child, so it probably doesn't matter, right? Faced with Qindao's offensive words, Tang Shenfei retorted confidently with a stern face, there is definitely nothing wrong with my little aunt's medicine. Mian, seeing Qindao constantly blaming her, looked over uncomfortably. Qindao's fans again started typing on their keyboards, leaving comments. I'm just waiting for the police to come and slap Tang Shenfei and Tang Mian in the face. That's right, I agree with the person above. Kenna. The director, having received the news, ran over and anxiously suggested, first, everyone should go to Lian Gao's house and wait for the police. Back at Lian Gao's house, Yu was still haunted by the scene of the mother deer from before. A little girl teared up, crying and rubbing her eyes, while Mian Tamian, sitting next to her, felt heartbroken and cried along. She suppressed her emotions and reached out to advise Yu, don't rub anymore. If you keep rubbing, your eyes will swell and you won't be pretty. Yum looked over, seeing tears in the corners of Mian Mian's eyes, and wiped them away, also encouraging her. Mian Mian, don't cry either, I believe you. Mian Mian suppressed her tears and laughed because she was touched. Suddenly, Yu came over and whispered in her ear. Mian Dimian, I have a secret to tell you. I also think Qindao is a bastard. As soon as Qindao was mentioned, Mian Kamian was furious. She clenched her fists and cursed. He is already a bastard, extremely ugly. The two little girls, having the same thoughts and opinions, laughed happily and agreed. I understand you. This scene was accidentally caught on camera, giving netizens a bad impression of Mian Kamian. Oh my god, Yu, has Tang Mian Kamian spoiled you? You dare to speak ill of Dao Ji right in front of him. Someone spoke up to advise. Liu Hui, don't let your daughter play with Tang Mian anymore. She always feeds other people's children pig food. How can such children be good? On the other side, Qindao was contacting his subordinates to do something bad. That thing with the mother deer, remember to edit it a bit and upload it to the internet? Qindao had heard everything Mian Kamian had said earlier, so he glared at Mian Kamian with hatred. Hanging up, he smiled sinisterly and thought, Tang Shenfei, Tang Mian, this time I will definitely make you disappear. Under the malicious editing by Qindao's teammates, Mian Kamian quickly became the target of criticism. These clips quickly attracted a lot of interaction. This kid is such a troublemaker. Looking at the way she points at adults, she must have given the deer something to eat, which is why the deer had a problem, right? Haha, who did I think it was? It turns out to be the Tang family's child. Tang Shenfei? I still remember the video of my Akwang being slapped by her back then. As soon as this comment appeared, countless people shifted their attacks to Tang Shenfei. Still bringing up the old days, if it weren't for President Xin Qing pulling him back then, he would have probably retired from the industry already, right? I think this matter is definitely Tang Mian's self-direction and self-acting. You have nothing to do with the deer like Qindao, but you're accused of poisoning the deer, and now you turn around and accuse Qindao of poisoning the deer. It's ridiculous. At the Tang residence, Old Master Tang and Madame Tang were watching the news on TV, and were filled with anger. That Qindao looks like a dead pig not afraid of boiling water. He must have destroyed all the evidence, Madame Tang worriedly asked. Then how can little Ant prove that what she said is true? Seeing his wife tear up with worry, he patted her shoulder to reassure her. Alas, if it weren't for little Ant needing to rely on this little uncle to save Grandpa and Grandma, I really wouldn't want to let her follow that kid Tang Shenfei. The eldest son sitting next to them finally spoke up. Mom and Dad, don't worry, I've already sent people to investigate Qindao. Old Master Tang's eyes lit up and he instructed. Good, go investigate quickly. Absolutely don't let this dirty water splash on little Aunt and Tang Shenfei. Back at the filming location, Mian Mian and Yu were sitting by a basin of water, playing with toy ducks. From behind, Qindao quietly walked over and patted his younger brother's shoulder. Looking at his younger brother, he smiled and signaled, Go quickly. Qinhao, though unwilling, was very afraid of his brother, so he had no choice but to obey. Approaching the two little girls, Qin Hao asked, "Little ones, Jiu Dudu, Tang Mian Mian, do you two want to play with us? Lin Yang has a really cool building block set." Hearing the voice, Mian Mian and Dudu turned their heads to look. Standing next to Qin Hao was Lin Yang, who was holding a box of toy building blocks in his hand. Taking the box of toy blocks from Lin Yang, Mian Mian smiled and praised, "Thank you, wow, you built an eagle." Dudu also curiously looked at it, yellow. Mian Mian smiled with amusement. She pointed to the toy and explained, "That's right, look. This is the eagle's head, these are the legs, and this part is its tail." Lin Yang didn't expect Mian Mian to understand so well at a glance. He smiled happily, implicitly confirming that everything Mian Mian said was correct. Sensing the unusual behavior from Lin Yang, because he only nodded to express himself without speaking, Dudu whispered to Mian Mian, "Why doesn't this big brother say anything? Does he not know how to talk? If so, that's so pitiful." Dudu's words made Liang freeze. He thought to himself, "Other children laugh at me for not being able to talk. Could it be that these two lovely little girls will laugh at me too?" Liang, who was in a disturbed mood, suddenly heard Mian Mian say matter-of-factly, "He knows how to talk, I guess he just doesn't want to. It's okay, because we are good friends." Dudu smiled in agreement upon hearing this. "That's right, just like Dudu doesn't like to eat rice, Grandma says Dudu is not a good girl, but Mom says Dudu is still Mom's treasure even if she doesn't eat rice." Mian Mian smiled and patted the little girl's head, praising her. "Yes, our Dudu is so smart she even knows what," the pot calling the kettle black. Li Yang, who was standing behind them and heard the entire conversation, felt more relaxed than before. He looked at the two little girls with a smile. Mian Mian pointed to the toy in his hand and suggested, "Let's play together." At the same time, the police who received the report arrived. "Everyone, please explain what happened." Su Chenfei stepped forward and recounted all the events of today to the police. Suddenly, a loud "ah" rang out. Everyone looked over and saw Lin Yang falling headfirst into a nearby tub of water. Amidst everyone's stunned silence, Qin Hao suddenly shouted, "Tang Mian Mian, why did you push Lin Yang down?" Mian Mian, while helping Lin Yang up, retorted, "I didn't push Lin Yang. You, Qin Hao, pushed Lin Yang." Under that push, Lin Yang's face was now scratched in many places. He clutched his mouth, choking on water and coughing incessantly. Qin Hao tried his best to deny it. No, I was here playing with building blocks the whole time. It was clearly you who pushed him." Liang Gao, seeing his son injured, rushed over. Li Yang, in pain, immediately started crying like rain when he saw his father arrive, holding his son in his arms. Liang Gao angrily looked at the group of children in front of him and shouted, "Which one of you bullied my son?" Lin Yang's eyes are teary. He doesn't say anything but just shakes his head. Seeing this, Xin Tao breathes a sigh of relief, assuming Lin Yang doesn't know about his brother's involvement, and then starts to steer public opinion towards Mian Mian. "Little one, you can't keep lying like that. Pushing someone is pushing someone. How can you not admit it?" Liu Hui, holding Yu Yu in her arms, she disagrees with his reasoning and suggests indignantly, "Qin Tao, don't jump to conclusions. Let's review the footage." The cameraman scratches his ear awkwardly, replying, "Ah, that. The camera suddenly went black for some reason just now, so it didn't record. It's only normal now. But I did see Su Mian Mian push Liu Yang." Qin Tao smiles triumphantly at this outcome. Netizens erupt with countless negative opinions towards Mian Mian. As expected, Su Mian Mian is a habitual liar. Now, can it be proven that Su Mian Mian's pills are problematic? I agree with you, even the staff said they saw it. Let's see what Su Chenfei and Su Mian Mian have to say. Mian Mian runs towards Su Chenfei, sobbing. He reaches out to catch her and asks worriedly, "Little one, what's wrong?" Mian Mian then recounts what she saw earlier. "Just now, Qin Hao showed me the toy he made. When I was looking at it, Qin Hao suddenly pushed Lin Yang." She continues tearfully with resentment. After pushing, Qin Hao took the toy and ran back, and said that I pushed Lin Yang. This cameraman also said the same, saying that Mian Mian pushed but Mian Mian didn't push. Wah. Being blamed and no one believes the explanation, Mikan cries out helplessly, "Injustice, Mikan didn't push anyone." Su Chenfei gently hugs her tightly, comforting her. Mian cries harder and harder because she can't bear the injustice, her mouth constantly explaining, "It really wasn't Mian. Mian isn't a bad kid who lies, wah." Her crying breaks his heart. Patting her head gently, he softly reassures, "Little one, don't cry, seventh brother believes you." Qin Tao, seeing that the fire isn't big enough, immediately steps forward, wanting to pour more oil on it, pretending to persuade Lin Gao. "Oh brother, it's normal for kids to argue. We already asked just now, but the little one didn't admit it." Don't be angry, I and Su Chenfei are brothers. How much money do you want me to help him compensate? Lin Gao completely loses his temper, coldly saying loudly in disagreement. Compensate? How can you compensate for my son's suffering? So what if he's a celebrity? Spending a little money and wanting to be done with it, Li Gao doesn't compromise and with resentment, looks over at Su Chenfei making a demand. If your kid pushed my kid, then I demand to push her once too? How about it? Not too much to ask, right? Qintao, standing behind, seeing his instigation succeed, smiles sinisterly. Mian tries to explain. It wasn't me who pushed, really, it was Xin Hao who pushed. Uncle Li. Ko Lushek searches in her small handbag. This is medicine to dissolve bruises for Lin Yang to use. After Lin Yang uses it, he won't hurt anymore. While saying this, she hands the healing medicine over to Lin Gao. Su Chenfei, looking at her being so sensible, feels a slight heartache thinking, the little one is too pitiful, being wrongly accused and still caring that Lin Yang's injury hurts a lot. She's really sensible. Qintao still doesn't give up, intentionally taunting, oh little one, don't give medicine so casually. What if it also poisons Lin Yang like the mother pig? Lin Gao, hearing this, immediately becomes wary and doesn't dare use the medicine that Mian Mian gave. Looking over at Su Chenfei with displeasure, asks, speak, hurry up, say how exactly do you want to resolve this? Su Chenfei frowns, determined not to admit fault, he retorts. It wasn't my little one who pushed, so we're not admitting it. At this time, the police, after hearing the news, also arrive. You're Su Chenfei, right? We've understood everything that happened. Now you bring Su Mian together to the police station to cooperate with the investigation. Netizens following along comment gleefully. The bad kid has someone to take care of her? Thank you, police officer. We suggest that the police lock Su Mian up. Just at this moment, Liang Yang suddenly opens his mouth and says loudly, it wasn't Mian. Liang Gao is surprised to see his son speak and asks in disbelief, Yang, you spoke. Tang Shenfei immediately perked up. Little friend Yang had testified, showing that this matter wasn't Grandma's fault, and Mian also smiled radiantly now that she had been exonerated. That's right, Mian was framed. Pointing at Qintao, Liang Yang mustered all his courage and accused, also, I saw him take our family's medicine. The police recognized this as a crucial point, hastily pointing at Qintao and asking Li Yang, you said you saw him take your family's medicine, is that right? Qintao never expected his perfect plan, which was about to succeed, to be ruined at the last moment. His face suddenly darkened, and he calculated in his heart. Wasn't this mute Li Yang always silent? How could he suddenly speak today? Even so, Qintao still tried to reassure himself. It doesn't matter, so what if Li Yang can speak? His words can't arbitrarily convict me like that. Thinking this, Qintao feigned innocence and walked towards Liang Yang, asking, little boy, why are you lying too? Don't talk nonsense. I never took your family's medicine. Why are you also learning from Tang Mian and lying? At this time, you didn't remain silent either. She stood up and retorted, Mian isn't lying. You're not allowed to say Mian is lying. Qintao's face turned pale and he cursed inwardly. Damn brats, what do you all want to do? He expressed his displeasure to Liu Hui. Sister Hui, I only call you that because I see you as my senior. Your daughter can't be corrupted by Tang Mian. However, Liu Hui disregarded him and didn't even look at him. She turned to praise her daughter, as if wanting to throw a bucket of cold water on Qintao. You're so great. You believe in your best friend. Being brave and speaking up for your best friend makes me proud of you. Qintao's face stiffened upon hearing this, and he coldly said, Sister Hui, are you implying that you're also on Tang Shenfei and Tang Mian's side and think I poisoned the pigs? Liu Hui looked at Qintao with disgust, and she replied loudly, you don't need to say these words. I believe children don't have the heart to harm small animals. Lin Yang also chimed in, agreeing, Mian, I choose you too. Mian was so touched that she started to cry. Her best friends were all speaking up for her, even seventh grandson, but she was crying here, as grandma. She slightly blamed herself. I'm not acting like an elder at all, how embarrassing. Mian wiped her tears while gratefully saying, thank you all for believing in Mian. Drying her tears, she turned her head and whispered to Tang Shenfei, seventh grandson, said, Mian has to ask for your opinion on everything she does. Can you allow Mian to use that method now? Tang Shenfei asked curiously. What method? Mian recounted what happened before, precisely that time. Before the eldest grandson's birthday party, Mian helped seventh grandson discipline the bad guys. Seventh grandson even praised Mian then, do you remember? Tang Shenfei thought of the past and immediately smiled brightly, agreeing right away. Of course it's allowed. Why wouldn't it be, Grandma? Feel free to use it. You should have used it sooner. Pointing at Qintao, Mian said with a heroic tone, bad guy, Watch Mian punish you. Her small hand quickly drew a few strokes. In the blink of an eye, a talisman appeared above Xin Tao's head. Xin Tao, unaware that his doomsday was approaching, was still arguing in front of the police. I really only took the paper on their table, just afraid that people would say I was entering other people's houses casually. Under the effect of the talisman, Xin Tao involuntarily smiled and blurted out the scheme he was hiding. I even intentionally told Zhao Zhao not to record the part where I took the pesticide. Xin Tao jumped in shock when he realized he had slipped up. He quickly covered his mouth with his hand, extremely panicked in his heart. Strange, what's going on? Why did I say I took the pesticide? No, I have to fix it. I have to fix it right away. To know the plot of this comic, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss this super good and attractive comic. It would be really grateful if you leave a like and a comment to give Sty more motivation to release more stories. Nay, wish you a peaceful day and have relaxing moments while watching the story. Nay, goodbye, and see you again soonest. Realizing he had slipped up, Xin Dao's face turned ashen, looking flustered. This expression completely betrayed him, and netizens immediately erupted. Oh my god! Everyone! Look, Xin Dao is sweating profusely. Did he speak too carelessly and accidentally blurt out the truth? Some die-hard fans still defended him relentlessly. No way, I believe Brother Dao wouldn't do something like that. Pesticide? What pesticide? Hey, Brother Dafio, did you say the wrong thing, right? You're making me anxious. Mian seized the opportunity, determined to get to the bottom of it. Why did you get the poison? Why did you want to harm Dai Fan? Under the effect of the talisman, Xin Dao blurted out the truths hidden in his heart. Because I wanted to kill that beast, but that beast wouldn't let me kill it. It even avoided me. Xin Dao realized his mouth felt stiff, unable to control himself, and just kept speaking, and panic surged in his heart. What the hell? Why can't I control my mouth anymore? Even the police were quite surprised by his confession. Not stopping there, Xin Dao walked up to Mian, smirked maliciously, and spoke of his envy and resentment. Why does Su Chenfei's variety show filming go so smoothly? What's with him being able to carry a 100-pound pear blossom table and even breed boars? Yes, I'm jealous of Su Chenfei, so what? I wanted Su Chenfei to continue being smeared, so I framed you. As soon as the matter of poisoning the boar is exposed, both of your contracts will surely be terminated. Ha ha! He gritted his teeth and spat out each word. You came from a rich family, so you have everything. I was driven mad by jealousy, that's why I deliberately approached you. Xin Dao uncontrollably revealed the truth about what happened that year in front of everyone. Didn't you get surrounded by a group of thugs that year, and I came to save you? Actually, I was the one who called those people there. Su Chenfei froze completely upon hearing this truth. He couldn't believe that the person he once considered a brother could be so insidious. Even the netizens watching fell into no less confusion. Oh my god, what's happening? What is Brother Dao saying? What's wrong with Brother Dao? Don't scare me, I'm starting to panic. Speaking of this, Xin Dao burst into a triumphant laugh. I didn't expect that with just a small trick, you grew even closer to me. The director noticed and filmed, and you didn't forget to give me an opportunity. What right do you have to be the lead? To become a movie emperor, while I have to play your guard? Why didn't you give me that lead role? Hearing this, Su Chenfei was completely shocked. He vaguely pieced together some parts, not expecting that the reason Xin Dao smeared his little aunt was because of his jealousy towards him. The brotherhood of all these years turned out to be fake. In his eyes, he couldn't hide his disappointment as he looked at Xin Dao. He walked over, voicing his questions and his inner suspicions. If you were truly so jealous of me, then why did you help me get the role this time? You even said you recommended me to the director, which is why the director agreed to sign the contract with me? Xin Dao laughed scornfully, unconsciously speaking his true thoughts. HMPH. That old man had already planned to drag you deeper. I also went to ask a feng shui master. Who would have thought your luck in the entertainment industry was very good? So I deliberately raised an imp, specifically to drain your luck. With triumphant eyes, Xin Dao looked at Su Chenfei and boasted, that imp was truly useful. All the scandals like me getting into fights, using drugs, gambling, they all reflected onto you, while I was completely fine. But I didn't expect the imp to not work this time, so I had to take action myself. Anyway, now you're just an empty shell. With just a slight move from me, my fans will tear you to shreds. Haha. The more Xin Dao spoke, the more agitated he became. As soon as this truth was revealed, everyone froze in disbelief. Netizens immediately erupted with countless comments. Oh my goodness! Before this, the matter with the little ant was already too outrageous. Now Qingdao was playing the game of raising an imp to steal someone's luck. My worldview has crumbled. No, 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 Qingdao, please don't act in the film industry anymore. Oh, so he's truly that vicious. All those insults his fans hurled at others now sound truly sickening in retrospect. Su Chenfei's inner world was no less shaken. So, his bad luck in the entertainment industry was because Qingdao had drained all his luck? He lowered his head, asking Mian Mian, the little aunt, with confusion. What's with the imp? Seeing the little girl standing still, Su Chenfei grew even more confused. This time the imp didn't work. Could it be that the little aunt intervened? But why didn't the little aunt say anything? When asked, Mian Mian's face turned helpless. She covered her mouth with both hands, and after a while she mumbled in response. The eldest grandnephew didn't allow me to say. Su Chenfei's face brightened. He chuckled to himself, thinking, as expected, my little aunt helped me capture that imp. He grew more and more fond of Mian Mian. His little aunt was truly his goddess. How could I live without my little aunt? Thinking this, he lifted the little girl up, vigorously kissing her chubby cheeks. Moi moi. Qingdao, standing opposite and witnessing this scene, had his face contorted into a scowl. He gritted his teeth, speculating, I've said everything, so why is Su Chenfei still so calm? Is he looking down on me? His anger flared. Qingdao couldn't control himself, and exposed even more secrets. He pointed and said, Ah, that's right. Earlier, with Lin Yang's matter, I told my younger brother to push him. I wanted to frame Su Mian Mian for it. Ha ha ha. Seeing his older brother confess, Xin Hao burst into remorseful sobs. Sorry, I didn't mean to push anyone. Sob. Brother said if I didn't listen to him, he would throw away my wooden doll. I just wanted to play with my wooden doll. Seeing his younger brother crying hysterically, Qingdao lost his temper, raising a hand to hit him, cursing non-stop. Damn it, what are you crying about? Kids are the most annoying. I threw that wooden doll away ages ago. Why take Sue's stuff? It'll only bring more bad luck. Just as he was about to strike, the police were one step faster and restrained him, pushing him to the ground. Don't move. The police declared Xintao's crimes in a resounding voice. Xintao, you poisoned the villagers, pigs, and confessed to assault. Therefore, we need to arrest you according to the law. You have the right to remain silent, but everything you say will become evidence in court. Xintao grimaced in pain, his face more twisted than ever. This quickly became a topic of discussion online and spread like wildfire, causing the number of online viewers to skyrocket. This time, Xintao's true colors were exposed to the public. He was completely ruined because of this. The police quickly escorted Xintao away. Afterwards, the staff who had framed Su Mianmian realized the situation and proactively came to apologize. We're sorry, little ancestor. I was blinded and testified falsely before. It's all my fault that you were framed. Mianmian was very generous, she didn't mind, and waved her hand, saying, It's okay. It's best to correct your mistakes when you realize them. Following this, many netizens also apologized to Su Shenfei, and the haters quickly turned into his fans. The phone kept buzzing with messages. Sorry. Reading the messages, Su Shenfei felt the burden in his heart lift after all these years. He took a deep breath of relief. Li Gao also went to Mian Spimian to apologize. It's all my fault that you were framed. Qintao has been arrested, so Qinhao's family came to pick him up. Mian Spimian looked at the boy who was about to leave and called out, Qinhao, goodbye, here's a wooden figure for you. Qinhao held the wooden figure in his hand and cried, saying apologetically, Thank you, Mian Pimian. I'm sorry for blaming you. I won't do bad things in the future. Mian Kamian didn't mind and even encouraged him. It's good to correct your mistakes when you realize them. We'll meet again in the future. Yu and Li Yang also waved. Goodbye, happily, goodbye. Qinhao, the director, went to find him in the evening. Shenfei was too embarrassed. The director said apologetically, If Qintao hadn't confessed, then little ancestor would have been wrongly accused for a long time. I'm here to apologize on behalf of all the staff. Su Shenfei laughed and replied, It's okay, I really didn't expect you to actively invite me to the show. I should thank you a lot for this. He thought to himself, This opportunity is truly rare. It not only helps me clear my previous bad reputation but also helps little ancestor. The director smiled happily when he saw that he didn't mind. Actually, I really like the film you released, and you're very popular now, so inviting you to participate is mutually beneficial. Reality shows are just for creating content, the director also revealed. In order to have a topic, the guest replacing Xintao has arrived at the crew, will board the plane tonight, and is scheduled to join them early tomorrow morning. As the little ancestor's nephew, I have to greet you first to prepare well. Shenfei was a little surprised when he heard this, and he thought in confusion, Why does the guest have to greet me? Could it be that they know me? The next morning, As soon as the clock struck 5:30 a.m., when he and Mian were sound asleep, the bell rang continuously. The loud and continuous ringing woke them both up, and they sat up reluctantly with sleepy faces. Shenfei muttered, "What's that sound?" The director's loudspeaker announcement echoed everywhere. "Wake up early and embrace the sun full of energy, dear guests. It's 5:30. Get up quickly." Hearing the knock, Shenfei reluctantly went to open the door. The cameraman greeted with a smile. "Good morning." Mian was still sound asleep on the bed, shaking her head back and forth to get rid of her sleepiness. The director looked at her like that and reminded with a smile, "Well, little friend Su Mian, the other little friends have already brushed their teeth, so don't fall behind. There's a new mission today." Mian woke up instantly when she heard this. She stretched and did some morning exercises. The cameraman quickly filmed this adorable moment of hers up close. Mian smiled and waved at the camera. "Good morning, Uncle Cameraman." "Good morning, brothers and sisters in the camera." Netizens were overwhelmed by her cuteness and politeness. "Ah, I want to take little ancestor home and raise her. I think little ancestor hasn't had enough sleep yet. Suggest she come to my house to catch up on sleep." Hi, she asked energetically with a smile. "What new mission do we have today?" Realizing she'd let something slip, the director winked at her, signaling, "Keep it a secret, little Mian. Hurry and gather with the others." Mian replied with a radiant smile. "Okay." Tang Mian, with Tang Chenfei in tow, whose face still showed signs of sleepiness, went down to the hall to join everyone. As soon as they saw each other, Dudu and Mian excitedly ran over for a hug, bubbling with excitement. "Good morning, Dudu. Good morning, Mian." Discovering the matching duckling designs on their shirts, Mian giggled. "I didn't realize our clothes both have little ducklings." Looking at the little duck printed on her shirt, Dumodu was reminded of the two ducklings from before, and she asked, "Oh, by the way, Mian, where are Daohuang and Xiaohuang?" Hearing the question, Mian suddenly remembered and let out an "ah." She walked over to Tang Chenfei and said, "Seventh grandchild, Mian wants to go upstairs to bring Daohuang and Xiaohuang down. Don't worry, Grandma will be right back." Tang Chenfei instructed. "Okay, the show hasn't started yet, so little Grandma, go ahead." With his approval, she and Dundu happily held hands and ran upstairs. Suddenly, a hand reached out, blocking Tang Mian and Dudu. Wang Zhejiang, with both arms outstretched to bar their way, face flushed red, stammered, I want to go with you guys too." Mian didn't understand why Wang Zhejiang wanted to follow, but she generously agreed right away. "Okay, then come with us." Dudu kept turning her head to look back at Wang Zhejiang, sizing up his actions, which only made Wang Zhejiang's face turn even redder with embarrassment. Wang Zhejiang stubbornly stuck with them, making Dudu feel somewhat weary. She whispered to Mian, "He's so curious he keeps following Mian but doesn't say anything." Just as she looked back again, Dudu exclaimed in surprise, "Huh." Noticing that Chu Ye had joined Wang Zhejiang, Dudu asked in surprise, "Why is Chu Ye here too?" Mian stopped at this point, looking at both of them behind her and asking, "Hey, why did you guys all follow us here?" Chu Ye didn't reveal any emotion. He casually replied, "I want to see Baohuang and Xiaohuang too." The two boys' expressions made the netizens burst into laughter. "Aha, I'm laughing. These two kids want to play with the girls. I can see right through them. Haha, I'm dead." Wang Zhejiang is awkward and unnatural, while Chu Ye is straightforward. And I have to admit, after little Grandma taught Wang Zhejiang a lesson, he's becoming more and more well-behaved than before. Mian didn't ask any further. She quickly walked forward. "Okay, then you guys can come see them with us. Let's go." Mian's friendliness made Chu Ye smile at her, and his fondness for Mian grew. He naturally moved closer, proactively taking her hand. "Let's go!" Wang Zhejiang chased after them from behind, filled with unwillingness. His eyes even welled up with tears, seemingly on the verge of crying. "Sniff, sniff! I clearly wanted to hold Mian's hand and walk with her too. Why did that guy get there first?" Down in the waiting area, the director's announcement echoed, causing everyone to turn their attention to the newly arrived guest. Seeing who walked in, Tang Chenfei immediately lost all enthusiasm, muttering and complaining, "Why is it her?" At the entrance, Ai Shu Er and Fu Keinqi entered. Ai Shu Er waved and said with a smile, "Hello everyone, I'm Ai Shu Er, long time no see." While Liu Hui and Xu Weiwei went to greet A Xuanning, Su Chenfei remained standing, his gaze towards her less than pleased. He frowned, thinking, "No wonder Director Hu suddenly mentioned a new guest to me yesterday." He suddenly recalled a past memory, realizing the new guest was Ai Xuanning. Back then, He had slapped her on set during filming. Thinking about Ai Xuaning's current fame, he couldn't help but sigh. Back then, she was just a rising star, and now she's a major celebrity in the entertainment industry. Half a year ago, she surpassed many outstanding actresses to win the Golden Chrysanthemum Award, and she also started her own management company. Her reputation is on the rise. Ai Xuaning's appearance made Su Chenfei comment, "Is this trying to stir up conflict to boost viewership? Director Hu truly lives up to the nickname, Muddlehead Hu, always causing trouble." Xu Weiwei stepped forward to shake Ai Xuaning's hand, smiling flatteringly. "Oh, why is Ai Zong so free to participate in variety shows? What a surprise!" Ai Xuaning politely replied. "Qianbei, why call me Ai Zong? You debuted earlier than me, so just call me Xuaning. This isn't the place to discuss business, is it?" Then Ai Xuaning turned to the little girl beside her and said, "Kei-chi, this is Auntie Z." Fu Kei-chi politely bowed. "Hello, Auntie Z, I'm Fu Kei-chi. I'm 5 years old this year." Some netizens quickly recognized Fu Kei-chi's background. "Wow, it's the little princess Kei-chi, the champion of last year's children's ballet competition. She's the epitome of elegance and beauty." Yes, I didn't expect Kei-chi to be so beautiful. Children's programs are getting more and more interesting. Haha. For some reason, I suddenly want to see the little princess and little granny appear together. It must be a different feeling from GUU, right? Fu Kei-chi looked up at her mother and asked, "Mommy, didn't you say there would be many outstanding children on this program? Can they be friends with Kei-chi? Why doesn't Kei-chi see anyone?" Ai Xuaning chuckled. "Oh, you." She looked around and asked, "Where are all the children?" Ai Xuaning took the initiative to strike up a conversation with him. "Oh, Chen Fei, long time no see. Where's your little granny?" Being called out, he smiled awkwardly and politely replied, "Qianbei, AI, long time no see. My little granny and the other children have gone upstairs to see the ducklings. They'll be down later." On the surface, he smiled perfunctorily. But in his heart, he kept muttering, "If it were before, I definitely wouldn't bother with Ai Xuaning. I would never pay attention to this kind of trash with long-standing grudges. But now I can't. I have to think about little granny." Thinking of little granny, he secretly resolved to change himself. "I need to change my behavior and how I act." This attitude of his made the three women opposite him think in unison. To be able to get along with someone he once had a conflict with, Su Chenfei has really grown up a lot. Just then, Mian Ximian's voice rang out. "Seventh grandson, we're back." In her hands were two very cute little ducklings. They kept chirping. As soon as she put the two little ducklings on the ground, a pair of feet suddenly appeared in front of her. Fu Kei-chi looked at her with a bright smile and introduced herself. "Hello, I'm Fu Kei-chi." Mian Ximian also smiled and replied, "Hello, I'm Su Mian Ximian." Fu Kei-chi sat down and looked at the ducklings with a sweet smile. "These two little ducklings are so cute. Let's take them outside to play." Then Fu Kei-chi reached out to the ducklings, but for some reason, the ducklings, who were originally happy, became timid and kept backing away. This action caught Mian Ximian's attention. She carefully assessed Fu Kei-chi with her big, round eyes. Discovering that Fu Kei-chi was surrounded by darkness, Mian Ximian was secretly startled. Why does Fu Kei-chi have so many dark shadows following him? Ever since Fu Kei-chi showed up, the two ducklings kept chirping as if they were scared of something, quickly running back towards Mian Ximian. This strange thing made Mian Ximian ponder. It seems like Da Huang and Xiao Huang don't want to go with her. Mian Ximian felt a bit awkward. What should I do? Just when she was at a loss, Chu Ye appeared like a savior. He reached out and picked up the two ducklings. Using his other hand to grab Mian Ximian's hand and pull her up, "Ziki is looking for you." Ignoring Fu Keiki's darkened face, he grabbed Mian Ximian's hand and left. Mian Ximian understood, and her heart was filled with emotion. "Brother Chu Ye is helping me." Dudu followed behind them. Unexpectedly, as Fu Keiki watched them leave, a sinister glint flashed in her eyes. Reaching the beautiful flower field, Chu Ye put the ducklings down. Mian Ximian looked at them and smiled, instructing, "Da Huang, Xiao Huang, go find food yourselves. Mian Ximian will visit you when she's free." Chu Ye still hadn't let go of her hand. Mian Ximian looked at him and thanked him for helping her earlier. "Thank you." Long Chu Ye, though flustered inside, remained expressionless on the outside, replying, "It's nothing." Dunduna, standing beside them, was very upset that Mian Mian had been pulled away. She let out a loud, pouting sound, then reached out and grabbed Mian Mian's other arm, wanting to compete for her affection. Dudu glared at Chu Ye as if to warn him, "You're not allowed to steal Mian Ximian from me." In response, Chu Ye remained calm as if nothing had happened. Only Mian Ximian was confused by their expressions. Just then, the director appeared from behind to announce the new task. "Today, the village won't provide meals all day, only a kitchen. Therefore, everyone needs to figure out how to cook their own food, including breakfast." Seeing Su Chenfei, Mian Mian pulled her hands away from Chu Ye and Dudu, excitedly running towards him. Seventh uncle, let's go find food. Su Chenfei opened his arms with a radiant smile, welcoming his little one. Mian Mian, holding Su Chenfei's hand, smiled and called out, Do, and brother Chu Ye too. Do you two want to come with Mian Mian? As Su Chenfei looked towards the two children, he froze upon seeing their expressions as if they wanted to devour him alive. What's going on? Mian Chimian was being taken from them. Dundu and Chu Ye glared and dashed towards Su Chenfei. Just then, Wang Ze suddenly appeared in front of Mian Kimian. Looking at her, Wang Ze pouted jealously. Why didn't she call my name? Seeing that he looked upset, Mian Kimian asked with concern, Z, what's wrong? Wang Ze pretended to sulk, crossing his arms and turning away, thinking to himself, at home, if I act like this, my grandparents will definitely say sweet things to me. If Su Mian Mian coaxes me, then I'll reluctantly forgive her. But Wang Zi waited for a long time without hearing anything. Filled with doubt, he opened his eyes and found that Mian Kemian's group had disappeared. Oh no, where did everyone go? Wang Zhen sadly thought to himself, could it be that Mian Samian doesn't like me at all? Fu Keki then came over and asked with concern, you look very sad, what happened? Feeling down, Wang Ze ignored Fu Keki and rushed to his mother, his voice on the verge of tears. Let's go, Mom, let's go quickly. I want to find food too. Being ignored, Fu Keki was extremely annoyed. Who is this stupid kid? How dare he ignore me? Meanwhile, Mian Mian, Yu Du, and Chu Ye ran through a field of flowers, surrounded by countless butterflies fluttering above. A beautiful sight to behold, Mian Mian exclaimed excitedly. Wow, so many butterflies! Yu Du noticed the colors of the butterflies flying nearby. She asked curiously, why are the butterflies here white? Mian Mian explained with a smile. Butterflies in books come in all sorts of colors. Saying this, she turned to look at Du and continued. Wait, after the butterflies are all asleep, Mian Mian will show you butterflies of all different colors. Yundong smiled expectantly. Okay, Mian Mian will show me butterflies, hee hee. Finishing her sentence, Yundu looked at Chu Ye, who was walking behind, and showed off with a smile. Hey, Mian Mian wants to show me butterflies, not you, got it? Thought Chu Ye would be angry, but he was just calm. Okay, this made Dundun pout because she couldn't provoke Chu Ye. Well, Dunduna was determined to tease Chu Ye to the end. She hugged Mian Mian's arm tightly as if to mark her territory, sticking her tongue out at Chu Ye. Just then, Dundu's eyes widened in surprise. She called out loudly, Mian Mian, there's a little flower here, a red flower, come and see. With her knowledge, Mian Mian sat down to observe the flower and said slowly, it's called Yi Dian Hong, also known as Yang Di Kao, because its leaves look a lot like a goat's footprint. It's a very good traditional Chinese medicine, with the effect of promoting blood circulation, removing blood stasis, clearing heat, and detoxifying. Also, what else can it treat? Mian tried hard to think for a while, but still couldn't remember the name of the disease. I guess I'm too hungry, and forgot what Mom said after that. Suddenly, Chu Ye spoke up, adding what Mian was missing. It can also treat urinary tract infections, sore throats, and boils. Mian was full of surprise. She hugged the flower in her hand and looked at Chu Ye, praising him with a smile. I didn't expect you to be so good. Her cuteness captivated the netizens who were watching. Come on, screenshot, to use as wallpaper. The cameraman gets an extra chicken leg. This scene is beautiful. Not only were the netizens captivated by Mian Mian's cuteness, but even Chu Ye was conquered by her. Looking at Mian Mian's radiant smile that stirred people's hearts, his face turned slightly red. He turned away shyly to avoid eye contact. It just so happens that it was in a book I read before. Ai Zhuiwei and Xu Weiwei also arrived at the gathering place at this time. Seeing the group of people ahead, Ai Zhuiwei said, why are you all just arriving? I heard there are a lot of wild vegetables and mushrooms on the mountain. We can pick some along the way. Fu Keiki took out a wild vegetable from the basket she was carrying, smiling gently as she continued. Auntie and Uncle, this wild vegetable is called kupatai mai. It's a very delicious wild vegetable. If you see it, please pick some. We can use it to make breakfast. Su Chenfei took the wild vegetable that Fu Keiki handed him and carefully observed it. Okay, I remember. Then he brought the vegetable that Fu Keiki had just given him to Mian. Little miss, this is Yang Shi vegetable. Mian looked closely at the thing in Su Chenfei's hand. Her expression became tense. She hurriedly reminded him, Seventh uncle, what are you holding? This is poisonous. Before Mian could finish warning about the poisonous wild vegetable, Fu Keiki, feigning innocence, chimed in with a smile. Little Mian, what are you talking about? How could this be poisonous? This is the most common wild vegetable in the countryside, Yang Shi. Fu Keiki's seemingly simple words caused an uproar among the online viewers. The netizens' affection for Mian diminished, and most sided with Fu Keiki. What? Is our little princess not familiar with wild vegetables? Or is Su Mian unable to accept that our little princess Keiki picked the vegetables first? Exactly, I checked Google too, and it's definitely not poisonous. LOL, is Su Mian pretending on purpose? Mian pointed to the vegetable Su Chenfei was holding and explained, this is called guanzhong, and it looks very similar to yang shi. Eating it can cause headaches, nausea, weakness, and difficulty breathing. It really is poisonous. Upon hearing this, Fu Keiki shot a cold glare at Ai Xuanyi. She frowned, thinking, why is this stepmother like this? I told her to remember the appearance of these wild vegetables. Under that icy stare, Ai Xuanyi broke out in a cold sweat, muttering to herself, crap, I clearly recognize this wild vegetable, could I be wrong? Ai Xuanyi bit her lip slightly. Her eyebrows furrowed at Fu Keiki's contempt. She thought resentfully, HMPH. I thought that as long as I got close to Fu Yi, the heir to the Fu family, I could step into the life of a wealthy madam. Who knew that Fu Yi would be such an extreme patriarch and utterly dote on his daughter? And this Fu Keiki, even at just 5 years old, knew how to play dumb and was a better actor than her. On the outside, she's as sweet as a little princess, but behind the scenes, she secretly disposes of small animals and frames me. But I shouldn't be mistaken, because the leaves of this vegetable have a distinctive curled edge that is easy to recognize. Ai Xuanyi was confident in her identification. She bent down and said to Minan, little friend, you can't just say things like that. How could this plant be poisonous? This is definitely yangshi. Fu Keiki also put on a sweet face and said with a smile, see? I told you. Ai Xuanyi smiled ingratiatingly at her stepdaughter. Keiki, the vegetable you chose is perfectly fine. Your little sister is still young and doesn't know any better, so we don't need to bother with her. After speaking, Ai Xuanyi smiled, thinking to herself, Fu Keiki values face, so doing this will definitely make her happy. On the other side, Fu Keiki was also calculating shrewdly, I absolutely can't let Su Mian show off. Oh right, I can just push the responsibility onto Ai Xuanyi. With that thought, Fu Keiki, to cover her own tracks, said meaningfully, I also think it's fine, since Mom taught me how to identify it anyway. Mom said she ate a lot of wild vegetables when she was young. Are there any more here? Teach me to recognize some more. Ai Xuanyi, completely unaware of Fu Keiki's sinister intentions, happily took her hand and led her to the patches of wild plants ahead, gesturing knowledgeably, okay look, this is also yang shi. Mian, seeing that no one believed her even after she explained, felt helpless, and her eyes couldn't hide her anxiety. Although their destinies were arranged like this, Mom said that medicine was meant to save people, and it wouldn't be good to watch them get poisoned. What should Mian do? Should she stop them? Just as her mind was troubled and she didn't know what to do, Chu Ye spoke up to clear her mind. You don't need to worry. If they want to eat it, let them eat it. He further explained, there's a saying, no tears until the coffin is seen. Have you heard it before? Mian's heavy thoughts instantly vanished because of what Chu Ye said. She returned to her usual energetic self. I've heard it. My father told me the meaning of that saying. Then let's just leave them alone for now. Mian put all unnecessary matters aside. She grabbed Yung's hand, pulled her forward, and called out with a laugh, little seventh aunt Mian has to find food to feed you. You, let's go. Yu also happily followed Mian. Discovering a patch of mushrooms nearby, Mian excitedly turned around and shouted, Yu, there are so many mushrooms here, come pick them. Yu quickly ran over, looked at the small mushrooms nestled in the grass, and exclaimed excitedly, so cute. Mian smiled gently, took out a small item from her small basket, and placed it in the palm of her hand. Strangely, the item quickly transformed into a wooden basket. Then, both girls enthusiastically sat down to pick mushrooms. Fu Keiki walked over, and was quite surprised to see this scene. She put on a knowledgeable air and lectured, Mian, only white mushrooms are edible. Fu Keiki bent down, picked up a mushroom, and held it in her hand, pretending to be knowledgeable and well-learned. The red death cap has a white stem. Eating it will send you straight to the afterlife. Faced with Fu Keiki's hypocrisy, Mian and Yu ignored her and turned away. Leaving her in the dust, Mian thought to herself, well, Mian has decided to let Fu Keiki see her coffin first, so I won't tell her that there's something wrong with her mushroom. Fu Keiki didn't expect to be ignored like this. She gnashed her teeth in anger, glaring unkindly at Mian's retreating back. I didn't expect Su Mian to snub me. How can there be such an impolite child? How did she become a member of the Su family, and with such a high position? And the Su family is much richer than the Fu family. Thinking of this, Fu Keiki clenched her fists in jealousy. But in the next second, Fu Keiki immediately changed her expression. Putting on an innocent and adorable face, she tossed her hair and calculated, I need to have more followers during the live stream, so my performance must surpass Su Mianmian's. As a kind princess, I can't stand by and watch others pick poisonous mushrooms without doing anything. Mian, on the other side, picked a large mushroom and held it out for Yoon to smell. Yoon, this mushroom is delicious. It's called ganbo mushroom. It's very fragrant. A fresh fragrance wafted directly into Yoon's nose. She smiled with squinted eyes and replied, yeah, it smells really good. With her plot to steal the spotlight, Fukeki suddenly appeared and reached out to stop them. Little sister Yu, trust me, these brightly colored mushrooms are definitely poisonous. The online viewers who were watching immediately fell for Fukeki's saintly facade. Our little Princess Keki is so kind and generous. Even though Sumian was so rude earlier, she still reminded her. I also think the little princess is amazing, truly a generous and kind older sister. Among them, there were still people who stood on Mianmian's side and spoke up for her. To be honest, it's really dangerous for Su Mianmian to pick the wrong mushrooms like that, but I still trust Mianmian. Fukeki thought that Yoonyu would be grateful to her. But unexpectedly, Yoonyu looked at her with an annoyed expression, then stated firmly, I trust Mianmian. Not wanting to interact with Fukeki anymore, Yoon grabbed Mianmian's hand and pulled her away, once again ignoring Fukeki. Mianmian, let's go pick over there. Fukeki's face froze as she stood motionless, her jealousy growing stronger and stronger. How annoying! What's wrong? Why does everyone flock to Su Mianmian? Half an hour passed, and Mianmian and Yu had quickly picked 3 baskets full of mushrooms and wild vegetables. Mianmian looked at her achievements and said happily, we have enough mushrooms and purslane. At this time, Su Chenfei's group also gathered together. Miqian looked at everyone and suddenly asked, does everyone want to eat meat? Speaking of meat, Yoon was probably the most excited. She raised her hand enthusiastically and replied, yes, Yoon likes to eat meat. Ai Shuini happened to pass by. She smiled contemptuously and said, little friend Mian, where are you going to get meat here? Don't tease the adults. Faced with her accusatory words, Mian frowned and replied, I'm not teasing. Ignoring the stepmother and daughter Ai Shuini, she asked loudly, does everyone want to eat rabbit meat or wild chicken? Everyone was excited and absolutely trusted. Mian, Yu said expectantly, I want to eat rabbit meat. Mian smiled confidently. Okay, Mian also wants to eat rabbit meat. The rabbit is coming soon. As soon as Mian finished speaking, a loud thudding sound rang out, and 2 rabbits fell from the sky right in front of everyone. Mian laughed and shouted, look, the rabbit is here. Following the direction Mian pointed, everyone was immediately shocked. They were all speechless, and without prior agreement, they all had the same thought. How? How is this possible? Could it really be such a coincidence? To everyone's surprise, Mian remained rather calm. She chuckled softly to herself. It's always been like this. Whenever I want to eat a certain meat, that animal naturally appears at our doorstep. When she told her mother about this, her mother said it was a gift from heaven. Her mother also instructed that if she ate the meat, she had to take responsibility for helping their souls reincarnate, giving them a chance to become human. Before Mian were the 2 translucent souls of rabbits, visible only to her. She said gratefully, thank you, little ones. Fukechi, acting innocent, feigned a pitiful expression and started crying. Oh no, how could such cute bunnies get hit by a car? She put on a saintly act and suggested, how about we bury them instead of eating them, okay? The souls of the 2 rabbits, annoyed, rushed to attack Fukechi, thinking in unison, we volunteered to be eaten, it's none of your business. After scolding Fukechi, the souls of the 2 rabbits turned back to Mian and bowed repeatedly. Please, don't listen to her. Please eat us, we beg you. Mian saw the worry in the little rabbits' eyes and encouraged them. Don't worry. With that, she used her small hands to start casting a reincarnation spell. A talisman appeared and was attached to the heads of the 2 little rabbit souls. Mian smiled and said, rest assured, go in peace. The souls of the 2 rabbits, satisfied and grateful, smiled back at Mian. After finishing, she turned around and instructed, 7th uncle, quickly take the 2 little bunnies, let's go down the mountain together. Su Chenfei didn't say a word and immediately obeyed. Okay, little mistress. From behind, Fukechi, ignored, gritted her teeth in anger. HMPH, how dare she ignore me? Unwilling to be overlooked, Fukechi acted like a victim, crying and asking, Mom, why does Mian always ignore me? What did I do wrong? Fukechi's tears successfully swayed the netizens to her side. Some people indignantly questioned, why is Su Mian Mian like that? She's making our Princess Keiichi cry. Those 2 rabbits must have been arranged by the Su family with the program team beforehand. Probably a staff member threw them over, right? Watching the previous videos, it seems like Su Mian Mian wants to build a mystic image. Some people said, I want to watch quietly, I won't comment. Seeing her stepdaughter crying, Ai Shuai hurriedly sat down to comfort her. Keiichi, maybe Mian Mian is still young. It's normal for her not to know that she has to respond when someone talks to her. Don't cry, it breaks my heart, Fu Keiichi sniffled, her eyes still wet, looking very pitiful. It must be that I'm not trying hard enough. As if remembering something, Fu Keiichi quickly asked, Mom, where are my toys? I want to give them to the little ones. Ai Shuai quickly grabbed the toys and handed them over. Here they are. Fu Keiichi wiped away her tears, picked up the plastic branch that resembled a small tree, and used it to lure the butterflies in front of her. On the string, Fu Keiichi also tied something with a strange scent. This was what attracted the butterflies to follow her. Fu Keiichi acted very professionally. One second she was crying, and the next she was smiling like a pure angel, using the small tree to attract butterflies to surround her. Looking at Mian Mian, Fu Keiichi smiled triumphantly, thinking to herself, a kind and generous child like me, the fans will definitely love me. What does that Su Mian Mian have to compete with me? To increase her popularity with the fans, Fu Keiichi generously ran towards Mian Mian, little Mian Mian, I made a toy, do you think it's fun? Mian Mian sensitively noticed Fu Keiichi's hypocrisy, and thought uncomfortably, I clearly just heard her complaining about me, saying I ignored her. If she knows I ignore people, why does she still want to find me? Again and again, Mian Mian is getting a little annoyed, not wanting to interact with Fu Keiichi. Mian Mian looked up at Su Chenfei, hoping to ask for help. Su Chenfei saw the unhappiness in his young mistress's eyes, and immediately understood. He thought uncomfortably. From the beginning, Fu Keiichi wanted to hold Little Mistress's hand, but Little Mistress refused. I guessed that there must be something strange about Fu Keiichi. I'm an adult, and if I face someone I don't like, I can force myself to smile fakely. But to make a 3.5-year-old Little Mistress do that would be too cruel. After careful consideration, he sat down, patted Mian's head, and comforted her with a smile. Little one, just say what's on your mind. Don't overthink it, because the person you like will always like you. Encouraged by those words, Mian no longer felt the need to hold back. She seemed enlightened, smiling radiantly. Okay, Mian went up to Fu Keiichi and directly said what she was thinking. Thank you, Fu Keiichi, for the gift, but I don't want to be friends with you, so I can't accept your gift. Fu Keiichi didn't expect Mian to be so blunt. Her expression froze, and she gritted her teeth in anger, her face darkening. Ai Shuai panicked slightly, seeing the expression on her stepdaughter's face. Oh no, that's the look again. At home, if you provoke her, she'll do something crazy. If she shows her true colors on camera, the one who'll be unlucky won't be her, it'll be the stepmother like me who's living off the rich Fu family. Not wanting things to escalate, Ai Shuai forced a smile, leaned down, and changed the subject. Keiichi, don't be upset. Crying won't make you pretty. Have you forgotten how many people liked you when you live-streamed your ballet? Netizens immediately agreed with Ai Shuai's statement. That's right, I really like Keiichi, she's a talented little girl. Me too, little Princess Keiichi, don't cry anymore. It's okay if Su Mian doesn't like you, we still like you. Fu Keiichi teared up and acted heartbroken, saying, Yes, I really like Mian, but if Mian doesn't like me, I won't bother her anymore. She then switched her target to Yoon. Before she could finish her sentence, Yoon quickly ran over, took Mian's hand, and also refused decisively. I don't want to be friends with you either. Being rejected for the second time, Fu Keiichi was extremely angry, but in the blink of an eye, she smiled and switched targets again. Zye, do you like my toys? She took the toys to Chuye, scheming to win him over. Looking at Chuye, Fu Keiichi thought, this boy is so handsome and has such a calm personality. As long as I show my cute side, he will definitely willingly become my devoted follower like the boys in class. But perhaps Fu Keiichi miscalculated. Chuye coldly poured a bucket of cold water on her. I don't like you either, don't come looking for me again. Having been rejected 3 times, Fu Keiichi was shaking with anger, clenching her fists in resentment. It's all Su Mian's fault. Mian looked at the colorful butterflies flying high above, and suggested with a smile, how about we play with the butterflies too? Mian responded excitedly. Okay, I can finally see the butterflies, but Mian, how did you attract the butterflies? Fu Keiichi, who was secretly watching from behind, spoke up mockingly. Mian wants to attract butterflies too. Making those toys requires a lot of skill, and ordinary people probably can't learn it. If you want, I can give you mine. Mian pouted uncomfortably. She reached into her small bag, thinking, I already said I didn't want to be friends with her, so why is she still calling out to me to talk? Under Yoong's curious gaze, Mian Mian took out a jar of scented wax from her bag. As soon as she opened the lid, a gentle fragrance filled the air. Even Yuma's eyes widened in amazement when she smelled it. Mian! Mian, you smell so good. Mian Mian ran forward, spreading the fragrance widely in the air, and explained with a smile. This is butterfly attracting powder that Mommy made with Mian Mian. Butterflies love fragrant scents. In less than 5 seconds, the butterflies were attracted by the fragrance radiating from Mian Mian and flew over, filling the space. Looking at the large, colorful butterflies, Yu exclaimed in surprise. Oh my gosh, the butterflies are really here. Join us every Tuesday on the Matt High Review channel for the next part. Support us with a comment and a like. Thank you so much, my loves. Goodbye and see you soon, my dear friends. Dula was extremely excited to see the butterflies surrounding Mikan. With adoring eyes, she clapped and cheered. Mikan is a butterfly fairy. Mian Mian held a jar of fragrant balm in her hand, smiling as she suggested, Dume, why don't you use the butterfly attracting powder too? Where do you want the butterflies to land? Dume happily and expectantly held out her hand. Here, I want them here. Mian took a small amount of fragrant balm and dabbed it on the back of Duvan's hand. Seeing Dudan's skinny hand with its protruding veins, Mian felt a pang of sympathy and held her hand tightly, urging, Dudan, you have to eat properly, you're too thin. Mian feels so bad. Dudu promised, touched. Okay, I'll eat more later. Liu Hui couldn't contain her joy, and wanting her daughter to keep her promise, she deliberately walked over and said, My precious Dudura, you said this to little Mian in front of so many people. What if you don't eat a lot later? Dumei looked at her mother, clenched her small hands, and with a determined voice and resolve made a promise. I will definitely eat a lot. If I don't eat a lot, Mian won't play with me anymore. Mian chimed in. Okay, then if you don't eat a lot, I won't play with you anymore. Holding out her hand towards Dustu, let's make a pinky promise. Du now felt a bit apprehensive, awkwardly standing there, her face downcast, thinking hesitantly, a pinky promise. I like pinky promises, but I don't like eating. Now I've promised Mian if I don't eat a lot, Mian won't play with me anymore. What should I do? While she was struggling, unsure of what to choose, the scent on her hand had attracted butterflies to fly over. Dunil's face suddenly burst with life, and she exclaimed in disbelief, Mom, look, it's a blue butterfly. Liu Hui was quite surprised to see that Mian's fragrant balm had such a wonderful effect. Dus also wanted to try this feeling. Liu Hui eagerly asked her little niece if she could try the butterfly-attracting powder. Mian generously agreed immediately. Of course. Then she turned to Su Chenfei and waved, calling, Seventh nephew, come here and carry Mian. Su Chenfei happily ran over to pick up Mian as soon as he heard the call. I'm here. Taking the fragrant balm and smearing it on her finger, she pointed to Liu Hui and asked, Where does Aunt Hui want to apply the fragrant powder? Liu Hui eagerly held out her hand. On the back of my hand. As soon as Mian applied the fragrant balm, in less than a minute, a blue butterfly identical to Dudu's flew onto the back of Liu Hui's hand. The mother and daughter played happily together, their laughter echoing throughout the forest. Seeing this, Su Chenfei couldn't resist joining in and suggested, Little aunt, I want to apply some too, can I? Mian nodded and smiled, asking, Where does seventh nephew want to apply it? He playfully pointed to his mouth, hinting meaningfully, Here. Knowing he was teasing her, Mian frowned with disdain and retorted, Seventh nephew, if you put powder on your mouth, the butterflies will fall down and die from the stink. Her blunt words made Su Chenfei's face turn green. Little aunt, what are you saying? We're live streaming. I've never even been in a relationship. How am I going to find a girlfriend if this video gets out? To prove he was clean, he leaned closer to Mian, shamelessly suggesting, Little aunt, I'm telling you, my mouth doesn't stink. Don't you believe me? Smell it. Mian covered her nose with one hand and continuously covered Su Chenfei's mouth with the other, pushing him away. She spoke the motto her mother had taught her. Mom said men stink everywhere, especially their mouths. Only girls smell good everywhere. Liu Hui, witnessing this scene, burst into laughter and agreed, Haha, that's right, little Mian is right. Men are all stinky men. Su Chenfei's expression was stiff, not knowing how to retort, and everyone had a good laugh. Fuk Tokchi looked over with jealousy and envy in her eyes. Su Mian is so annoying. Why does she always want to treat me like this? What gives her the right to step on me to stand out? Looking at Mian's baskets of mushrooms at the base of the tree, Fukeki's emotions calmed down. She thought smugly, It's okay, those mushrooms with special colors are definitely poisonous. Once Su Mian eats them, she won't be able to flaunt in front of me anymore. After finding the ingredients, the adults hurried back to the gathering point to prepare the preliminary processing of the meal. Ai Shueri went over to intentionally strike up a conversation. She smiled and suggested, I think my cooking skills aren't bad. How about I cook for everyone? Su Chenfei, though his face was smiling, clearly drew the line. He bluntly refused. No, my little wife doesn't like girls like you, and I don't like you either, so don't interfere. Okay, Aishueri didn't expect him to be so blunt. Her face turned from white to red with embarrassment. She reluctantly replied, secretly cursing in her heart, how annoying, he's like this and I can't even find a reason to be angry. On the outside, he looks like he's smiling brightly, as if he's praising someone, but his tone is full of criticism. The meals of each participating couple were quickly prepared, and everyone sat down to enjoy the dishes made from the ingredients they had found. Fu Keki gracefully picked up a piece of mushroom and put it in her mouth, acting like a Miss Diage. Aishueri smiled ingratiatingly at her stepdaughter, but she didn't know Fu Keki's extremely deep thoughts. Before the two dishes were brought out, Fu Keki was determined not to touch the plate of vegetables. HMPH, what if Yang Shi's vegetables were really poisonous? Let Aishueri eat them alone. Fu Keki absolutely couldn't get poisoned. This decision of Fu Keki's couldn't escape the eyes of the netizens who were watching. Some keen people questioned, could it be that Fu Keki also feels that Yang Shi's vegetables are poisonous so she's not eating them? Oh, I think so too. Everyone, look, she's always eating mushrooms, probably because she thinks those mushrooms are very safe. As Mian was eating, she noticed a wisp of white gas appearing next to her. As soon as it touched the ground, the white gas gradually condensed into the shape of a cat. Ling Biao carried so much resentment that its eyes were red, and it desperately cried out towards Mian meow meow. Understanding its feelings, Mian replied, don't worry, I don't care, she thought to herself. This is Fu Keki's own karma, I already decided not to interfere. Receiving the answer from Mian, Ling Biao went to find Fu Keki with peace of mind. As Fu Keki was eating, she suddenly heard a chilling meow in her ear, causing her face to turn pale with fear. The chopsticks she was holding involuntarily fell to the ground. Fu Keki stood up with a pale face, muttering in fear. Nuomi, Aishueri, who was sitting next to her, noticed this abnormality. She thought in confusion, why is she suddenly mentioning the name of the cat she used to raise? At this moment, Fu Keki seemed to see the cute kitten, Nuomi, that she used to raise before her eyes. But the next second, Nuomi suddenly transformed and became terrifying. Its eyes were all red, baring sharp teeth, meowing and laughing ha-ha along with it. It jumped up with anger, meowing plaintively towards Fu Keki. As if it was very aggrieved, Fu Keki froze in fear, covering her mouth with both hands. Because she was so scared, Fu Keki crawled under the table to hide, involuntarily confessing the evil she had done to the cat. Nuomi, don't come over, Nuomi, don't come over. It's not that I wanted to hurt you, you're too annoying. Yes, it's just because you're too annoying. These words of confession shocked everyone present. Mian frowned, hesitating and thinking, I didn't expect her to react so strongly. Do I really need to take action? Fu Keki's slip of the tongue was immediately seized upon by netizens. Wasn't Gaonuo Keki's cat? Didn't it run out of the house and get hit by a car? Many questions were raised. What's wrong with Fu Keki? Why would she say those things? As if she disposed of Gaonuo herself. Even Jian Shuer seemed to see the same thing. Fu Keki made her face turn pale with fear, and she screamed repeatedly, Ah, it wasn't me. Beside her, Fu Keki buried her head in her pillow, covered her ears with her hands, and muttered, Don't come here, don't come here. The expressions on their faces were extremely flustered, causing everyone on set to be wary, Demon asked naively. Why? Why are they screaming like that? Mian stepped forward and covered Dua's ears with her hands, comforting her. Be good, Dua's. If you cover your ears, you won't hear anything. Liu Hui, seeing their situation, guessed, they probably ate some bad vegetables and mushrooms and got poisoned. They're hallucinating now. Mian sighed helplessly, hinting, they are indeed poisoned, but the screaming isn't because of the poison, it's because they've done something bad. There's no way around it. The staff member bent down to pull Jian Shuer and her daughter away. Please go outside and take some medicine, it'll help. Jian Shuer became increasingly frightened, her face drained of color. She said unconsciously, Gaonuo, it wasn't intentional, it wasn't me, so don't come looking for Fu Keki, go find Fu Keki. Fu Keki wasn't in much better shape. She was trembling uncontrollably, and her face was darkened with tears. Dad, save me. Dad, please come save me. Gaonuo is climbing on me. Gaonuo is climbing on me. She seemed to be sinking into an inescapable illusion. Dad, come save me. Gaonuo is scratching me. Gaonuo is biting me. As she spoke, Fu Keki unconsciously scratched her face with her hands, and her tears washed away her makeup, revealing her inherent flaws. Netizens watching the replay were completely shocked. Oh my god, so Fukeki is wearing makeup. Those who dislike Fukeki rejoiced, haha awesome. Don't her fans always praise her for her natural beauty and alluring qualities? Turns out it's all fake. What the hell are those two B-teachers saying? It must be about Gaonuo's traffic accident, right? It can't be real, can it? I dare to boldly guess that Fukeki disposed of Gaonuo. Oh, what you said above is making me panic. How could a child do such a thing? The program crew quickly called the doctor. Okay, you'll be fine after you drink this. After giving the two Fukeki and Jian Shuier antidote, the doctor went over to look at the food and analyzed. The toxicity of this mushroom is not large. Everyone will need to drink plenty of water in the room for 20 minutes after vomiting to reduce the toxicity. At the same time, Fu Yi, Fukeki's father, was also watching the live recording. He stood up angrily and yelled, "What the hell is A Shuier doing? I clearly told her to say that Gaonuo had an accident when she was outside. Now, even if she has hallucinations from eating poisonous mushrooms, she shouldn't say that." Fu Yi took out his phone with a sullen face and called his assistant. "Hello? Book a plane ticket for me." Before he could finish speaking, a strange voice came from the other end of the line, shocking him. "Fu, Mr. Fu, your daughter Fukeki is haunted by the vengeful spirit of an animal." Fu Yi suppressed his excitement and asked coldly, "Where's my assistant, and who are you? Are scammers trying to reach me now?" A mysterious laugh came from the other end of the line. "It doesn't matter if you don't believe it now. You will automatically call me later. Just call back and I will answer it immediately." After speaking, the other end hung up. Looking at the phone that was suddenly hung up, Fu Yi became even more angry. He gritted his teeth and cursed, "Damn it, wait until my daughter is okay and I will deal with you." Returning to the film studio, Jian Shuier had calmed down after taking the medicine. "Thank you, everyone. I feel much better." She turned anxiously to check on her stepdaughter's condition. "Kiki, are you okay?" But no matter how she asked, Fukeki still hid her face in the pillow, refusing to answer. The director suddenly remembered Mian Simeon and looked at her with countless questions in his head. Knowing that Mian was not a simple person, the director went over and asked tentatively, "Little miss, do you know something?" Mian avoided the topic, concentrating on crocheting, and asked indifferently, "What happened?" The director didn't give up. He squatted down near her and asked directly about the doubt in his heart. "It's about Fukeki. Fukeki still hasn't calmed down yet." Mian looked in Fukeki's direction. "Well, there's nothing I can do about it." The director seized the opportunity, determined to ask to the end, and even pleaded, "Auntie, can you tell this nephew what exactly is wrong with her? If she continues like this, everyone will hate me for not stopping her from eating poisonous mushrooms." Mian truthfully reassured, "Don't worry, you won't encounter bad luck." Mian's voice became serious. "As humans, we shouldn't casually do bad things, especially to the small, intelligent animals that are our friends. Once we do bad things, there will be retribution." The director looked at her expression that couldn't be more serious, but her tone was like an old woman, so he couldn't help but reach out and pinch Mian's face, laughing happily and saying, "Auntie is so good. How can you be so adorable?" He suddenly suggested, "After the show ends, do you want me to take you home? Do you want to just be the little aunt of our family?" Without thinking much, Mian quickly waved her hands to refuse. "Oh no, that won't do. Mian is the aunt of the Su family. I can't go to your house." The director looked aggrieved, tears welling up in his eyes because he was unwilling. "But I really like Auntie, Mian." Mian was troubled when she saw the director crying, but suddenly Mian came up with an idea. She raised her hand to suggest, "That's right, then just tell your uncle to give birth to a little aunt for you." The director's face turned red with embarrassment, and he quickly stood up. "Auntie is really joking. Then play comfortably. I'll go first," he thought to himself. His uncle passed away a long time ago. How can he give birth to anyone? Mian's words seemed to open up the minds of countless viewers. Intelligent animals. It must be referring to Gaomi. Sticky rice. Someone noticed the issue. Damn, did everyone remember? Auntie said the sentence. That's right, I don't bother to care about it before eating. What did Auntie mean by not bothering to care about what? At that time, the direction that Auntie was looking at was clearly nothing, and someone immediately speculated about Mian's previous statement. Perhaps the sentence that Auntie said was to Gaomi. Maybe Gaomi's soul ran to Keki's side, because Fukeki disposed of Gaomi. As the group was discussing excitedly, someone suddenly left a comment in all caps. Everyone, go watch the video. Fukeki is so scary. For some reason, a video recording the scene of Fukeki trying to attack the cat Gaomi appeared on the internet at this time. Netizens looked at the time of appearance in the video and exclaimed in shock. The time in the video just happens to be when it was announced that Gaomi was hit by a car. Is this footage real? After witnessing the video of Fukeki's true colors, everyone immediately turned around and scolded. Damn, Is this a child carrying the soul of destruction? Is she still a child? At the same time, in the airport waiting room, Fu Yi looked at his company's stock price plummeting rapidly because of Fu Keki's affair. He gritted his teeth and cursed, "Damn it, why are the shares depreciating so much?" Remembering the words of the mysterious man before, Fu Yi hesitated and took out his phone. "No, I have to ask that person." Coincidentally, just as Fu Yi called, he heard someone's ringtone ringing very close to him, along with a hoarse voice. "Mr. Fu?" What caught Fu Yi's eyes was a man who looked like a Taoist priest staring at him, as if he had been following him from before and would appear as soon as he called. Fu Yi's eyes turned to alert mode, glaring and asking, "Are you the person on the phone?" The Taoist priest smiled mysteriously and replied, "Who the person on the phone is doesn't matter. Who I am doesn't matter. What's important is that I can save your daughter, and you only need to use all your wealth to cooperate with me." Although Fu Yi was unwilling, he had no other choice, and gritted his teeth to make a decision. Okay. Besides Tang Xuening and Fu Keqi's incident, the other guests were unaffected, so the filming continued as usual. After discussing with the program team, Liu Hui returned to relay the information to the crew. "There won't be any lunch provided today, but we'll have food for dinner. How about we go fishing? Luckily, there's a lake in the village." Su Chenfei replied hesitantly. "That sounds good, but I'm not very good at fishing." As Su Chenfei was about to leave, Zhu Weiwei suddenly appeared. She and Wang Zi bowed their heads together, apologizing. Sorry Su Chenfei, sorry Auntie Mian Mian." Wang Zi looked at Mian Mian apologetically, his voice becoming hesitant. "Sorry Mian Mian, I shouldn't have pulled your hair before. Can you forgive me?" Mian Mian was usually very approachable. Seeing that Wang Zi had apologized, she didn't mind it and said with a smile, "Okay, if you two have apologized, then I agree. Actually, I shouldn't have pulled your hair either. But next time, if you do something bad without apologizing, I won't return it to you." As she spoke, Mian Mian waved her hand in a fist towards Wang Zi. Mian's words seemed to enlighten Wang Zi. He looked at her and promised, "Don't worry, I won't do bad things again." Having been forgiven by Mian Mian, Wang Zi happily ran to show off to his mother. Mian Mian watched the two of them and secretly rejoiced. Xu Weiwei's relationship with her son was not good. Plus, in the future, Wang Zi would go to jail just to show off, ruining his whole life. But now that the two of them have apologized, all these things have disappeared, I've changed their fate, this can also be considered a good deed, right? Thinking of the good deed she had just done, Mian squinted her eyes happily. Seeing that the matter had been resolved, Su Chenfei enthusiastically suggested, "Auntie, let's go fishing." Mian Mian was quite surprised. She asked again, "Go fishing?" Receiving a nod from Su Chenfei, she happily ran to Chuye's side. "Little brother, do you want to go fishing too?" Su Chenfei felt jealous. His eyes glared at Chuye. HMPH, it's this kid again. Chuye suddenly paused, wanting to refuse, but afraid of making Mian Mian sad. But I can't get near the lake." Mian seemed to read his worries. She waved her hand and called out, "Little brother, why are you a little shorter?" Waiting for Chuye to lower his head slightly, Mian Mian came closer and whispered in his ear, constantly reassuring, "It's okay, you can go with Mian Mian. If you hold Mian Mian's hand, you'll be fine." Chuye was completely surprised that Mian Mian had seen through him. As expected, she saw through it. Facing Mian Mian's bright smile, he reached out his hand. "Let's go, little brother." Before Mian Mian's expectations, Chuye stood still on the spot, his heart fighting fiercely. Mian Mian's face fell, sadly asking, "Little brother doesn't want to hold Mian Mian's hand." Chuye didn't know how to explain it. Afraid that she would misunderstand, he panicked slightly. "No, it's not like that, Just at this moment, you appeared, grabbing Mian Mian's hand tightly. "Mian Mian, I want to hold your hand too." You pouted at Chuye, as if she was afraid that Chuye would snatch Mian Mian away. Wang Zi also didn't want to be outdone. He walked over and offered his hand, asking, "Mian Mian, can I hold your hand too?" Mian Mian didn't understand why everyone wanted to hold her hand. Her face showed embarrassment. She tactfully refused. "Huh? But Mian Mian is out of hands. I only have 2 hands, so I can't hold anymore." The netizens watching this left countless comments. Dying of laughter! Haha, is this a large-scale Asura field? Surely our little girl wants to hold her brother's hand. Now give her another brother. Haha, 1 is probably not enough. Everyone look at Lin Yang over there. Lin Yang also rushed over from somewhere, his eyes full of expectation, looking at Mian Mian, trying to say each word. Want, hold, hand. Mian Mian felt extremely helpless. Looking at Lin Yang and Wang Zi, she suggested, "Mian Mian doesn't have any hands left to hold. How about you two hold hands?" Wang Zi and Li Yang looked at each other and shuddered. They shook their heads together, clearly expressing their reluctance. Oh no need. Suddenly, the two had a bold idea. and together they stepped forward and grabbed Mian Mian's clothes tightly. So like this, Wang Zi also followed suit. I want it too, just like that. Mian Mian's small hands held Chu Ye and Yu Yu's hands, and her clothes were tightly grabbed by Wang Zi and Li Yang. Her whole body was surrounded in the middle. Mian Mian went from one surprise to another, sweating and asking, "What are you guys doing?" Lin Yang honestly replied. Holding Mian Mian, Wang Zi also chimed in, "I want to hold Mian Mian's hand too." Su Chenfei, standing and watching this, was so angry that he was about to explode. He couldn't bear it anymore and rolled up his sleeves, wanting to rush forward, these little brats. Just at this moment, Liao Gao called out, causing Su Chenfei to stop. "Mr. Su, see which fishing rod you want to choose." Su Chenfei stepped forward and grabbed one at random, muttering, "These rods are all the same, what is there to choose?" Chu Chi didn't think so. He picked up a fishing rod and shared his experience. Fishing depends on the feeling in your hand. You must first cultivate a relationship with the fishing rod. This is the fishing experience I've summed up. Liu Hui, who was walking behind, covered her mouth and giggled when she heard this absurd reason, thinking to herself, what cultivates a relationship with the fishing rod? Chu Chi is probably afraid that Su Tianfei will bother Chu Ye and Mian Mian from going to play together. Men's tricks are only up to that level. On this side, no matter where Mian Mian went, Li Yang and Wang Zi insisted on following closely without letting go. Moreover, the two of them seemed to be extremely enjoying clinging to Mian Mian. Laughter resounded everywhere. Although Mian Mian avoided them, it wasn't significant. After trying a few times and still unable to get rid of the clinging, she sighed and gave up. Oh well, forget it. Mian Mian is an old aunt, so I can't argue with these kids as long as they're happy. The unhappiest person was probably Su Chenfei. Although he was busy fishing, his eyes were still fixed on his little aunt, afraid that she would be stolen away by those boys. Seeing that the two of them were still holding hands and had no intention of letting go, Su Chenfei forced a smile and urged, "Little aunt, now that everyone is in position, shouldn't we seriously go fishing?" Mian Mian reached out and took the fishing rod from her seventh nephew's hand, smiling brightly as she replied, "That's right. Mian Mian wants to fish seriously. Just waiting for this." Su Chenfei put his hands on his hips and looked at Chu Ye to show his possessiveness. "Hey kid, shouldn't you let go of my Mitian's hand already?" he spoke, subtly hinting. "Right, Chu Ye." Before Su Chenfei could usher him away, Chu Ye's face fell, filled with his own thoughts, his hand still tightly holding Mian's, with no intention of letting go. This action of his made Su Chenfei's blood boil. This little brat Chu Yi was something else, wasn't he? Seeming cold and indifferent, but in reality he was subtly rebelling, wasn't he? Su Chenfei suppressed his jealousy, forcing a fake, ingratiating smile as he subtly reminded him, "Chu Ye, aren't you going fishing with your older brother? Stay away from my little grandma." Seeing her nephew constantly trying to chase Chu Ye away, Mian Mian finally had to speak up for him. No, brother Chu Ye can't let go. Be good, seventh nephew, don't make trouble." Seeing his little grandma's resolute attitude, Su Chenfei had no choice but to obey, his face drooping as he replied, "Fine." But inwardly, he was extremely resentful. Looking at Chu Ye holding his little grandma's hand, he thought, there's no way he can't let go, right? But the little girl had already said it directly, so it wasn't convenient for him to say anything more. In the end, Su Chenfei could only resign himself to fate and watch the two young ones being affectionate with each other. Beside them, Mian Mian was trying to attach bait to the hook but couldn't manage it. "Ayaya, why can't I tie it on, Mian?" Mian still wanted to fish. After struggling for a while, Mian Mian helplessly looked at Chu Ye, saying in a sweet voice, "Can Xiao Gege help Mian Mian put the bait on the hook?" If Mian Mian asks, Chu Ye would agree right away. This time, it was Mian Mian's turn to hold the hook, while Chu Ye held the bait. The little girl carefully reminded him, "Xiao Gege, be careful, the hook is very sharp." With just a simple motion, Chu Yen successfully attached the bait to the hook. Then, he cast the fishing line into the water, looking so skillful that Mian Mian sitting next to him had to marvel at his surprise. The little girl praised him enthusiastically. "Wow, I didn't expect Xiao Gerje to be so amazing." Chu Ye smiled sincerely as he returned the compliment. "It's also because you're amazing." At this moment, he felt extremely happy, and the psychological fear from before gradually disappeared. He didn't expect that he could really sit by the lake and see the entire scenery of the lake like this. This seemed to be the first time. Chu Ye's thoughts were suddenly interrupted by Mian Mian's laughter. It's originally that Mian Mian is amazing. Mian Mian's status is also very big. Mian Mian is a grandma, you know. Chu Ye's eyes widened at what she said, and he asked in surprise, "You're a grandma, but you're calling me Xiao Ge." Su Chenfei, who was eavesdropping next to them, curiously looked over. I really want to know why Wang Zi and Liang are both older than my little grandma, but one she calls smelly brat, and the other she calls Xiao Gij. Suddenly, Mian Mian stared intently at Chu Ye, causing him to tremble and blush slightly. Mian smiled and explained, Mom said that any boy who is good-looking is called Xiao Gei. Mian is a good child, always listening to what Mom says, although Mian doesn't know what it means. Hearing the answer, Su Chenfei choked and coughed, turning to the side to lament inwardly. What is Auntie Zheng teaching her children? What do you mean, a handsome boy is called Xiao Gege? Hearing the cough, Mian worriedly turned to ask, Seventh nephew, why are you coughing? Su Chenfei adjusted his emotions, waving his hand to brush it off. It's okay. Looking towards Chu Ye nearby, Tang Shenfei's face immediately twisted, unwilling to admit it. That little punk really is handsome. The more I look at him, the more it pisses me off. Carrying the curiosity in his heart, Tang Shenfei turned to probe Mian. Auntie, if I wasn't your seventh nephew, what would Mian call me when she saw me? Mian answered without hesitation. Mian would call you Xiao Ge, little brother handsome guy. This answer made Tang Shenfei beam. Oh really? The young man secretly admired himself. Turns out I'm so handsome in my auntie's heart, haha. But Mian's next words were like an arrow piercing the wound on Tang Shenfei's back. Mian said with a happy smile. But no matter what happens, you're still Mian's seventh nephew. Tang Shenfei had tears streaming down his face from heartbreak. Mian smiled and reminded him. Shh, don't say anything. Fishing needs to be quiet for the fish to bite. At the same time, in the dining room, Fu Kengqi still hadn't escaped the illusion. She sat curled up, burying her face in a pillow, constantly mumbling, Don't come over. Fu Keiqi's face became terrifying, uttering absurd words. I can blow your head off once, and I can do it many times after that. I'm not afraid of you. Suddenly she jumped up, startling Ai Zhuer, who called out, Keiqi. Fu Keiqi uttered coldly, You nasty woman, how is it, enjoying the game? Ai Zhuer flinched slightly but still endured it and said, Director He said your dad is on his way here, Keiqi, what's wrong with you? Fu Keiqi went crazy and kicked the chair Ai Zhuer was sitting on, then ordered, You nasty woman, hurry up and pour me a glass of water. Ai Zhuer yielded, stood up, and said with a flattering smile, Okay, you wait here for a moment. When she was alone in the room, Fu Keiqi went to the window to observe where Mian was fishing. In the water, there was a sudden movement where Mian was fishing. Mian held the fishing rod tightly and exclaimed excitedly, I caught a big fish. Chu Ye was also excited to hear this. But just as Mian was about to pull the fish up, the fishing line suddenly snapped, causing her to regretfully say, Aya. Fu Keiqi came from behind to strike up a conversation. She smiled obsequiously and asked, Are you all fishing? What's wrong, Mian? Why did such a big fish get away? Mian observed Fu Keiqi and thought to herself in shock. The little cat was killed by Fu Keiqi, so its soul will haunt Fu Keiqi for a long time. But why has the kitten's soul disappeared? Just as Mian was distracted, Fu Keiqi took out a sharp object hidden in her hand. Then she turned hostile and rushed towards Mian with the sharp object, wanting to attack her. Su Mian, go to hell. To find out how the thrilling plot of this story unfolds, remember to watch next Tuesday. Don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to the channel to give some more motivation. Thank you all so much.